How much under par? Dr. Kashif Ansari was saying possibly 30 runs under par.
I was going to say 30, fair enough.
I thought 250 was par on here. I think 250 will be relatively... It'll be a proper chase for 250, and good test for India if Pakistan get a couple of early wickets.
Yeah, it was the partnership between Sarfraz and Shoaib Malik, and then the late hitting from Asif Ali, who certainly has the range off the seam bowlers. Took 22 off that over from Bhuvneshwar Kumar, which got Pakistan up to that total, but then brilliant bowling at the test from Jasprit Bumrah in particular. Opening up for Pakistan back into the side, looking for some long overdue wickets, is this man. Amir opening up to the as yet unjingled right-handed batsman. That should give you some kind of clue, is angling across said right-handed batsman, who drops into the offside. There is no run. Struggled for wickets since that wonderful spell in the Champions Trophy final. I think only 3 wickets at a pretty high average since that day. Was left out of the 11 against Afghanistan, but he's back in now. Rohit Sharma, it is captaining India, of course, in this tournament in the absence of the rested Virat Kohli. Ahmed in, angling across Rohit Sharma. That's beautifully played, chopped behind backward point. Shai in the Afridi comes round from third man. It looks like he'll be opening from the other end, is certainly warming up, and Rohit comes back for 2. India's chase underway, 2 for none in chase of 238.
Hasn't he had injury problems though, Mohammad Amir, over the last year?
He's been rested every now and again for just for a series, and of course he's had a lot of catches dropped off him since he came back. I don't think he's had a major injury concern, maybe just little niggles as fast bowlers often do have. I don't think he's missed that many games.
I don't think he has to worry too much about his little dry spell. I think he's a good bowler.
He certainly is. There isn't a lot of swing out there, but there is some movement off the pitch, as Dr. Ansari was told us to watch out for that angle back into the right-handed batsman. Doesn't really do anything on that occasion, just if anything goes the other way off the seam, and Rohit playing with about half a bat into the offside. There is no run.
So do you think Rohit is going to stake a claim to get back into the team?
Into the test team?
Yeah, for Australia.
I would be surprised. I mean, he might go as a spare batsman, but I would be surprised if he makes his way into the middle order. He's been given a number of chances in Test cricket and hasn't really taken any of them. I mean, yes, the Australian pitches might be to his liking, but there's a lot of players who could be in the mix. Hanuman Vihari came into that last Test match and did pretty well. As Rohit just dabs this down off the open face down to third man for a single, bringing his left-handed opening partner onto strike. Yes, indeed, Shikhar Dhawan, who's been in decent form in this tournament without ever making a... Actually, no, that's not true. He made the 100 against Hong Kong, but against Pakistan, against Bangladesh, got in and got out.
I think these two are the high scorers in this tournament at the moment.
Yes, I think that's probably correct. Though for Bangladesh, Hashmatullah Shahidi has been in very good form. But yeah, certainly in one-day cricket in general, the openers tend to do the bulk of the work. It's just the one slip in place, kind of wider at a sort of second slip, as the left-handed Shikhar Dhawan is on strike. Armin with a lot of bandages on his left hand, angled this one into the pads and clipped away by Shikhar Dhawan. There will be 2, there might be 3, as this is a long chase for Shai Afridi from long leg. Yes, they turn and go for 3. These two have a fantastic understanding between the wickets, having opened together so many times, and Rohit is off the mark with 3.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the reason why they're on top of the run scoring rankings, not rankings, but the way that they've scored so many runs at the top of the order in ODI tournaments has been one of India's Achilles heels, really, since the middle order.
Their strength is their weakness.
Yeah,
exactly. it's left underexposed towards the end of the tournament.
Yeah, we've seen this in tournaments throughout, isn't it, the Champions Trophy, and in somewhat to the last World Cup. You throw Virat Kohli into the mix, of course. The last ball of the first over from Mohammad Amir, angling across. As that had been dropped at backward point. It was forced in the air by Rohit Sharma. If it did carry to Shadab Khan at backward point, it only just carried. He's grinning as though, or grimacing rather, as though it did just carry. Is that another drop off Mohammad Amir? Regardless, but India 6 for no loss after the first over.
I'll tell you, just what I saw, he just seemed to be going backwards rather than forwards. And I think if it went to him quite fast. I wonder if he'd taken a full dive forwards.
Yeah, it's difficult when it comes in low and hard and in at your ankles.
I mean, you say hit it in the air. It really didn't loop at all. He hit it quite hard, but just because of the way he's hit it flat and straight to him, it may be more of a technical chance than a
the temptation is for the
one.
fielder to rock back onto their heels. We'll see that again, of course. Do we have any tweets to start the Pakistan second innings?
Well, Nitin Bajaj tweets us that the last close India PAK ODI game was at the Asia Cup 2014 in Dhaka. PAK won by 1 wicket. India put up 245 for 8, and Pakistan chased it down, scoring 249 for 9 and 49.4.
Thank you very much, Nitin. I remember some very close games in there when they used to play each other bilaterally in the mid-2000s. There was one that Pakistan needed 6 off the last ball, and Moin Khan hit it straight up in the air. From the Sheikh Zai, then there's another left arm quick.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi. No, not that other guy, that Shaheen.
Playing his second ODI, a little bit of outswing and full delivery, and Sheikh Dhawan smashes this, or tries to smash it through the offside. Beats Shadab at backward point, can't beat cover point, and he picks up a single.
Do you know what that's... I do know what this is based on, but I'm asking you, do you know that one?
It always feels like somebody's watching me.
By?
I don't know who by.
By Rockwell. And although uncredited, most people think it's Michael Jackson on backing vocals.
Right. We're seeing that catch again, or that chance again. If it did carry, it barely carried to Shadab Khan. But I think it did just about carry. As a technical chance, a quarter chance, perhaps. Well, maybe a half chance, I think. It went straight to him. That's a full delivery, an in-swinger to Rohit Sharma. Shaheen Afridi's got the ball to move in the air and dug out by Rohit into the leg side. Good delivery from Shaheen Afridi, coming down from that height.
That feels like the first ball that swung all game.
Yeah, it has. Even Booby didn't get... I mean, Booby wasn't really looking for swing. Maybe the difference made by the lights, although no one really knows how swing works. Rohit Sharma 3 off 6, Sheikh Dhawan 4 off 2.
So
good in-swinging Yorker.
What are we getting into now in the UAE? Twilight? Or
I
is
think
it a bit later than that now?
They're 3 hours ahead of us. So it's 8:15, so it's a little bit 7:15 rather, so it's a little bit later. This is it's a beautiful delivery, 8:15 indeed. Beautiful delivery from Shaheen Afridi, back of a length and zipping away past the outside edge of Rohit Sharma after swinging one in. He's got one to move away, and Rohit having a little fiddle outside off stump. That's a beautiful Test match length, certainly, and past the outside edge through to Sarfraz. There is no run.
Haven't seen this lad before, but got a good shape.
No, it's only his second game. He debuted against Afghanistan.
It's okay for me to say that then, not like when Michael Slater says I haven't seen this guy and he's played 60
Yes,
ODIs.
exactly.
He looks very good. I haven't seen much of him either.
Yeah, big tall fella, 6'6", decent pace. That's angling across Rohit Sharma, who drops into the offside. Thinks about the single. Sheikh Dhawan, certainly from the non-striker's end, thinks the single. They think better of it. There is no run.
Pakistan always seem to find left armers, don't they, from everywhere?
Yeah, India finally found one in Khalil Ahmed after some time of searching. He was quite impressive against Hong Kong, but hasn't got a game since with Bhuvi and Bumrah in such good form. But was it they looking for the long-term heir to Zahir Khan?
Well, this is it. Someone with a yard of pace, extra yard of pace as well.
Yeah,
I think England can't really find a left armour either.
Well, I've got Sam Curran.
Nah.
In comes Shaheen Afridi, the Yorker. Seemed to loop through to Sharma, who just drops the bat on this into the offside. There is no run. Sam Curran, obviously, a fantastic series against against India rather, earlier, but hasn't really had much of a run in limited overs cricket. David Willey, who's very much a one-trick pony, and Reece Topley, who's been injured for a long time, and Harry Gurney, who's also had a lot of injuries.
Yes, Topley and Gurney didn't last very long, and you kind of think both of them, if they'd actually been right armers, they wouldn't even have got a look in.
I think that's probably true, although Reece Topley was impressive in patches. Last ball of what's been a good first over from Shaheen Afridi, the second of the innings. It's back of a length and just dropped by Rohit Sharma into the offside watchfully. There is no run, just the one run off that over. India 7 for no loss after 2.
Abhishek Chopra tweets, "Ooh, Shaheen sounds good. Tell us more about his action."
It's a little bit like Umar Gul. It's a very, very straight approach to the crease, arms pumping.
Upright.
Very upright. Umar Gul had a lot of injuries because of that big upright action, putting a lot of weight through his front leg. I think he's a little bit more front on than Umar Gul was. But he's not the left arm slinger in the way that, say, Mitchell Starc is.
Yeah, Mitchell Starc always gets that sort of late swing, doesn't he? Just the way he sort of delivers it.
Yeah. He's got a much more energetic run-up than, say, Mitchell Starc. Ahmed in, who's got a beautiful, balanced run up. That's back of a length and just guided by Shikhar Dhawan, but can't beat backward point. There is no run. Have we any tweets?
We don't, actually. So please come and tweet us.
Yeah, please tweet us at Gorilla Cricket. Give us your thoughts on this match, on cricket generally, or life, the universe, and everything.
Now, you mentioned bilateral series from the 2000s. What is the reason now that these countries can't just play each other?
The boards aren't talking to each other.
It's as childish as that.
Oh yeah, the governments aren't talking to each other. The boards won't talk to each other. I think a few years ago when Mr. Srinivasan was in charge of the BCCI, actually it might have been just after Srinivasan, the PCB chairman went to Delhi to try and speak to them and couldn't get into the office. He wasn't allowed in.
In the meantime, we have to rig every tournament so they play each other.
Well, quite. Lovely shot by Shikhar Dhawan, just walking across to off stump and taking that one from off stump into the leg side. Shoaib Malik, who scored top scored for Pakistan again, chasing that back from long on, and Shikhar comes back for 2, moves to 6.
Well, it would be another point in favour of having leagues at international level, but you know, they'd have to play each other. Stop screwing around.
Well, yeah, I mean, so at the moment, bilateral series are the purview of national boards. If the ICC was a proper governing body that had centralised power, these things may not happen.
No,
well, I'm sure they wouldn't. But
in the World Test Championship, will they be brought in?
Well, that I think counts as an ICC tournament, so I think they have to in ICC tournaments because that's not under the purview of the boards. I guess if they make the final, wideish slip in place. That's back of a length from Mohammad Amir, and on the front foot is Shikhar Dhawan, just pushing to extra cover. There is no run. It's a Marmul Huck there, fielding in the glasses.
But can't these boards actually look at the money that they would make from these series and you know, rise above that?
I'm not saying
bit?
it makes any sense.
No, you won't.
Politics rarely does.
No, yes, there's a lot
But
of...
normally money kind of comes out on top,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
there's a lot of political, nationalistic dick swinging on both sides. I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Slip in place, backward point, cover point, extra cover, mid on, mid off, mid wicket, and a man back at square leg as this is clipped by Shikhar Dhawan. A full delivery on the stumps and clipped up to long on. There is no run. Showing Malik there.
Pakistan are definitely bowling a lot fuller length than the Indian opening bowlers were.
Yeah, certainly in their first spells, Bhuvi and Bumrah were getting good. They were getting good results out of slightly back of a length and cramping the two left-handers, Fakhar and Imam. I think Rohit and Shikhar Dhawan are much better at working back of a length deliveries for singles than either of those two. So trying to bowl full at the stumps, Ahmed and particularly Shaheen Afridi.
I mean, as you said as well, Bhuvi seems almost not to bother to try to get any swing, whereas these two bowlers are trying to extract what they can.
So deep square leg has now gone back and fine leg has come up. Where's the other boundary rider? I can't quite see.
Third man, I would expect.
Maybe on the cover boundary, possibly?
Yeah, I think it's extra
or maybe
cover.
they've only gone with one, actually. Maybe they have only gone with one.
That would be unusual.
Ahmed in back of a length and punched by Shikhar Dhawan beautifully. Beats the man at cover point and threaded through the offside in classic Shikhar Dhawan style for one of these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
First boundary of the India innings.
Yes, there is a third man. I just saw him
Okay.
on that one.
He just looks a different player in one-day cricket. Shikhar Dhawan.
Yeah, that was.
He
Many
knows his one-day
batsmen
game
do.
really well.
You say that he almost looks the same player. He plays pretty much the same shots. It's just sometimes it swings, sometimes it doesn't. He got a couple of starts in England, and he and KL Rahul put on. Actually, he was part of all of India's best opening partnerships.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Vijay in the first test, and then the two 60s in the third test, which helped India win that game. Ahmed in back of a length and late cut with one hand by Shikhar Dhawan. It seemed to come onto him a little quicker than he was expecting, and he took the bottom hand off the bat, guided it down to third man for a single. He keeps the strike. He's on 11. Rohit on 3. India 14 for no loss after 3. That's number Wang.
Tweets for Nitin Bajaj. Why don't India and Pakistan play each other? Let's not go there, man. Litany of issues, rancor and all kinds of politics. Abhishek Chopra. Why can't they play each other? Politics. PCB claims that the BCCI should reimburse them for the losses they had whenever India had decided to not play Pakistan, even if they were in the FTP. So when they were scheduled to play each
Yeah,
other.
that has happened a couple of times.
Abhishek Chopra paging messages for inclusion of nationalistic political dick swinging in guerrilla quotes.
I have said it a few times before, and I'll keep saying it until it stops, until they put them away.
And Chocolate Burfi Sahil tweets us, what happens once the 13-team ODI league starts in 2020?
Well, that was my point, yes. Shaheen coming in there. That one is played out to cover for no run.
Sorry, Andy, I was just trying to keep Facebook listeners up to date with what's going on. Gia Putin says, I'm live. Shakhalim says, good bowling, Afghanistan, India, good batting. And Sohail is with us, says, nice, as does Ubayd Ghani and Rahmat Niazi. And many, many more. Thank you. We'll try and keep you up to date with the proceedings in Abu Dhabi as much as we can, but here in Dubai, Shaheen Afridi's in the second ball of his second over is two-leg sidey and clipped by Shikhar Dhawan. This time, Shoaib Malik's chase will be in vain. Shikhar Dhawan picks up his second boundary. Lovely shot by Shikhar, beautifully balanced and just found the gap.
We've got 360 people watching on Crick Tracker Live. A very big thank you to you all.
And counting, seemingly.
And climbing, yes.
Thank you very much, everybody. You can go to facebook.com/Crick Tracker. Crick Tracker, a website based in India, who have oodles and oodles of content for your perusal and delectation on all forms of cricket and all things associated with it. And they're carrying our player on their website and carrying our Facebook feed on their Facebook page, facebook.com/Crick Tracker. In comes Shaheen Afridi. Huge booming cover drive attempted by Shikhar Dhawan, takes a thick inside edge and squirts out into the leg side off maybe a quarter of a bat. Into the leg side safely enough it goes. There is no run.
A question on Crick Tracker Facebook from Ritesh Raj. Dhoni batting position, double question mark.
It takes him so long to get going now. I think he does need more time, which is why he said a few years ago actually that he doesn't think he can play the finisher role anymore. Yeah. I think it's almost his keeping that's keeping him in the team these days. I mean, his keeping is as good as it's ever been.
I think if you bat him at 4, then he can do a job for India still.
I think that's probably correct. Shaheen Afridi angles this into Shikhar Dhawan, who angles the face in a turn, lots of angling, and fielded the backward point. There is no run.
I would expect 4, but I can still see him adjusting that according to the match situation.
He had a pretty decent IPL, which was almost a little renaissance
in
for him.
patches. He had a couple of really good innings, but then a couple which took so long to get going that the team were basically out of the game by the time it happened. A little bit like Virat Kohli, who did something similar. We did quite a lot of the IPL here on Guerrilla Cricket. In comes Afridi up to the crease now. Bowls full, and this time Shikhar Dhawan does make contact with the booming cover drive, but straight to Imamul Haq at extra cover, who had to do the fielding, even though it was straight at him. It was well hit. There is no run. Shikhar Dhawan is livid with himself that he didn't manage to miss the field.
I think Kohli was always going to be up against it in this year's IPL, trying to match what he did the year before, 900 runs or whatever it was. 2016
IPL was just incredible.
Yeah. Was that what it was 2 years
ago? Yeah, 400s, which no one else has got more than 2 in a
Did I read the next one's in South Africa because of elections?
They've done that before. In comes Afridi, last ball of the over. Again, Rohit Sharma trying to drive on the up. Again, hit slightly too high up in the bat. Back to the bowler, there is no run. 5 runs only conceded by Shaheen Afridi in his 2 overs.
Yeah, there was an IPL in South Africa.
There was,
and there was a second one, I think.
There was one where they played half of it in the UAE. That was one where Mumbai Indians lost every game in the UAE, then won every league game in India and ended up winning the thing.
Is that the one where they had to score the runs in 13 overs in the last qualifier, and they did?
Something like that, yeah.
A couple of tweets then. Swapnil Battle says, perhaps we need more women in the BCCI and PCB then, to help with the relations. And Nakul,
they could swing their somethings around.
Nakul, the hair on my head will spontaneously regenerate before nationalist political dick swinging stops. But I like your enthusiasm.
Again, not hopeful. But we all know what has to happen. Change of bowling. Amir ripped out of the attack after 2 overs by the impatient Surfraz.
Yeah.
Ruthless, you might say.
Hassan Ali Doobie-Doo.
Is Rohit a better
Hassan Ali Doobie-Doo.
Virat?
Hassan Ali Doobie-Doo. Hassan Ali Doobie-Doo.
We had to get that important message in.
Now you're asking. Hassan Ali it is. Bandage on his right hand in bowling, on his left hand rather, bowling right arm over the wicket. A rather nothing delivery outside off stump, which Rohit leaves through to the keeper. There is no run. Rohit Sharma is a very different character to Virat Kohli. He's much calmer. He doesn't look to be quite as hyperactive as Virat Kohli. He's had some captaincy success in the IPL with the Mumbai Indians. Of course, it's a different format. Completely, it's a different challenge that's asked of an IPL skipper. Look, there's no realistic prospect of Virat Kohli being replaced as captain in any format anytime soon. Hassan Ali bowling from the Dubai Sports City end. Up to the crease now, bowls to Rohit Sharma. Awful delivery, short ball down leg, and it's the work of butter moment for Rohit Sharma to lift the front leg, whip this away through backward square for 4. Cannot bowl there to a player of Rohit Sharma's class. We were talking to Dr. Kashif Ansari at the innings break. He was saying if you're going to bowl short, it can't be hip high, it can't be chest high. That was barely thigh high.
Oh, this bread and butter for Rohit. For absolute ease, he plays that shot as well. It's so beautiful on the eye.
With the sort of Caribbean raise of the front leg, like he's Gordon Greenwich. Slip in place, Hassan Ali. Better delivery in terms of line, at least, but a little bit too short. Rohit trying to force off the back foot. Doesn't really time it. Goes to cover. There is no run. India 22-4, no loss. Halfway through the 5th over. Reminder that India's target is 238 to seal their place in the final of the Asia Cup 2018.
Yeah, you could,
or one would think so, anyway.
Yeah, I'm backing India all the way here, to be honest. I can't see if these two stick around for 15 overs even. That's probably does a lot for
Pakistan need to break this partnership sooner rather than later and expose that sort of undercooked Indian middle order. This is back of a length, and Rohit tries to work into the leg side. There is no run, doesn't time it again, looks at his bat. That will just come onto him a little bit slower than he was expecting, perhaps. Shouldn't have done it at 140 Ks, but this pitch is slow.
Yeah, but I would have probably stuck with my two opening bowlers actually for a little bit longer.
Maybe just a hunch from Sarfraz. You're allowed to do that as captain. You know, let him make the decision and see what works. I think rather than waiting, which Sarfraz has been guilty of in the past. That's outside off stump and nicely played by Rohit Sharma, just hitting that hard into the turf, but well fielded by Mohammad Nawaz at cover. Saved 3 at least, parrying that one past point, and Rohit gets off strike. He's on 8.
Certainly a more positive start than Pakistan's, which just seemed to me to be just on the back foot throughout the first 15 overs.
Yeah, they looked as though they weren't quite sure whether they should be rotating the strike or hitting boundaries, and didn't really do either for most of the innings.
Fish nor flesh, yes.
The pitch looks a touch quicker under the lights, I think. As well,
it can do. I think these bowlers are actually they're probably not quicker than Bumrah. As Hassan Ali in full and driven by Shikhar Dhawan, trying to just close the face and get that one straight to the man at extra cover, but cannot miss him. There is no run. End of the over.
Oh, so we'll have some tweets then. Evil Scooters helpfully informs us the Women's Championship has scheduled bilateral series between India and Pakistan failed to materialise. Wouldn't anticipate the men's league will be any different.
Yeah. As long as the boards are in charge of bilateral series, it isn't going to happen anytime soon. Certainly not with the two governments in such a state of what's the opposite of entente?
Flux.
Détente. No, that's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, in a state of not talking to each other.
Look, to me, that's if you don't want to play each other because you're in a hissy fit, that's fine. But do we have to rig every single tournament so they play each other?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah. Can you imagine? People talk about FIFA. Can you imagine if every World Cup the draw was done closed in secret and Brazil played Argentina every time?
Yes. Actually.
Not through FIFA, no.
No, actually, that's not true. Shine Afridi in, that's leg stunt delivery, which is dropped into the leg side by Rohit. There is no run. Yeah, that's true. For all of FIFA and UEFA faults, and they are legion, they are interested in maximising the reach of their product.
Oh, absolutely, and they do that very well.
Yeah, I think they absolutely do. The World Cup is expanding, the European Championship is expanding, the Rugby World Cup is expanding.
They're trying different things. They're doing this Nations League, which I think is
a good idea.
I think it's a good thing. Yes.
There was a lot of intensity about that England-Spain game. That's a short ball, and Rohit Sharma just picks this up seemingly effortlessly and deposits it into the stands, into the 5th row where it's caught. Well done by the man in the plaid shirt. 6 runs for Rohit Sharma.
2, 4, 6.
And contrastingly, a wicket in Abu Dhabi where Ihsanullah has been gone out for 8 off 11 by Mustafizur, a wicket of his first ball. Afghanistan 20 for 1 after 4.1 overs in chase of 2 for 9.
Well, I have the feeling that one's going to be a bit more of a cliffhanger if Rohit Sharma sticks around.
That was a delicious shot off his hips.
Just
Beautiful.
picked it up, yes. I think we could broadcast till the end of time. It's live again, yes.
That's angling across Rohit Sharma, who's half forward and blocks into the offside. Cover comes screaming in, but they weren't really taking the run anyway. There is no run.
We could broadcast to the end of time, and Shah Nawaz and Lilu Patel and Mohammed Misbahadin would be among the many people asking for video. I'm sorry, we can't afford to do that.
Give us $500 million and we'll try.
In the meantime, it's just video of us.
Aye. But aren't we lovely?
We are.
4th ball of the over from Shine Afridi. How will he respond to that 6 a couple of balls ago? That's Angling across. Oh, it's dropped.
That's a bad drop.
That's the 4th drop of Shaheen Afridi in his 12 and a half overs in international cricket. Certainly in one-day international cricket. It was a slower ball. It just stuck in the pitch. Rohit Sharma drives on the up, and Imam ul Haq should have had that above his head. Got both hands to it, and it just burst through. Poor drop.
The pimps in the crib, mom. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
And that was really well bowled as well. I feel very sorry for Shaheen.
Yeah, it just stuck in the pitch, and
Oh,
that's hideous.
That's terrible.
Oh, the Rohit on the drive too early. It just pinged off the sort of maker's name, and Imam just barely got a hand to it at head height.
Regulation as well.
That's a full slower ball, which ended up as a full toss. Shaheen Afridi dives and rolls to try and stop it in his follow through, but it's fielded that mid on. It's just the 6 runs off the over so far, but definitely should have had the wicket of Rohit Sharma. They dropped a few dollies off him against Afghanistan. That's the dolliest of the lot.
Extra fielding practice for that lad.
And then Imam, to add insult to injury, or injury to insult rather, nearly falls on his glasses.
Mickey Arthur will be absolutely raging. He takes a lot of
Yeah,
pride in fielding.
they're currently between fielding coaches, and boy Grant
You can
Bradburn
see why.
has some work to do when he comes in. Last ball of the 6th over is just blocked by Rohit into the offside. It's an interesting way of going about scoring a run of ball, but they've done so. India 29 for a loss after 6.
Some tweets. Mark's it. Listening while doing chores. Thanks. I'm supposed to fix a leak in my parents' bird bath. Suggestions? I have none. Any knowledge about bird baths?
I've never built a bird bath or done anything to repair one.
Maybe the birds could just, chill a bit. Don't need a bath every day.
Don't shampoo.
Set up a sprinkler system.
Yeah, bird shower.
A bird sort of fly through, I guess, it would be.
With the rain today, they would have had a very nice bath just by sitting on their branches. Abhishek Chopra, the 2019 IPL may happen in SAF again. We've got the national general elections coming up, which was the reason behind the earlier IPL in SAF.
Thank you very much, Abhishek. This is Hassan Ali just angling across Shikhar Dhawan. A delicious shot, just run down past backward point, timed it so well that third man couldn't get round. 4 runs to Shikhar Dhawan. Hassan Ali's quick enough that Shikhar Dhawan just had to put back the ball and make sure he got his placement right, and boy, he did.
Yeah, that's his favourite.
I think the outfield is certainly quicker under lights.
Yeah, it definitely seems quicker. I think even the pitch is slightly quicker. I don't know if just the Pakistani bowlers, apart from Bumrah, a bit touch quicker anyway.
Bhuvi's not that much slower than Hassan Ali and Amir and Shaheen Afridi, or maybe not the Shaheen Afridi, as this is a leg side delivery-ish, straighter, and Shikhar Dhawan just blocks back to the bowler. There is no run.
Do you think we might see some spin from Pakistan inside the power play?
Mohammad Nawaz, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's a good shout.
I think Shadab might well be on as soon as the power play is over. Rohit Sharma just mopping his fevered brow as the non-striker's end, gloves off. It's still boilingly hot out there. This is edged by Shikhar Dhawan. Would have been swallowed at second slip in a test match, but no slips in place with India's lightning start. Another 4 for Shikhar Dhawan down to third man. The advantage of starting quickly is he forced the fielding side to take out catching fielders and reinforce boundaries and put in place single savers, and then you can edge outside off stump to your heart's content.
And he will. Shikhar Dhawan's not afraid of playing a push and a drive.
No. If you're going to flash, etc., etc.
Well, that's what Rohit Sharma didn't do. He stopped his shot completely and dobbed really the simplest of catches up to extra cover.
Yeah, you got to probably feel for the Pakistani bowlers.
Yeah, certainly Shaheen Afridi has had very bad luck. That's well, it wasn't even an LBW appeal from Sarfraz. That's how not out it was. Pitched outside leg stump and thudded into the pad, and they take the leg by. India 38 for no loss after 6.4 overs. They need now 198 more to win.
Yeah, what were Pakistan after the first 10?
What am I talking about? They need exactly 200 to win, sorry.
Something like 30.
They were 30 for 2, I think.
Exactly.
We were talking about Pakistan wanting 38 for no loss after the first 10 overs. India got there partway through the 7th. As this is a back of a length delivery which Rohit Sharma forces off the back foot. Cannot beat cover. There is no run. To cover is Mohammad Nawaz.
Yeah, they've brought their lengths back a little bit now. the Pakistanis. I don't actually.
Well, it's more of a containing length, isn't it, rather than a wicket-taking length, and certainly with no slips in place. Shine Afridi not getting the swing that he was getting in the first over or so.
Even that was only a tiny bit, really.
Actually, there is a slip in place, a sort of second slip. That's too straight from Hassan Ali, and it doesn't really get up, though, and Rohit Sharma just has to abandon thoughts of whipping it over the leg side for 6, just clipping to Fakhar Zaman at mid-wicket. There is no run. End of the over, 38 for no loss.
Tweets Nitin Bajaj, Rohit is so relaxed, he's almost comatose. Super Nation, no way, the PCB took the BCCI to an arbitrage? Yeah, probably. For reneging on contractual implications, BCCI's defence made clear that they have very little say in it. Swapnil Battle, why is Hassan Ali jingle as irritating as his celebration?
We've got another one. We do have a remix of it, which we might play when he starts his second spell. Rohit Sharma just getting a drink from the 12th man, Siddharth Kaul.
A little stat from Abhishek Chopra, he's retweeting Crick PC. CT 2013 was Shikhar Dhawan's first multi-nation tournament, 3 or more teams. Since then, no one has scored more runs or more hundreds than him in multi-nation tournaments. It's time we evaluate his stature to one of India's modern ODI batting greats, alongside Rohit, Dhoni and Kohli.
I think that's probably fair. He's had 2 brilliant Champions trophies, had a very good World Cup, and is doing fairly well in this Asia Cup thus far.
Yeah, he's a wonderful ODI player. And that left-hand, right-hand combination is, it's India's key.
Yeah, also the change in pace. So Rohit likes to start his innings slower, but Shikhar Dhawan at the other end takes all the pressure off, and then we know what Rohit is capable of if he's in for a while. As Shine Afridi will continue, none for 11 off his 3, definitely should be 1 for 11. It's almost more easy to catch that than drop it. The one that Imam dropped in the last over. This is a length delivery on middle stump, and Shikhar Dhawan trying to work that into the leg side, just stops on him a little bit, takes a sort of leading outer part of the bat and just drops into the offside. There is no run. So if I was barking at someone, saying catch it you fool or something along those lines in Urdu.
Something along those lines.
Well, it's just demoralising for Pakistan.
It is.
You've got to take 14 wickets.
When you've got an under par total to try to defend, and a simple chance goes down.
Back of a length and forced off the back foot by Shikhar Dhawan. Doesn't really time it and can't beat Babar Azam at point. There is no run.
Just to remind you, though, the format of this tournament, it's a 4-team league from now. Both these teams won their opening game, so nothing can be decided entirely in today's games, but a team who's won 2 games is very likely to go through. If, as we might expect at this point, India win this game and Bangladesh win the other one, then India would be through and Pakistan and Bangladesh would be effectively in a playoff on Wednesday.
That's back of a length and just guided with the open face past backward point down to third man by Shine Afridi. By Shikhar Dhawan off Shine Afridi. Dhawan on 25 off 22. Rohit back on strike.
I'm not writing Afghanistan out of this game either.
No, as I was going to say, Afghanistan and Pakistan will still have plenty to say about that.
Bangladesh, by the way, have just wasted their only review on a ball that was sliding down leg.
And what is the score there?
The score is, bear with me 1 second, I'll bear with the stream on 24 for 1 halfway through the 7th over. As back here in Dubai, that's outside off stump and thrashed over the offside. Maybe that's what Rohit Sharma should have done with the one that he spooned straight to cover, just smashes it over the top of cover for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Question on quick crick tracker from Sandeep Ganjre. What about Pakistan's decision to bat?
I didn't think it was a terrible decision. I mean, you have to bear in mind the heat, and I think that is an issue, and Pakistan probably don't back themselves chasing as much as India do.
I think that's it.
That's a slower ball from Shine Afridi, which Rohit just waits on and blocks back to him. There is no run.
Well, hindsight's a wonderful thing. It does look a little bit easier to bat at the moment, but then again, I would still put a lot of that down to Pakistan's just basically tentative kind of mindset when they were batting.
Yes, and it takes a lot of the pressure off you when you get a decent start chasing a modest total, which India have done now 3 times in a row.
Yeah, the batsmen have got a few mental scars already from this tournament. as well. So.
Last ball of the 8th over, Shine Afridi up to the crease now and bowls back of a length and really nearly defend it onto his stump, but just dribbles past off stump. 5 runs off the over. India 43 for none after 8.
Nitin Bajaj tweets us about the IPL moving. Unless they decide to hold the elections in better weather and wrap up by March end, you never know, and then they won't move. Abhishek Chopra, the UEFA Nations League is too damn complex. Also might be a good idea to schedule it after a long gap post the World Cup. So complains it was too soon after the World Cup.
It's not that complicated.
It isn't really, and it does seem to teams have taken it on board as a competitive tournament.
Well, it is. I mean, particularly what I like is down at the lower end. It gives those teams an actual sort of wild card chance to make the European Championships.
Every division winner who doesn't qualify through the normal qualification tournament will go into the playoffs for Euro 2020.
To be fair, that bit is a bit complicated, yes, but
Well,
no, I'm certainly
it
not.
It takes more to say than understand.
Look, anything's better than pointless friendlies,
Yeah.
which is what I think.
We were talking about which spinner would come on first, and it seems that we were right. It is going to be the slow left armour from the Dubai Sports City end.
You're in the middle when a wicket falls and the new guys are rising star. Hours. He's an all-rounder with a heart of steel and he's called Mohammed Nawaz.
He's replacing Hassan Ali. Shikhar Dhawan now bareheaded against the spinner. Round the wicket is Mohammad Nawaz on leg stump and just dropped into the leg side by Shikhar Dhawan, who wants the single. Rohit Sharma does not want the single, so they don't take the single. There is no run.
It's true what you said earlier on. You don't often see a batsman with no kind of headgear, mostly because half of them are going bald. Shikhar Dhawan has preempted that by going for the shaven head. Yeah.
I don't think he even has the little rat tail at the back that he used to.
No.
Mohammad Nawaz in Shikhar Dhawan, head shining under the ring of fire floodlights, just clips into the leg side. Can't beat short mid-wicket. There is no run. Mohammad Nawaz just trying to tuck up Shikhar Dhawan here with that leg stump line. Shikhar Dhawan, he does sweep sometimes, but not that often. Shikhar setting up outside leg stump. He does sweep that time, but that can't really catch up with that one. That's a full ball down the leg side, and it is indeed signalled wide by Ruchira Paliaguduge. Nawaz in a shorter delivery, which turns a little bit and strikes Shikhar Dhawan on the pad, definitely going down leg, but Shikhar getting tangled up there, trying to work that one around the corner. There is no run. A little slower too.
Very occasionally, you're talking about Shikhar Dhawan's shiny head, very occasionally when the conditions are just right, watching evening football with a little bit of moisture in the air, players' bald heads can steam.
Shikhar making to back away outside leg stump, but Mohammad Nawaz went outside off stump this time. Shikhar then got himself back into line and cut it, but can't beat short third man. There is no run.
Yeah, I once saw an epic steam off between Dion Dublin and Danny Maddox when Maddox was marking Dublin, and they both had these very bald heads, and the steam flying off their heads was tremendous.
Nawaz in this time. Shikhar Dhawan does connect with the sweep, but well fielded it. Short fine leg. So Faraz is so impressed with that, he basically stopped. He ran at the ball to try and field it, and
he's getting high fives from the whole team. Something tells me this lad's not a very good fielder.
Barely breaking stride to congratulate Shine Afridi. It was a decent effort though, diving down to his left. He's a big man.
You can tell he's inexperienced because Sarfraz has been running up to him quite a few times mid-over. While
Sorry, we keep dropping things off you. Shikhar Dhawan is able to take the single, however. Rohit Sharma now on strike for the last ball of this. Mohammad Nawaz is first over the 9th of the innings.
Sahil actually tells us 4 catches been dropped.
Yeah, that's right. Nawaz in continuing round the wicket to the right hander, goes wider on the crease, angles this into middle and leg. Rohit forces off the back foot. He's 18 off 27. Shikhar Dhawan 26 off as many deliveries. India 45 for none after 9 in chase of 238.
Yes, now I don't understand a lot of these messages because they're not in English, but I'll say a few hellos. Zahid Sahel, Pasha Jan, Wakas Afzal, Kapil Korat, and Wakar Ahmed. Hello to you all on Crick Tracker Facebook. Good to see you there. Follow us on Twitter and tell your friends about Guerrilla Cricket.
That's right, at Guerrilla Cricket. Please share the Facebook Live stream on your timelines. Afghanistan, by the way, are 27 for 2. Rahmat Shah has just been dismissed for 1, which brings Hashmatullah Shahidi to the crease. We do have a change of bowling from the other end, so Shaheen Afridi being relieved of duty.
He is back.
Mohammed Ali, baby, we call him Mo. Hands at him, yeah, we cry Mo.
45 for none, India, after 9 overs. In comes Amir bowling this, the first of the 10th. Left arm over the wicket to the left-handed Shikhar Dhawan. That's angling in from outside off stump to Shikhar Dhawan, who just opens the face and blocks to backward point. There is no run. Yeah, just to keep you up to date, Afghanistan 27 for 2 after 8. Mohammad Shahzad is 17 off 27. Hashmatullah Shahidi, who's been in good form in the tournament thus far, is 0 off 1.
Yeah, I think it's good start from Afghanistan, actually.
Yeah, seemingly so. I think Mustafa Zurn might have taken both wickets.
I've actually been I've obviously thought of them as a very good bowling side, but I've been impressed in this tournament, their batting, actually.
Afghanistan?
Yeah.
As this is outside off stump and guided by Shikhar Dhawan. Again, can't beat backward point. There is no run. Yeah. Yes, certainly Hashmatullah's been in good form, and they down the order, particularly with Rashid Khan and Gulbuddin Naib, have got scores in the last 2 games, and have got them up to defensible totals.
I could see Rashid Khan doing a Sunil Narayan going into open.
I mean, he does hit the ball hard, and he has the appetite to hit the ball hard.
Yeah,
it's very good limit. Short.
Imagine if he was bowling as well as he's bowling and smashing it around, opening the batting.
He'd be the MVP for every league in the world. Amir in as this is a lovely shot by Shikhar Dhawan, just walking across to off stump, giving him the angle to punch this to the onside of the stumps. No one is going to catch that. Mid-on doesn't. 4 runs to Shikhar Dhawan.
That's a shot you could see in any format of the game, from Test match to T20.
And it would be just as delightful in any. Nothing wrong with that ball, really, just a good length delivery on off stump. But Shikhar Dhawan seems to be liking the additional pace of Amir, given that he's not really getting the ball to move.
Yeah, I think we know swing is his enemy, is his bogey, and anything straight, he's a wonderful player.
That's outside off stump again. Shikhar Dhawan walking across outside off stump. This time Amir goes a little bit wider on the crease, and Shikhar Dhawan content to just defend into the offside. There is no run.
But this is the case in all forms of cricket. You've got to get some lateral movement when you're bowling. If the batsman can line you up, and more to the point, when if he knows he can line you up and he's not expecting anything late to happen, then he can play shots like that.
Grubby's going to come in.
Have a change in a moment. Yeah.
You coming into ball by ball? I think I'm going to Jingles. I'm going to Tweet, sorry, and Avi's going to Jingles. Penultimate ball of the batting power play. Outside off stump, back of a length, and forced off the back foot by Shikhar Dhawan to backward point. There is no run, or cover point rather. Shikhar Dhawan 30 off 32.
Oh, we've got quite a few tweets to catch up with.
Good. Well,
I'll tell you what.
Run through them.
Do that and the change rather than me playing a jingle.
Okay, let's do that. So we talked about Shaheen earlier. 4 catches drops over the 13 overs that he's bowled.
I know, that's ridiculous.
There must be a jinx there.
That must be the most drops, the worst drops to overs ratio of a bowler. Admittedly limited sample size, but that's ridiculous. Last ball of Amir's third over, the 10th of the innings. Up to the crease now, bowls outside off stump. Shikhar Dhawan again just pings this beautifully down the ground. A little bit wider this time, but still mid-on, can't get there. 4 runs for Shikhar Dhawan. He's on 34. India 53 for none after 10. That must be the best power play of the tournament thus far. Read those tweets, Ali.
Yep, Evil Scooters, given the ICC's men's leagues won't require full fixtures, one imagines the 2 countries will miraculously avoid being drawn against each other. That's probably India, Pakistan. England, Argentina, Abhishek Chopra tells. Borges said, so remember the Falklands thing was a fight between 2 bald men and a comb. Evil Scooters again. I'll argue Bangladesh winning the tournament is a better result for the tournament. So there's little chance India would lose to Afghanistan, but Pakistan losing to Bangladesh is a real possibility. Jasdeep Singh, it's just people asking for video. You could do live gestures. We could reenact every ball, I suppose. Evil Scooters, Afghanistan's second wicket was a run-out. Hesitation from Shahzad. Sold Rahmat Shah up the creek, and Shakib Direct hit the stumps only just before Rahmat could regain his ground. That's from that match, and I'll give it over.
Thank you, Avi. It's Grubby back here in the old central missionary position. It's 53 without loss after those first 10 overs of India's reply. And at the moment, it's got an air of inevitability about the result of this game. currently Rohit and Shikhar Dhawan. Shikhar Dhawan plays a couple of beautiful straight drives in that last over. Rohit is facing up here to Mohammad Nawaz, comes round the wicket to him with his left arm off breaks, and he bunts it up to long on and takes a single. So Knuckles moved over to the tweet seat.
Hi.
And Avi has moved over to the jingle chair.
Hello.
One Tip One Hander says that apparently at least every other time I was saying Shaheen Afridi, I was saying Shahid Afridi, #nostalgia. I have a cold.
So Rohit's approaching 30 balls at the crease, and they often say after 30 balls if you don't get him out.
Well, he's approached and slightly snuck past it, 34 of 33.
Oh no, that's Dhawan. I'm talking about Rohit.
Rohit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, he's a lovely player to watch. I was making the case the other day that he might just be the best white ball cricketer in the world. I was taken to task because, of course, his countryman Virat Kohli not bad either. This is lent on by Shikhar Dhawan, just backward of point, and he takes a single. But Rohit, you're right. Once I'm sure there is that stat that you alluded to there. When he gets to 30, he very rarely gets out, or he does tend to go on. And he just has this. I mean, he's a big old lad as well. There's a degree of permanence about him. He faces up now to Nawaz, who's round the wicket to him, and just plays it from the crease to short extra, and there is no run. We're in the 11th over.
He has some of the. Obviously, he's not as big, but he has some of the effortless power of Inzamam.
Yeah. Talking of nostalgia.
He reads the pace of the pitch very well, so it just gives him that time.
Mohammad Nawaz round the wicket again, and forward comes Rohit. Another sloppy piece of fielding there at short extra allows them to scamper through for a single where there really should not have been one.
Well, this is the difference between India and Pakistan at the moment. In India were hitting the stumps almost at will. Their fielding was very sharp today.
And Pakistan are struggling to pick the ball up at
very
times.
shoddy indeed. We're talking about the drops off the bowling of Shaheen, and he's a big lad. You wouldn't want to be dropping him off him. He'd be coming after you. This is swatted up towards long on, a full ball. Swatted there by Shikhar Dhawan. Jogs through for his 36th run. As we untangle the various wires around our feet, I nearly spill my tea, and it's all going off.
And jeopardise the future health of the broadcast. Which is brought to you with the kind assistance of Dow Diagnostics, the full-service laboratory in Dubai Healthcare City.
Now as to complete this over, round the wicket, it's just on the leg stump or down the leg side, and played with, well, a sort of leading edge really, which just rolls out all along the ground to short extra. Completes that over. It's 57 without loss.
Badshah of Dublin says, if memory serves me correctly from reading The Voyage of the Beagle, Darwin wasn't much taken with the Falklands either. Bald men and combs indeed. Abhishek Chopra says Avi catches up on tweets like Rohit catches up on his strike rate. And Abhishek Chopra says, is Rohit Sharma a better limited overs skipper than Virat Kohli?
Well, discuss. They certainly have their very different styles, don't they? Virat, as I'd like to quote from the Cricinfo profile, frequently to be seen bearing his emotions loudly in public, whereas Rohit is a far more placid character, but certainly a very effective leader in this form of the game. He made one or two. Well, your bowlers make you look good, don't they, as a captain?
Well, the question is he more of an astute tactician if he's fielding?
Kohli, there are two different types of captains. There are leaders and there are tacticians. Kohli's a leader. I don't think his tactical. He is not brilliant tactically. He hasn't often had to be in limited overs cricket.
No.
Now Pakistan have got to do something different to try and turn the tide in this game, and we have a change of bowling, don't we?
We do.
It is the leg spinner. This first ball is across Shikhar Dhawan, who attempts to cut a ball which is too close to him and almost gets a feather through to the keeper. The new bowler is this chap.
Don't dare come down the track. Don't play against the spin. I said I'll just go smack. She said shut up, Gonza leggy. This ball is not even 20. She said ooh.
Full ball, which is driven by Shikhar up to long on, and he takes a single. Only 19 years old, Shadab Khan. He's already played 36 one-day internationals. No, he hasn't. He's played 24, but he's taken 36 wickets in those 24.
That's impressive.
At an average of under 25 and a strike, an economy rate of under 5.
Wow.
Very impressive figures.
It's a very, very good young talent.
It certainly is. It's a bit shorter, this one, and Rohit's able to go back in his crease and turn it around the corner just behind square, and he gets another comfortable single.
Yeah, we probably didn't see him in his ideal conditions when we went and watched him in Malahide, but we were quite impressed with him.
Yeah, I mean, just a very, as you say, an impressive cricketer all round. Really good, good kind of in-your-face style of play, whether he's batting or bowling, and not 20 years old, the talented youngster bastard. This one is played defensively by Shikhar Dhawan into the leg side, and there's no run.
And a lightning fielder at backward point.
Yeah.
So what's happened to Yasir Shah then?
Yasir is Shardam is preferred to Yasir in limited overs format.
So don't think they can find room for both of them?
Back in his crease goes Shikhar Dhawan and punches it through the offside. Man runs down from long off and fields it, but there was enough space out there that they're able to trot through for 2.
Yeah, this time he's slightly read the googly a little bit better.
Just dragged it down ever so slightly, didn't he, which enabled Shikhar Dhawan to go back in his crease comfortably. Played that one forcefully through the offside. 61 without loss now. It's the final ball of the 12th over, about to be bowled by Shadab Khan.
Yasir's a fabulous test bowler, but he's not. I don't think the white ball format. He hasn't performed as well.
He's not the greatest fielder in the world either, so he's not going to be adding much to that. This is another small drag down. It's only fine margins, but very quickly onto it there was Shikhar Dhawan and pulled it. Didn't quite get all of it, but he takes the strike at the end of that 12th over.
Yeah, just the easy single there. Nitin Bajaj says there's no cleaner striker of the white ball than Rohit Sharma. What a pleasure to watch. I love the shot that he plays inside out over extra cover.
Yeah, that's gorgeous to watch. And he can play that stepping away or playing it conventionally. You're going towards a ball that's outside off. And when he's in that groove, when he's been there for 30 balls plus, and you see those incredible innings, 3 times he's gone past 200 in this form of the game. It's absolutely outstanding. He's unstoppable sometimes.
That's the point, isn't it? Once he's in, you can't bowl anywhere to him. Anything off his legs, he whips across.
Yeah, and that, I think it was the 264 that he got against Sri Lanka. Towards the end, he was sort of stepping outside off stump and flicking balls over square leg like AB de Villiers.
He almost could play any shot to any ball. You're right, it's sort of reminiscent of AB, who's a very different type of batsman, but similar in the sense that you feel he could hit anything to any part of the ground when he's in that groove.
The most useless masterclass of all time. A masterclass that relies on being AB de Villiers is not of help, is not of benefit to anyone.
Is that what the one where he's talking about practicing with one stump or the edge of the bat?
Oh yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
but it's just practicing hitting sixes while falling over.
This is a forward defensive shot, but as the man was running in from a little deeper extra cover, Shikhar Dhawan was able to scamper through for a single.
Yeah, it was quite clever there. Made sure he got his body between the ball and the stumps.
There was a very good masterclass actually with Rashid Khan when he was at Sussex.
Yeah.
He's talking about how he doesn't see himself as a wrist spin bowler. He doesn't use the wrist in his delivery.
Oh, really?
No, he thinks of himself. He's essentially that's why he bowls so fast and he has such control.
Mohammad Nawaz, a nicely flighted delivery this, and it's played quite respectfully by Rohit up towards mid-off where it's fielded, and there's no run.
So he has a really stiff wrist and then just using the fingers to really rip the ball out, and gets a lot of body into his action.
Wow.
He gets some turn on his googly, which he bowls kind of out the thumb and the forefinger.
Another nice bit of flight and drifts in on the angle, this one from Mohammad Nawaz, and it's played defensively back to him by Rohit, and there's no run again.
But it shows you the difference as well, because I mean Rashid Khan had a tough time in that Test match, didn't he, in India?
Yes, he did.
Where you don't have those fields that you can set in one-day cricket.
Nawaz around the wicket again, holds this one back, and another nice bit of flight and drift, but it's played fairly comfortably by Rohit off the front foot up too long off, and he takes another single.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be back, and he'll only improve playing more of the red ball format. Sahil at Chocolate Burfi says Fakhr Zaman, Usman Khan, Haris Sohail and Imamul Haq have all dropped catches off Shaheen's bowling. Too many guys to go after. Also, the last guy's the selector's nephew. You wouldn't want to go after him.
Yeah, but imagine turning to face Shaheen, who's just dropped a dolly off his bowling. That monster staring back at you. Turned off his legs by Shikhar Dhawan into to the square leg fielder, and there's no run.
Yeah,
64 without
you wouldn't
loss.
be so much eyeballing him as naveling him, to borrow
a
quote from Terry Pratchett.
Final ball of the 13th over about to be bowled here by Mohammad Nawaz, and it's just turned wristily into the mid-wicket area by Shikhar. No run there. It remains 64 without loss. What are they going to do to take a wicket here, Pakistan?
More spin.
Yeah.
Take a little pace off the ball. Toss it up outside of Rohit's eye line.
I think so.
Outside his off stump, outside over his eye line.
I mean, the beauty for Rohit though is the fact that Dhawan's going at a runner ball, and he doesn't have to do anything.
No, exactly.
Try and tempt Shikhar into doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Shikhar's actually. I genuinely think he's a good player of spin. Actually,
He is. He's not as impetuous as Sehwag was, who in the words of John Wright, didn't think spinners should be allowed to bowl.
You should dismiss them.
That's a great story about Zarina the Seward when he was playing for Leicestershire. Jeremy Snape was batting at the other end, and Snape was saying he was really struggling against a bowler who was getting the ball to reverse swing. So I said, don't worry, Jeremy, I'll sort this. Next ball smashes it into the river and they have to find a new ball.
Shadab Khan's going to bowl his second over, and he starts with a leg break. Just takes the shoulder of Rohit Sharma's bat and has fielded it short third man, and they come through for a quick single. But it is that sort of match situation where it's just drifting here if you're Pakistan. If you don't do something and do something fairly quickly,
I mean,
it's an inevitable and pretty slow death.
yeah. Well, we saw even with the Sarfaraz and Shoaib partnership. It's
Just turned off his legs here by Shikhar Dhawan, or maybe it hit the pad. Fielded by the man on the 45, and there's no run.
once you get in on this pitch, you know, it's not that many terrors, isn't it?
No,
it's slow and it's low. It's typical.
They were very good at milking singles. It's not easy to hit boundaries consistently.
Dhawan just defends this one, a straight ball from Shadab Khan up towards mid-on, no run.
Evil Scooter says my not dodgy stream of the other match has finally settled down after an hour of picture breakup inspired psychedelic cricket. It's a bit of a shame, it was matching your jingles quite nicely.
Shadab over the wicket to the left-handed Shikhar, who turns it off his legs towards square leg and gets the comfortablest of comfortable singles. It's 66 without loss in the 14th over.
Abhishek Chopra also says, he says a couple of things. PSA for Indian listeners, stand-up comedy show by Andy Zaltzman on October the 2nd in Bombay. Ravina, where are you? Yeah, if you get a chance to see Zaltzman live, definitely go.
Well, this is the third match in a row where Shikhar Dhawan has gone past 40. In the previous one against Hong Kong, he scored 120 odd, so he's
127 of 120, then 46, 41, and now 42.
Some foot movement here as Rohit comes down the pitch to Shadab and strokes him too long on, and they take another single.
Might be time for one of these two to just be a bit more aggressive and then see, because if it comes off, you'll win the game more easily, but if it doesn't come off, it'll give the middle order something to do.
This comfortable inevitability, as Grubby put it, is actually not good for India's long term here.
May not be. This is rather leg-sidey from Shadab Khan, and he gets away with it though, as Shikhar attempts to whip it down to long leg, but it's fielded by the man on the 45. I kind of get your point. Really, the only thing that India have learnt from this tournament is that they're still bloody good.
Well, partly that. So not to take teams lightly. So certainly against Hong Kong, not to panic in the field, and that Ravi Jadeja is still a viable part of a limited overs setup. Really. We already knew that Bumrah and Bhuvi were world class. We already knew that Chahal and Kuldeep are a great combination. We already knew Kedar Jadhav is annoyingly effective with the ball and we know we can chip him with the bat. He's got an amazing 100 against England when England were over there last. We've not learned anything about Dhoni. We've not learned anything about Dinesh Karthik with the bat.
I don't think we're going to find anything new out about Dhoni at this stage of his career.
Or Raidu.
Yeah, birthday boy Raidu, let's not forget. Might have a very quiet day on his birthday if these two continue as they are. This is just angled down by Rohit Sharma towards the third man boundary. There's that Mohammad Amir in pursuit there. He does the fielding and they come back for two.
I'd say the other thing they've learned is that Khalil Ahmed has been a good find for them, and I think could be part of the team for certainly in the squads.
It's a shame we haven't seen more of him, really. That's Smiley.
Yeah, maybe they'll not resting exactly, but maybe he'll play against Afghanistan.
Yeah, I think the problem with these sort of tournaments is obviously the English conditions will be very different, but there's not that many games before a World Cup, and you need that sort of.
But also it's a tournament and against rivals, and you have to win them.
But just going back to what you were saying, Knuckle, there's no reason for these two batsmen to do anything different. It's up to Pakistan to force the pace in this game. Round the wicket comes Mohammad Nawaz, and Rohit is forward in defence, pushing out the offside.
In the context of a professional ODI chase, yes, but at the same time, there's no downside to them trying to get on with it from here.
I know what you're saying. If I can use a parallel with another sport, the New Zealand All Blacks playing their games. I mean, they're just rugby from a different planet. I know they lost a close one against South Africa recently, but Nawaz floats this one up. Nice bit of flight again, and it's stroked up too long off by Rohit, and he takes a very comfortable single. But last year they were winning these tight games against Australia and people. I mean, no mugs. And one of the theories was that they were practicing even when they're on the back foot, even when they're sort of taking the ball and going backwards, they still want to play rugby in their own 22 at pace. And sometimes that meant that they yielded tries, whatever. But they were basically having a training session in proper matches and still winning them. Nawaz round the wicket to the left-handed Shikhar Dhawan, who comes forward, bat very close to his pad, as he just plays it out towards extra cover and takes a single.
The Chicago Bulls, when they were winning everything, and with Jordan and Rodman and Pippen, used to say that the best game they got all season was when they were training against themselves.
Well, there's another good story there about the Chicago Bulls, because the first few years of Michael Jordan being in that side, he'd smash all the individual records, but the Bulls got nowhere near the playoffs. And then the coach, Phil Jackson, basically made him play in a different way, which involved him passing to his teammates sometimes, heaven forbid. And they went and won sort of 6 out of 7, and he was MVP and all the rest of it, in all of them. This ball is played up to long on by Rowett and takes another single.
I think we're kind of overhyping India a bit here, that because All Blacks, Bulls, they were the best. England at the moment are the best ODI team in the world, and India's middle order has to compete with that England middle order, which is so good. Yeah,
which might just give some credence to Knuckles' theory that let's get it over with quickly, or give some exposure to those guys. I mean, you can't really be taking the piss out of mother cricket, though. This one is just played off the inside half of the bat into the onside.
But you do it in a way that makes sense if it works. Yeah. So be a bit more aggressive. Not that they have any reason to, of course. But, India are almost like the All Blacks before they won that World Cup in 2011. Brilliant for 3 or 4 years, and then something happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the All Blacks famously won the first World Cup in '87, didn't win another one till 2011. They were starting to get a reputation as chokers. They'd had their difficulties with drink, and they adopted the mantra of no dickheads.
That '99 World Cup semi-final against France was a travesty.
Well, I know it happens.
Abhishek Chopra says quite rightly that Rashid Khan versus Tresco last over challenge video is all kinds of awesome. Yeah, Tresco has to get like 8 off 6 off a Rashid Khan over, and he doesn't manage it.
Oh, lovely Tresco.
Yeah,
signed another 1-year deal with Somerset in the vain hope we might actually win the championship. Rohit facing up to Shadab Khan, the new over he starts, and it's just defended into the offside. There's no run. It's 72 without loss.
Summer, it's your year set.
Oh, stop it.
He was opening the other day with Tom Banton, who was born 5 years after Tresco made his first-class debut.
I wonder what Tom Banton's nickname is. Rohit. He's got a slip in place here, rather optimistically, Shadab Khan, and that was either the googly or the straight honour. He read it well enough just to steer it into the offside, and they take another single.
It's a good move though by Pakistan. I think getting a slip in, getting a couple of men around that bat.
Exactly, you've got to try something. You've got to make the batsman think a bit differently.
Why not go for an in-out field? 4 men round the bat, everyone else on the boundary. Sort of halfway back to the boundary.
I think another man's coming into the circle now.
Shadab is in again, and this is just turned off his pad, or attempted to do so. Shadab thinks about an LBW appeal. Which is not going to be followed through with, and it's not going to be given.
I think it pitched outside leg, hit him outside leg, and was
possibly got an inside edge.
Not a lot going for it.
Not a lot going for it.
Kohli would review.
Pakistan wasted their review against Afghanistan the other day.
Nicely flighted, a delivery that pitches on leg stump from over the wicket to the left-handed Chickadawan. He turns it around the corner down towards long leg, takes another single.
They wasted the second ball of the match on a ball that was pitching outside leg and turned out to be a no ball.
Yes.
I thought if it's a no ball, you don't lose the review, though.
I think you. I don't know. I think they did. If
it's a front foot no ball.
Shadab bowls a slightly shorter ball to the right-handed Rohit, who plays it defensively into the onside, and there's no run.
And Nitin Bajaj says, "Yo, Avi, speak closer to the mic, please."
Okay.
There we go. And 365 Not Out says, "Is it time to start retiring players in positions like these for tactical reasons?"
Rohit drives very pleasingly through the offside. There's a man on the cover boundary there. Shadab flings his hands to his head as if he'd won some sort of moral victory there, but he hadn't. And 2 more runs to the total.
We do this in football, obviously. We give people, when they're coming back from injury, 10 minutes run-outs and stuff, tactical substitutions. Why can we do this in batting?
There's nothing to stop you retiring a player in the laws of the game. And apparently Belize, groundbreaking cricketers as ever, did that yesterday to try and up the run rate.
Belize?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I guess a regional qualifier.
Is that a T20 game, was it?
Let's have a look. I'm sure Cricinfo will have something.
They just took 1 off that last delivery of the previous over, I beg your pardon, which means that Rohit has retained the strike for the start of this over here, to be bowled by Mohammad Nawaz. 75 without loss. We've had 16 overs. Comfortable as a big old duvet at the moment. A lovely sweep from Rohit. 2-leg sidey from Mohammad Nawaz, and it runs into the long leg boundary.
I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4.
Swept that very sweetly indeed, Rohit Sharma, and he's moved on to 34. Shikhadawan has 46 or thereabouts.
Yeah, I mean the spinners were 44, sort of bowling quite tightly actually, without conceding too many boundaries.
Yeah,
I mean, but without being threatening.
no, exactly. It was still comfortable enough, but not as if they needed to break the shackles there, India. But it's the first boundary they've struck for a little while. Takes them on to 79 without loss. Here comes Mohammed Nawaz again, and he just leans on this Rohit Sharma into the offside. The man runs round from extra cover to do the fielding. It's Asif doing the fielding there, and one more run to the total.
Yeah, this is where the Indian openers do much better than the Pakistanis. They can just play with very soft hands out into the off and onside. Rotate that strike.
It was the North America qualifier of the Americas regional qualifier for the World T20 that the Billies are playing in.
And Nawaz maintains this round the wicket line of attack, word attack very much in inverted commas, as Shikhar Dhawan comes down the pitch and just plays it into the onside defensively. Doesn't take a run this time. He's got 44. As I say, the third time in a row he's gone past 40, and the previous innings to that against Hong Kong he got 120 odd. This one is driven a fuller ball up to long on, and he does take a single this time. Takes care to hop off the pitch so as not to get any sort of warning, although why he'd want to run on the pitch when it's only his team who's got a bat on it now, I do not know. And that's probably why he jumped off it.
Apparently, Belize got bowled out for 32 the other day by Canada.
Ooh, very strong in that region, Canada. They've been in world finals before.
Awesome ruse, yes. They've not been in a world tournament for a few years, but certainly they've had their moments.
Got a bit of pedigree there, though, haven't they?
Good as the Hong Kong, are they?
Probably not.
Round the wicket comes Nawaz, and it's just steered backward of point by Rohit. Man stationed there, so there's no run.
Canada didn't make the World Cup qualifier last time, whereas Hong Kong did. Canada had one amazing game against the West Indies back in the 2003 World Cup, where John Davison, who's a naturalised Australian, scored what at the time was the fastest World Cup 100 ever, I think.
Round the wicket again comes Nawaz. A bit of turn off the pitch, but it's a relatively slow turn, read easily by Rohit, and he just cuts it backward at point, easy as you like. Goes for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Effortless power.
Yeah, it's time to change again, surely, isn't it? I mean, bring Hassan Ali on, he's a wicket taker. Who else?
It's one of those where you have to keep trying something.
You've got to keep.
They've got Shoaib Malik, Fakhar Zaman does bolt some part-time.
Maybe spin
slow.
from one end, maybe a bit of Shoaib from one end and a bit of Hassan Ali from the other.
Banging it in, bowling quick.
Maybe Shaheen, maybe to bring him back.
Yeah.
Or just tell Shaheen to bowl an over of Yorkers and see what happens.
Yeah, come round the wicket to Rohit, see if he likes it there. Short leg in place.
Or if you're going to keep the spinners on, bring the field up.
I think spin from one end and something different, seam, short stuff from the other end might just give them something to think about at least. It's all very, very easy at the moment. This is a full ball, and Shikhar Dhawan is forward to it, playing it into the onside, and there's no run.
Yeah, I think Shadab has definitely out-bowled Nawaz so far in the spin department.
Well, certainly he's a more pleasing bowler to watch Shadab. The leg spinner rather than the darting left arm spinner, or slow left armer rather.
Shadab comes in again, and this is turned off middle and leg by Shikhar. So he gets another comfortable single out there to square leg. The score is 86 without loss. We're in the 18th over. India require 238 to win this game. At the moment, they're doing an absolute canter.
Nitin Bajaj says, "Oh man, I feel kind of sorry for Sarfaraz. He looks like he's about to have a bout of apoplexy."
Well, we just saw a little conversation that took place between overs. A little lap sweep there by Rohit. Doesn't quite beat the man running around from the 45 position though. And they do not come through for a single. Yeah, he was in conversation with Mohammed Nawaz and perhaps one of the other Pakistani players. And for Sarfaraz, who's quite a sort of low-level, placid, laconic kind of chap, he looked properly cross, properly grumpy.
Yeah, he's ticking there.
Yeah. And this is a ball which is allowed to pass through to the keeper by Rohit. Pitched outside, leg, spun even further. And because they're in the position they're in, he feels he doesn't have to do anything with it. And so doesn't.
Nitin Bajaj says, "Ooh, a little bit of lip reading there. Sarfaraz can curse like a Pashtun pirate." Wowza!
Pashtun pirate. Oh, please, tell us more. Rohit has 39 runs and he faces up to Shadab again. It's a ball outside his off stump. This time he does deign to play it. Just strokes it out towards the cover point boundary. And they come through for one of those incredibly easy singles that have become the stock in trade.
The Pirates of Pakhtunkhwa GNS Society now touring.
Oh, yes,
as Swapnil Batle says, the English audience is optimistic about the team's World Cup chances this year as the Asian audience is for their team in every match ever.
Yeah, we don't like to do optimistic usually. This is a kind of a sweep come pull from a kneeling position
That's 4,
by
isn't it?
Shekhar Dhawan. It's probably 4. It was Shaheen Afridi running around doing the fielding. He made a manful attempt at saving it.
It looks like some pretty good work, actually.
They've definitely come back for 2, but it may well be 4. We're going to have a look at it. It's one of those, because it bounced a little more than Shekhar thought it was going to, so he had to improvise a little
He
bit.
ended up playing a pull from both knees.
Well, that was it. I remember A.B. de Villiers in that incredible innings that he played, where he scored 131
Oh, he touched
balls.
him again.
Yeah, we think this is probably going to be 4, but I think we're going to see it again.
I think the ball
Initially,
is touching his other arm as he hits the rope. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe. Ooh.
he scooped it back with his left hand, diving across. Then he hit the boundary sponge. Then the ball seemed to get lodged under his right forearm. This is Shaheen Afridi we're talking about here.
And I think it just clipped his wrist.
And we think that at one point there, ball, man and boundary sponge were all in contact simultaneously. They were indeed, and Rod Tucker confirms that as he signals 4. And that takes Shekhar Dhawan through to his 50. Well played, sir.
Let's find a
So
50.
he's just quite quietly having an incredibly productive tournament, Shekhar Dhawan, isn't he?
Well,
Work out what he's scored now. 170, 300 runs already.
Must be the leading run scorer in the tournament.
300 runs in the tournament, yeah.
Well, we were just looking at his record earlier about multi-team tournaments. Let's give him a little 50.
50 years they've been married, but they can't wait for the 51st to roll around. Yeah.
Nitin Bajaj has both translated and euphemised what Surfraz was saying.
Oh, good.
There was stuff about female relatives and body parts and some physical actions. It was all very in for a dig.
Really? To his own teammate? I presume he's referring to the same thing we saw in between overs recently.
Yeah.
To Nawaz.
Nice.
Evil Scooter said, didn't Canada also have a pretty excellent game against either Bangladesh or Kenya in the 2003 World Cup as well? You may be correct. Kenya, of course, got to the semi-finals of that tournament. Eventually lost to India.
Steve Ticcolo.
Yeah, one of their bowlers bowled a spell of like 18 off 10 overs or something. In that semi-final. Abhishek Chopra says, Pakistan playing with no other frontline spinners? I mean, come on. Well, they've got Shadab, and then the rest are kind of all-rounder-y type.
Shadab, Mohammad Nawaz.
Shoaib Malik.
Yeah, he batted well. Give him a little bowl.
Yeah, with his round arm, round the wicket stuff.
Filth.
Fucker bowled the other day.
Maybe Safraz was telling Mohammad Nawaz, your nan wears Reeboks in the bath, which is one of my favourite disses I've ever heard.
I mean, Surfraz is saying, if you can't do it, screw it, I'll bowl.
Oh, I think my mum could have caught that in her pinny.
Yeah, which is more tedious.
Still quite a funny image there.
Not allowed under the laws of cricket. You're not allowed to use a piece of equipment, so you can't catch the ball in your hat. Afghanistan have settled somewhat with after the losses on Ihsanullah and Rahmat Shah. Mohammad Shahzad is 33 not out. Hashmatullah Shahidi is 14 not out. Afghanistan are 57 for 2 in the 17th over.
Chasing 250.
250 to win.
Yeah, that's another half decent game there.
It's in the balance there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this game finishes early, I guess we'll switch over.
I guess we will. That's what we did the other day.
You say about equipment. What if it lands in your pocket?
Oh no, that's out.
That's out.
There's been a couple of cases. Russell Arnold at short leg was fielding in basically a duvet. The shirt was so big, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been. I can't remember who it was. It was an England player. Pulled the ball in, and it got caught in his sort of big baggy shirt, and he sort of grabbed it. And then in a county game, Sussex against Warwickshire, Ed Joyce clipped the ball off his pads, and he got caught in Jonathan Trott's pocket at short leg.
Again, how big were the pockets?
It just went straight in. Trott sort of turned his back on it because it was sort of a pull shot.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But you know, just hold them open a little bit.
Yeah.
We've been followed by
Like
Naveen.
elephant's ears.
We've been followed by Naveen Prasad. Welcome, Naveen.
Hello there.
And welcome to everyone who's following us on Twitter.
Why don't you write into us, Naveen? We'd love to hear from you.
Do we have any people with us on the Facebook Cricket Tracker page?
Yep, we have lots of people. Abdullah Khan and Farzan Bawa, Khan Zada, Ranjesh Yadav, Hanud Swainul, shouting out to us.
Hello, everyone.
Shout out.
And actually giving us scores before we even get them.
Well, marvellous. I should remind you that the coverage today and through this tournament is being brought to you with the kind association of Dow Diagnostics, the full-service laboratory in Dubai Healthcare City, a place that I should possibly visit at some point.
Dubai or Healthcare City?
Well, something that calls itself Healthcare City. I think
Which one?
Just get a full MOT, you know. And that sounds like the place to do it. At Dow Diagnostics.
Abhishek Chopra says, terrible from Sarfraz to say all of that to Mohammad Nawaz, especially when the opposition will understand every word of it. And Shanat Chandrachud 04 says, India's missed a chance to sort out the bench strength, right? I'd have given KL Rahul a go today by resting Shikhar.
Yeah, and we do have the change of bowling that we were advocating not 5 minutes ago. The new bowler is a seamer, and he comes in, bowls to Rohit Sharma, who strokes it off the back foot through the offside and takes another single.
And I'm looking for him here.
Go for the one that says remix. This is India's third opening partnership of 50 or more in the 4 games of this tournament. The other one was 45.
And he's coming round the wicket to the left-hander, Shikhar Dhawan, who goes back and swats this, just pulls it effortlessly through in front of square, through mid-wicket, and it crashes into the boundary rope. Someone mimics his thigh-slapping celebration.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Will we see Hassan Ali's rather dubious exploding bomb celebration?
Well, that he's got on, he's got made into a pendant, like the sort of the Air Jordan silhouette, talking of Michael Jordan earlier.
So what? So it's just what this sort of pose is it round his neck?
Yeah, you'll see it maybe when he's bowling. It's sort of a man doing a star jump, is what it looks like.
Lovely.
Hopefully we'll zoom in on that.
Round the wicket comes Hassan, angles one into the leg stump of Shikhar Dhawan, who turns it around the corner for one of those comfortable singles. The score moves on to 97 without loss, and we're in the 19th over.
Yeah, Hassan Ali is there. It is.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Hassan Ali is the chief banter officer of the Pakistan team these days.
God, he's not. He's
The
not.
Archbishop of Banterbury.
Do you remember when Will Greenwood said that to what's his face Haskell at the end of the Lions tour? Go on then, the Archbishop of Banterbury. Go and join your mates. It was just painful. Painful, I tell you. Rohit Sharma's back on strike. He has 41. This ball takes him high up on the pad. It did him a little bit for pace there and off the pitch. A suggestion of an LBW appeal, but I think even Hassan Ali in his most optimistic mood would understand that that was not going to be hitting the stumps. But it did do him for pace, I think.
Yeah.
A minor moral victory. Is that a Dr. Dan?
Dr. Dan sending a lovely sketch
me?
of Shikhar Dhawan hatless battering a spinner through the offside for 4.
He's so quick with these things, Dr. Dan. He knocks them out in about 5 minutes.
Very,
It's
very
amazing.
impressive. Hassan Ali's wicket. I'll come back after this ball.
To be faced by Rohit Sharma, he turns it off his legs. The man runs round from mid-wicket to do the fielding.
Oh, they've hit finally.
And there's the stumps and the bails light up, but Shikhar Dhawan had easily made his ground. So Rohit has 42, Shikhar Dhawan has 55 at the moment. India are 98 without loss and cruising. 1 ball left for the 19th over.
Dan Joslin says Hassan Ali's wicket celebration may be dubious, but is it dubious?
It's Hassan Ali, do be dubious. Yes, I like it.
How did he do that, Hassan Ali?
Very nice. So it's one of these games where these Indian batsmen just have to do something to keep your mind on the job, because it's.
I've got the 100 partnership to look forward
Lie
to.
back and think of your average.
Yeah. Shikhar Dhawan, a second century beckons perhaps in this tournament. Make the most of the form while you're in it. This is edgily wafted outside the off stump. Quite safe though, there's no one in that gully region.
Or indeed edged waftily.
Fielded by Shaheen Afridi down on the third man boundary, and there's 1 more single to the total. 99 is the total now.
In the other game in Abu Dhabi, they're let me just refresh the page. They're taking drinks. So after 17 overs, Afghanistan 57 for 2, needing a further 193 runs to win. Hashmatullah Shahidi, who's been the informed batsman in the middle order for Afghanistan, is 14 not out of 22. Mohammad Shahzad 33 off 60. The wickets to fall is Sanullah, caught by Nazmul Hussain Shanto off the first ball of the innings for Mustafizur Rahman for 8 off 11, and then Rahmat Shah run out direct hit by Shakib Al Hassan for 1. Shakib, who was himself run out earlier for a duck.
Well, the way Afghanistan have been their lower order have been batting, they just want these two to get them within range.
Yeah, it was a decent innings from Asghar Afghan, actually the captain the other day against Pakistan, but certainly Gulbadin and Rashid Khan have been in very good form lower down the order.
I liked somebody's suggestion that Rashid might end up opening the batting, and certainly in T20 franchise cricket. This is a full delivery from Shadab Khan, stretches forward to it, Shikhar Dhawan, and turns it into the leg side.
Yes.
And that is the 100 up for India, 100 without loss off the first ball of the 20th over.
I saw someone on the Cricket Info ball by ball saying that he should do it in one-day cricket.
Well, I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah, I can certainly see it in T20.
T20 more than one day.
Narayan style.
Narayan style. Yeah, exactly. Don't know who
Mohammad Shahzad and Rashid Khan would be a fun opening partnership to watch. They're both. Shahzad loves to. He hits sixes while falling over.
A full bunger here from Shadab, quite a low one, and Rohit strokes it rather than trying to give it the big one. Strokes it to long on, and just takes one more very easy single.
Yeah,
I'm going to give him the 100 partnership jingle actually.
The bowling attack has been survived and sometimes even plundered.
This latest ball from Shadab is driven by Shikhar Dhawan, having used his feet, skipped down the pitch and just driven all along the ground, straight drive for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can we have that 100 partnership jingle again in its full entirety?
Yes, we
I'm
can.
not sure I've ever heard it.
It's quite long, and I'll get there again.
Shadab bowls again to Shikhar Dhawan, who goes back and whips it off his legs to get another single.
Have another go.
Bowling attack has been survived and sometimes even plundered. The partnership has persisted and now has reached 100.
Very good, Perko.
Is that Perko? Rohit comes forward, some leisurely paces down the wicket before stroking it up to mid-on and taking yet another comfortable single.
I don't know if that's Perko, it's just in the milestones section.
Certainly is. I recognise that
what's happening,
Australian
Atif?
burr everywhere.
Yeah. We have 2 new men who are going to be joining you after this over in the shape of Atif Nawaz and Andy Ward. This is cut from just outside off stump by Shikhar Dhawan. They think about the single, it's not quite there. Shikhar makes his ground again. And that's 107 without loss after 20 overs. We're going to do the aforementioned change that we probably didn't describe to you. I'll keep talking until we have people in place.
What a cracking game, Bravi, huh?
I tried to get you a couple of wickets for the good of the game, Atif, but I wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, holding on to catches is overrated anyway. So commercial, you know what I mean? So pop. You've got to be alternative and failing. That's the way to do it.
Sarfraz is even unhappier now because that ball almost hit him in the face on that last rethrow.
Having a terrible time. I feel so bad for the guy.
one of those days when nothing goes right.
Nothing goes right, and wow, this could be even bigger win than the last one for India. They could do it by 10 wickets.
Well, they've got to do something, don't they, Pakistan? This game.
What do you do though? They've tried everything. They've done it. They've seemed to have thrown everything against the ball. I mean, so far as the changes in the bowling have been coming thick and fast, he's trying to mix it up. But what does he do next? Well,
Hassan continues to Rohit Sharma, full of ball. It's driven beautifully by Rohit. He beats the infield at least, but the boundary rider, who was at sort of the cover boundary, gets around, and they'll come back for 2 there. Rohit now looking very settled at the crease. 44 not out off 57 balls. He's played at a pretty much a steady pace all the way round.
Well, this reminds me of one of the teams in particular I played in the summer. It was one of the over 50s teams. We ended up winning 1 and losing 9 in our league. It actually wasn't that bad.
Shorter by Hassan, and it's a full-blooded square drive from Rohit. It's fielded brilliantly backward point by Babar Azam. No run there.
But we would do this a lot. We would bat first and we would settle. We would settle for, in our league, in 45 overs, 210 or 200. And we think, oh, that wasn't too bad. And we batted our overs. And the opposition would get them, you know, with 2 overs to spare. And then we'd be talking about dropped catches and this and that. But the whole point, as I was saying to Atif in the green room, when you're playing against a better team, you have to go for it.
As Hassan continues, this one's just sort of a length, and it's played pretty much in his crease by Rohit. No run there as the ball squirts out onto the offside. Well, so you're saying the game was lost in the batting, and this bowling is inevitable because how underpowered they were?
It's all a combination, but it's all about your mindset. You've got to not be scared to get bowled out for 130. If that's the way the dice roll, then so be it. But of course, in practice, they would be, you know, excoriated for it.
Yep, I mean, the way India are batting, it looks like a 300 pitch at the moment. Hassan bowled wide of the crease, and Rohit has a big heave-ho. He must be feeling the mood at the moment. He doesn't connect this time, and the ball goes through to Sarfaraz. No run there.
Yeah, what I don't dislike about it is I don't think there's a big gap in quality between the two teams. I don't think India definitively the better team, and they're being made to look the better team by these performances from Pakistan. Like the gulf is becoming, it's being made to look more like a gulf between the two teams by their performances, and that's the most disappointing part of these Pakistani performances.
A fuller ball from Hassan, aiming at off stump. It's only defended on the front foot by Rohit. No run there.
They look out of sorts. They're chopping and changing. There's no consistency and there's no real rhythm that Pakistan have found themselves in. The batsmen, a lot of the players seem to be under undue amounts of pressure. And you know they've put themselves in a tough spot, and they're relying heavily on their most experienced players as well at the moment, with Shoaib Malik shouldering a lot of the burden of the batting. It's just a combination of errors at the moment for Pakistan.
As Hassan's final ball of this over, it's defended on the front foot. The open bat face from Rohit as he guides it down to the deep gully fielder, and they come through for a single. That's the end of the over. I think with Pakistan, they've never really, I mean, in sort of one-day cricket you have sort of mini sort of, there's momentum shifts, and
sure.
They've even despite this sort of the big partnership they had, they've only really had the impetus and the momentum once when Asif Ali sort of up the ante really, and that was the only time you saw really in this match where they had the impetus, and everything else has been very passive from them.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks like they're playing on two different pitches at the moment. You know, like I mean, Pakistan when they were batting, they were struggling, and the thing is, there's not a huge difference in quality between Pakistan's bowlers and India's bowlers, but it does seem like they're playing in two completely different, under two different set of circumstances, two different strength teams. One team very penetrative, always making chances. One team seemingly flaccid in the face of strong batting. There is a change in bowling. I'll give you his jingle after his first ball.
Well, it's this man whose jingle we will get, the left armour, and he bowls full ball or just outside off stump, and it's guided down through the gully region by Rohit Sharma. I'll come through for a single. We'll get his jingle now.
1-1-1 for none.
Yep, we're on Nelson.
Just one more one would be nice in that little scoreline, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Full symmetry. 1-1 for one.
And it would probably be good for India as well, just to see what else they've got in the hutch, as we used to say. Amir, he had an interesting first spell. He was dragged off pretty early though.
Yeah, he's had a tough year this year.
He has. This is his fourth over as he comes in short, and it's swung off the hip in front of square powerfully by Shikhar Dhawan, pulled magnificently for one of these.
There's not one boy for me, I must have two or three, I need four.
Yeah, well, he pulled that properly. He's averaging 95 with the ball this year. 95?
He's found wickets hard to come by. That's been the problem.
95?
What's his
economy at one point?
What's his economy with that 95? That'd be quite interesting to know.
95.
It's a lot. By contrast, oh, here he comes again anyway.
As Amir gets to the crease, again another short ball. Dhawan looked to pull again. There's some bit more height on it. He was actually looking to hook more than pull. He pulled out of it though, and it's one from the over from Rod Tucker. No run was there, was scored as Sarfaraz took behind the stumps. 115 for naught.
By contrast, you have two batsmen here who know their games inside out, who are very comfortable battling with each other. As Nitin tells us, they've gone up to number 8 in the list of most 100 partnerships in ODIs.
Who else is on that list? Do we have an idea?
Can you guess who's top?
In ODIs? Hayden... Watson maybe? I don't know.
Nope.
This next ball from Amir is Fuller, and it's worked into the leg side, and they come through for a very quick single. Shikhar Dhawan scampers through as mid-on running in, can't get to the ball quick enough.
Tendulkar Sehwag?
Tendulkar and, yes, but not Sehwag.
Oh, Dravid?
Nope.
Dhoni?
Nope.
No, what am I doing?
Opening partnerships.
Opening partnership, I beg your pardon. Who else did Sachin Tendulkar open the batting with?
Gambhir?
Nope.
Who did Sachin open the batting with aside from Virender Sehwag?
We'll have to have a little think about that as Amir continues to Rohit. This one is very straightish, and Rowan easily works it onto the leg side. They're thinking about 2 there as mid-wicket comes round, and they will come through for 2. Really good running from the Indian pair, and that's 50 for Rohit Sharma.
It is. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Problem is all inside your head, she said to me. The answer is easy if you take it logically. I'd like to help you in your struggle to be free. There must be 50 ways to leave your lover.
Is it Tendulkar and Ganguly?
Yes, it is.
Ganguly.
Dada.
Those were the days.
You just a tap on my shoulder made me look that way, and now makes me ask, why is there a pair of socks nailed to the wall?
I've thought that many times. I think it's there specifically so people can cryptically send Snapchats.
Amir's final ball off his 4th over. It's driven beautifully by Rohit, but it will be cut off by the boundary rider. Shaheen out there, but they'll come back for... No, they only took the single there. 100... India... ND 22nd over, 119 without loss. It's been a nice innings from Rohit as well.
It has. He's been settling in quite well, as Andy said. They just look so secure and comfortable, and they know exactly what they're there to do. They know exactly what their place in the team is. By contrast, Pakistan are kind of a bit all over the place. I'll tell you what, there wasn't a massive backlash against the Pakistan team after the first loss against India, but there might be one if they go down by sort of 10 or 9 wickets here. I think there might be a much bigger backlash and a lot of pressure going into a potential final with India as well. Of course, Bangladesh/Afghanistan will have something to say about that.
Now, what do you think Pakistan's problem is? Is it the opening pair not knowing the roles, supposedly that being given out to them, or not? Are they not being adaptive enough, or not given the license to be adaptive enough?
I think actually, oddly, I think Dr. Kashif kind of hit the nail on the head when we talked to him in the midway stage of the game. It's a combination of things. Like it's one part openers insecurity, one part players just being out of form, one part no consistency in the way that they're playing, one part this hesitancy in their strategy, and one part the amount of pressure that's being put on them.
As Hassan continues, short of a good length, Rohit looked to drive on the up again, didn't get hold of it, hit the inside half of his back, squeezed out onto the leg side. They'll come through for a single though.
That was 8 parts in case anyone was keeping count.
Abhishek says, Atif, how's the tour coming along?
The tour, I don't go on tour till January, man, but you're welcome to come on down. I'll be at the Leicester Square Theatre on the 12th of January.
Tickets on sale?
Tickets are on sale now, so just get online and buy some tickets. Only 400 on sale, so for one show. Come on down.
Hassan, round the wicket, continues to Shikhar Dhawan. This one's short, a bouncer. Left alone by Dhawan. Didn't even think really about the pull. It's given 1 for the over. No run there.
So I'm just being curious here. That's for 3-4 months in the future. Do you think have you got a theme at the moment you're thinking of?
Well, it'll be the same show I did in the Edinburgh Festival this year.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be that show, an extended version though. So I'll do a 90-minute show at Leicester Square Theatre. And yeah, it's just a way to just do.
As Hassan continues, oh, this one stayed a little bit low actually. Very tentative from Dhawan, almost reminiscent of the way his feet didn't move in the Test series as he prodded his bat down. Squeezed through though, no run there.
He's still sore about that a little bit?
Oh, a little bit still.
I mean, yeah, I mean, so it'll be the same show anyway, just to finish up. It's called Instant Gratification. And yeah, so let's just with there on the 12th of January. Come check that out. And in between, I'm doing all the clubs and I'm doing 15-20 minutes here, there, and everywhere. So just get online.
All the gorillas invited down for that one?
Of course.
Absolutely. As Hassan continues round the wicket, again, another short ball to Dhawan. They may be thinking about a wide here as he was given 1 for the over. No, he's wasn't quite high enough. Dhawan again pulled out of any sort of attempted ramp shot. No run.
I love that expression from the umpire. He's playing sort of. It's the most patronising thing in the world. He goes, that's over the shoulder. He did. The other umpire did that earlier with the wide, where he just, did that little gesture with his hand, where he just flicked it sides. And, a bit close. The kind of thing you expect on a club match on a Sunday.
As Hassan continues, this was full at length, and he's got this round the wicket line. Has got Dhawan sort of hopping around his crease a little bit. He played and missed at that one as well. The ball actually didn't carry even through to Sarfaraz. It's good bowling by Hassan here. He's been probably one of the better bowlers for Pakistan.
4 dots in a row, yeah.
More effective to take the pace off like this.
Yep, maybe there's a lesson there for Pakistan, and having not played the extra spinner Yeah, I mean, credit to him. He's trying something different. It's just, you can't just keep persisting. A definition of insanity, right? Repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
It's fine ball again round the wicket. This one's a bit more room to Darwin, allows him to really get the bat face down as he drives. So it's a good stop by Baba Azam again in the cover region. No run there. That was the end of the 23rd over.
Got some tweets. Abhishek says, who is still deprived of a deep guttural laugh watching David Warner's century celebration on his club cricket return? I am aware of it. I haven't seen it as yet.
Nor me. I heard he went big.
Yes, he went
cricket
full Imran to here. Short third man. I don't know if either of you guys can explain this to me. VVS was right in calling him Arsan Ali because it's become very easy to play him. Does that make sense?
Oh, Arsan.
Aasan.
Asan. Oh, sorry, that's Hindi for easy.
Ah, okay.
Asan.
I thought it must be something like that. Yes. Yeah. Well, he proved him wrong with that over.
Yeah, very much so. Round the wicket was his thing. Mohammed Amir though is sticking over the wicket, and another missed field by Pakistan as Rohit opened the face of the bat, went through gully, and they actually come back for 2 when there should have been none there. Good running again from India, but yeah, this is not going to improve the mood of Sarfaraz, the captain keeper. India moves serenely to 122 for 0. Mohammed Amir's really disappointed me today. Not really managed to, apart from probably the first 2 balls of the innings, he's not really managed to make any sort of inroads or make the batsman too uncomfortable. It's
a shame, really, because I mean, I remember he was one of those bowlers that carried a genuine threat for such a long time. Like, there was an aura to this guy. He's coming on, something's going to happen. He moves the ball in, he sends it away. He's Wazim Akram reborn, but what's going on now?
Short ball from Amir. It's easily pulled, actually. It didn't quite. It was a bit of a slower bouncer, if anything, and Rohit just swiveled on it, and they'll come through for a single as it's fielded by a deep square leg.
Yeah, they're just lacking this kind of killer instinct at the moment, Pakistan. But on the flip side, India just playing really well. They're just getting more and more into this relaxed groove in this kind of schooling cricket situation where they're just very comfortable, not threatened at all. They'll take their time. They'll do it in a very professional way.
Well, this opening pair have been around for a long time, and they're pretty comfortable in all conditions as well.
It's what in the gambling world is called a train, where, after this ball.
As Mohammed Amir continues, fuller ball this time, looking for a Yorker length. It's moved through mid-wicket in by Shikhar Dhawan. Baba Azam fields again, no run.
Whereas in some innings there are ebbs and flows, and one team's favourite and then the other team's favourite, and then it goes back again. Whereas a train is just when the winning team is winning by more and more and more and more as it goes on.
Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. Really, there was only one impetus change, and that was Asif Ali earlier today. Apart from that, it's been all India, really, bowling and batting. Rohit Sharma looking very comfortable, averaging 106 in this Asian Cup. Amir continues, it's just short of a length. It's played very close to his body by Shikhar Dhawan. He plays defensively on the back foot, ball squirts out offside, no run.
Meanwhile, Abhishek retweets PAK Passion telling us that Mohammed Abbas is the county championship player of the week after taking 10 for 52 in the match for Durham. Is he someone who should be in the mix?
Possibly. I mean, he did really well with the ball for Pakistan against England this summer in the test matches. He was a standout. He's raced to 80 wickets or something in sort of 15 or 20 test matches. He's got there very, very quickly. Maybe it's worth having a look at him, even though I think in Pakistan they're trying to segment some of their players off, and Lord knows why.
As Amir bowls again, this one's again short length but angling into the off stump, and it's driven on the up by Shikhar Dhawan. They somehow get 2 for that, actually, even though there's 4 fielders out on the offside. I think there was another little misfield, but it was picked up originally by
some kind
extra
of
cover.
Half-hearted fielding. I mean, irrespective of your problems with form or batting form or bowling form, fielding something perhaps you should always be right on top of, and even more so when you're struggling, and it's been a little bit off as well.
Yeah, I think that's why they've cut to a picture of Mickey Arthur there. He's looking very, very grumpy with his team performance.
I don't think he's in probably that dressing room after the game.
I don't think he's probably been that happy with his team in this tournament, and going into the World Cup, he was probably one of the more happier coaches with his settled lineup. This one's short, and it's pulled high by Shikhar Dhawan. Mohammed Amir having a terrible time, and it goes for one of these.
Yeah, big 6 there. I mean, I think with the fielding, it's one of those things that just becomes kind of it's a bit of a slippery slope when your shoulders drop, when you know the game is gone, when you're out of it. One thing leads to another bad thing, leads to another bad thing, and I don't think it's been appalling, the fielding. I think they've definitely had poor moments, and putting down catches is unforgivable. But it happens ultimately. Yes, I'm very excited about Coffee with Current Season 6. You know who's going to be on it?
It wasn't
you know who's going to be on it? Virat Kohli and Anushka Sharma.
Oh, that'd be one worth tuning into Hotstar.
Yeah, for sure. I
don't think it's all just the drop catches though either. I mean, the outfielding here hasn't been pretty clever. These lot of ones or dots have turned into twos. I think that's probably why Mickey Arthur's probably annoyed. Have they? Is it tools down all of a sudden?
I mean, the last over, you just saw Barber at point. He put in a decent dive to stop that point. But they have these little moments. It is ultimately difficult when you're in it's basically a foregone conclusion now at the end of the match. You know, it's about the deficit, and they're getting literally nothing at the moment, Pakistan. They're trying, they're chopping and changing, but right now it's just not their day. Sometimes all these little things go for you, and it's a very different game.
Hassan continues to Rohit, this time coming over the wicket to Rohit. It's a good ball here, it's a sort of full length at him, and it's defended. No run there.
I mean, it happened a lot. I remember playing, like, when you played like with your friends in the park, and you know, there'd be one kid one day, and it's just his day. What are you going to do? He's not better than you, but he just can't get the bugger out. No matter what you do, what you try, you just accept that that's your day. And then you start doing silly things like beamers and you know, sledging whilst delivering, or bowling with two balls at the same time. I don't know if you ever tried that. That was my favourite.
Hassan continues to Rohit. He drives on the uppishly rather. He beats the infield though, and it's fielded by the extra cover, the deep extra cover, who's patrolling that boundary, and it'll only be a single.
Again, perhaps they'll bring that in for the 100.
Yeah, bowling with two balls at the same time.
Yeah, we're looking at the Dhawan Rohit partnership. It's third on the list after Ganguly Tendulkar, Sehwag Tendulkar. They're probably getting very close to Sehwag and Tendulkar though. So, you know, they'll probably be the second greatest Indian partnership of all time very soon.
And by the time it's all said and done, they could be maybe even better than that. Maybe. Probably not. That's a lot though, isn't it? 6,000's a lot.
As Hassan continues around the wicket to Dhawan, it's a good line to Shikhar Dhawan. It's cramped him up with a room again. He can only play the ball out to gully, and there's no run there. Yeah, there's a lot of runs to get to Ganguly Tendulkar. Shows how long they played the game for. 136 innings, 6,609 runs for them.
Will be interesting to see a little average of those partnerships as well.
Yep. Abhishek says, I really wish somewhere near the end of this, Mohammad Nawaz takes a couple of wickets and pulls out a "Yeah, Sarfaraz, curse now" banner.
Another short ball from Hassan. Dhawan pulls. He doesn't get a hold of it this time, and it bounces well before the deep square leg. And it was only a single there, bringing Rohit on strike.
He's saying it's misplaced outrage, although Nitin is saying he's sure Sarfaraz has been cursing out everyone today, and Nawaz just happened to be in front of him at that time.
Wrong place, wrong time for my namesake. Yeah, I mean, he's frustrated, isn't he? There's a lot of... I mean, the captain is going to pick up a lot of the flack in these kind of situations, especially from the media.
Is that what he's annoyed about? He knows that he's going to get it in the...
almost certainly,
from
yes.
Hassan. It's driven beautifully by Rohit. He's not enough pace on it, though, so he won't beat that boundary rider. Another lovely single. Probably deserved more. India 134 without loss.
William Francis says, has Arthur reached the head-in-hand stage he was when Pakistan were 3 down at Malahide? Not just yet, and they came through that one okay in the end. Short Third Man says, Amir is getting demolished here. Don't think he'll play any more games in the Asia Cup.
Yeah, he's deeply underwhelmed today. Hassan, final ball of his 6th over. Short again. They're going for this short strategy, and it's pulled again by Shikhar Dhawan, and it goes for another one of these.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
And that's the end of the 25th over. India 138 without loss. What can Pakistan do?
Well, I'm not sure, but the Indian fans are loving this. There's nothing. They don't want any ups and downs. They just want a big old train to an India victory.
Yeah, I know. In the back of their minds, I mean, there's going to be a whole bunch of people making the jokes about, oh, it's Champions Trophy all over again. Pakistan will lose the 2 meaningless games and then win the final. But will they? I mean, looking at this, it would need an exponential improvement from Pakistan to come anywhere near being competitive, never mind winning the final. And also, they've still got to come through Bangladesh, which is not a foregone conclusion based on how they played today.
Can we get an update on that score, in fact? The Bangladesh score.
Oh, wait, hold on. There's another iPad here somewhere.
Yes, something like that. Cricketing View says 2:37 is under par on this, isn't it? Nothing happening off the pitch. Did things happen off the pitch in the first innings? Well, Pakistan kind of made it look as though they did. Looked as though it was stopping a bit more than maybe it was. But 2:37, yes, was definitely under par.
I think it's probably the battings have been a little bit easier under the lights as well, but that's not to take away from the way India batted.
I mean, India really on pace to chase down 300 here if they had to.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But that's often the case with the top order of India. Getting scores above 300 has been their problem, really, because their lower order, the order hasn't really played much in this tournament, have failed to really push on. Oh, it's a full toss from the new bowler, Shadab. I think we'll get his jingle up in a second. Rohit, though, cannot really do much of it. It was that high, probably just above waist high.
There was an overthrow.
Moves it into the leg side. They come through for a... Was it overthrow?
I think that was an overthrow, yeah.
It was fielded by short mid-wicket because it wasn't a very good hit, and it goes through the man running around. This is another single. That's why Rohit's back on track. He got 2 for that, and he probably should have got nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
Shut up, continues, and it's short, and it's pulled by Rohit. It's pulled hard, high, and handsome for one of these.
I mean, that's the kind of thing. He's bowled a ball that should have gone for none and definitely only one, which would bring the left-hander on strike, which he might prefer, and then the next ball has been pumped into the stand for 6.
Yeah, but it was a full toss, that ball before, and this one was an absolute half-tracker.
It was a long hop, I do, yes, I'll give you that.
Update from Abu Dhabi, Afghanistan have just lost a wicket.
Ooh.
So it's getting exciting over there. They were looking good for a while. 89 for 3 now, Afghanistan.
As this next ball was Shadab even, it's much better, and it's just a little hint to turn, and Rohit plays and misses. It's a much better length, and no run there.
Yeah, Mohammad Shahzad, the batsman, dismissed for 53.
Ooh, big wicket actually.
Yeah, it's a very big wicket. He was looking very good, as was Hashmatullah.
Shadab continues, and it's pulled this time by Rohit Sharma. He didn't play that very well, but it was bowled a little bit wider by Shadab, and Rohit actually top edges it. It floats into that vacant area though, behind square on the leg side, and they'll come back for 2 easy runs. When things aren't going for you, they're not going for you. India 148 without loss.
Dan Joslin is living the dream. He says, I may be here on a rainy Sunday in Virginia and my foot is currently being humped by a Shih Tzu, but I'm listening to Guerrilla Cricket and eating chicken tikka masala.
Lovely stuff. Shuttle continues, a much better length there, a good line just outside off stump, and it's just defended on the front foot by Rohit. He doesn't have to do anything else in this over. He's on 67 off 77 balls. He looks like he might be stepping on the gas a little bit though.
Yeah, is there
playing
enough
a few more shots against the spinners?
Enough runs for both to get tons already.
Final ball of this over, tossed up, and it's driven really beautifully by Rohit. He got to the pitch of that, put his arms through it, extends through the line, and it goes for one of these. And that's the 150 up for India, 152 after 28.
Now here's a question for you, Atif. Sahil says, at what point do you say that this game's a foregone conclusion and switch to the other one?
I mean, does anybody want us to do that? I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to.
Let us know on Twitter. I mean, this is the marquee game, but it does look like a bit of a train.
Yeah, so we'll go to the end here. We'll see how many overs ahead we are actually, because we've had 26 so far in this second innings over here.
We're literally 1 over ahead. They're 25 overs in at the moment. Afghanistan 89 for 3. The required rate is 6.44 over there. The current run rate is 3.56. Hashmatullah's on 26. Askar is on 0. Bangladesh, I would say, in control pretty much, but with 3 wickets down, that game is far from a foregone conclusion.
Let's get some tweets to catch up on.
Motley has joined us and he says woof.
Woof, woof indeed. I'm probably talking about Rohit and Dharman's partnership. I'm just trying to think about whether India here will take the 10-wicket win and move on to this tournament and think about playing some other players, resting a few players.
They might do. It is a dead rubber. I mean, that can go either way, and you can then, if you lose the final, people will complain about you resting the players. But I'm not sure what they'd do.
As Nawaz continues, and Shikhar Dhawan takes 2 steps down the pitch, drives it all along the ground out to mid-off, and he only scores a single there. He raises the bat above his head for some reason. I think probably to stretch his arms. It's been so easy for that. I was thinking that he might be coming to a milestone, but he just probably getting a stretch out.
Come on, Avi, did you not follow that? He just got to that marvellous 81 mark that all batsmen dream of. It was a great year. We've got 458 people watching us right now on Crick Tracker.
Wow.
Hello,
let's all wave to them.
And every one of you.
Well, 473 now.
Oh wow,
we're shooting up, mate.
Going up. Rohit facing 2 Nawaz this time. Only plays it out onto the offside. It's the short cover point who will fill that. No run there.
Holy cow! 518.
It's on its way up.
518 people are watching this right now.
Nawaz.
Welcome to all the new watchers.
Absolutely, continues to Rohit. This is a filthy ball down the leg side, and Rohit does what he does best, which is a sweeps hard off his legs for one of these.
It's a naughty ball, wasn't it?
2 + 2 is on man.
The kind of ball that says, "Yeah, I'm dirty, I'm filthy,
filthy leg side drop.
I want to be spanked.
Hit me,
spank me. And that's what I want. That's what I deserve.
And
give me a good spanking."
And Rohit did.
I hope you have a safe word out there.
Yeah, that ball definitely needed a safe word.
The numbers went up to 574.
And the Nawaz continues short.
Everybody likes that. That's why.
Short and slightly straighter this time, and Rohit goes onto the back foot, but he can only defend. Back to the bowler, no run there. In the
meantime, we have a vote each way. Ajit Skanda is all for switching the match if India put on another 30 runs, but Cricketing Views says there's still 90 runs to get. Anything can happen.
So the next ball from Nawaz, just wide of off stump, and Rohit plays it out to cover point. No run there.
Although Ajit does tail his tweet with the hashtag famous last words.
Well, I don't think anything much is going to happen here. Maybe a couple of wickets, but Pakistan are well behind the black ball here. As Rohit's final ball that he faces from Nawaz is defended back to him, and that is the end of the 27th.
We've got some fun messages coming through in Crick Tracker, along with some really rude one, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, some decorum, please. India King Duh. I think he's trying to say India King Duh. That's Arihara Sultan. Jay Hind says Raghav Pujari. And Qasem Siddiqui says, "I love you, Pakistan." And there's another one that says, "I love you, India." And that's kind of all of them in a nutshell, to be honest with you.
Well, as long as they're saying love, not hate.
That's right. Farooq Khan says Pakistan Zindabad. Aw, Shaista Aga's just put a broken heart emoji. Aww. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's a tough day for a Pakistani supporter.
It is, but ultimately...
Well, it is Facebook. Can you type back in, "You okay, hun"?
Shadab will continue. India 157 without loss after 27. This one's short, and it's played on the back foot by Shikhar Dhawan. He tried to give himself some room and play it over extra cover, but the ball really was the line was too straight, and he could only bunt it out to the offside. No run there. Shadab again gets through the line. This time Dhawan cuts down the pitch, makes it into a full toss. Doesn't hit it very cleanly though, as the ball trickles out to that long off rather, and they'll come through for a single.
Yeah, I mean, Pakistan's body language is giving it away now. They're really struggling here. At this point, do you just kind of try and protect the morale of your frontline bowlers?
Shadab's next ball is fuller onto leg stump. It's defended by Rohit.
Well, there are combinations where run rate could come into this.
Exactly, and you want to sort of think about trying to limit that. You don't want Rohit Dhawan to score centuries. There's still stuff to do on the cricket pitch.
Absolutely.
As Shadab continues, this one's short though, and Rohit pulls hard, high, and over the boundary for one of these.
Little Indian kid looks happy.
Absolutely, that went over mid-wicket, and now we've got that interesting scenario in cricket where there's a race for the century.
There is
81 versus 82. Rohit versus Shikhar. Rohit on 81, short again, and it's pulled again, and it's another drop! It wasn't there for pulling, and mid-wicket this time. It went right through his hands, dropped it. Who was that there? Fucker. He really is a fucker. As he's dropped, it was travelling, I suppose, but that's another catch that you expect your team to take. Rohit pulled. It wasn't really there for the pulling, and yeah, 2 hands to it. You only had to take a step to the right. And yeah, head in hands time for Mickey Arthur, surely now.
Yeah, we've all been there as a captain after this ball.
Shut up continues. This one's a lot fuller, a bit more flight into it. And Rohit plays that with a bit of respect after treating the last few without any. And ball trickles out on the offside. No run there. Yes. 28 overs gone. India 158 for out loss.
Has reached the point where he's beyond swearing and it's just dark looks.
Well, yeah, he's struggling. I mean, that's kind of soul destroying stuff, right? When you finally get a chance in amidst, and it was a freak chance as well because it was a terrible delivery, but it was pulled right down his throat, really, and he just got his hands up to it, but he just couldn't clasp it. He did hit the crap out of that ball, though. He hit it hard. Even in the replay, the ball was traveling, so it gives you an idea of how hard he hit the ball, which makes it obviously more difficult to catch. But at this level, you got to take him, mate.
You got to take
him. The thing was, it was down his throat, and that, regardless of how hard they hit, almost, it didn't quite middle it either. That's why it stayed a little bit lower. Let's see what happens next. Nawaz continues short, and it's played right through the cover region by Shikhar Dhawan. It's a beautiful shot, actually. No one's going to be around to stop that as it goes for one of these.
2 + 2 is a man.
So the placement has been the inverse of the Pakistani batsman's placement. They're so sure of themselves. They're so confident. It is one of those days where everything just kind of works out for you as well. Like the chances go down, and if you find the gap, you're the right side of the player. The little moments go against you. But they've absolutely deserved it. India have been by miles and miles the better team.
Also a case of not bowling to your field though. That ball.
Yep. As Nawaz continues, another short delivery. And Shikhar Dhawan gets rocks onto the back foot, but he plays it with a very straight bat. He won't beat the short mid-wicket, and India 168 without loss.
Short third man says, it's a massacre. And Ajit Skanda says, talking about the other game, was Shahzad getting out a blessing in disguise? He looked quite tired.
Nawaz continues, a slightly fuller, floatier ball. Dhawan defends on the front foot. Ball trickles out of the offside, no run there. He's on 86 of 84 balls. Rohit, of course, 81 of 87, so he's 5 ahead in that race for the century.
Well, we will be with the other game when this one finishes, which might not be too long at this rate.
It won't be. Nawaz continues, bowls on the leg stump line. It's worked into mid-wicket by Shikhar Dhawan. It'll be an easy single. 4 balls gone off this 28th over. 5 runs scored so far.
Cricketing View says that was a rank long hop. The bowler can't complain if that catch is dropped. I see what you're saying, but in practice they still complain anyway.
They always will. Nawaz continues, and it's played with a sort of a 45-degree angle back by Rohit, and he bunts it down to a long on. Easy single. India moves to 170.
Afghanistan have brought up the 100, by the way, 102 for 3. They've accelerated a little bit in getting those 50s. First one in 88, second one in 79. So
what are they chasing there? 240 odd, isn't it?
Yes.
247 was it? I can't remember.
247, I believe.
As Nawaz continues to Shikhar Dhawan, who drives on the front foot. Lovely drive. Won't beat mid-off, though. And that's the end of 29th over. 171 without loss. 250 to win.
250 to win. And, yeah. Oh my word, the people are trading all sorts of horrendous insults on our Facebook feed. Mind you, 614 people are watching, so I'm kind of conflicted. Part of me wants to say be nice to each other, but the other part of me wants to say keep it going, guys. Get them numbers up.
Well, I think it's probably fortunate for me when I'm looking at that. I can't understand most of it.
No, it's all very much in English at the moment. It's just a bit. It's just a bit distasteful.
Okay.
Quite sweary and a bit xenophobic and a bit nationalist. And guys, stop this.
Is it a bit of nationalistic dick swinging?
Yeah.
It's only a game, guys. Only a game.
It's just a game. It's just a game. Yeah, and it's a game that we'll play again, so don't worry about it. Oh, there's a nice one in between all of them. Qasim Siddiqui says, I love India and Afghanistan. I love India. 3 heart emojis from Manohar and Manohara. He definitely loves India, mate. He's got 3 hearts.
3 hearts for India.
3 hearts, yeah, man. Humid Ullah Khan says, I love Pakistan, but no heart emojis from him.
Shadab continues the 30th over to Dhawan, who works this one out onto the leg side. Front to square, 1 run there. as easy as you like for Shikadar. The only real competition here at the moment is who will get to their 100 first, especially with Pakistan dropping catches left, right and centre as well, helping them tick along to 3 figures, we hope, for India fans. Next delivery was Shadab, he pulled out of it. Rohit didn't even make a move, actually. He still pulled out.
If only KL Rahul was playing, then at least you'd get somebody at like 99 or something.
Absolutely. Rohit and Shikhar not normally too intimidated by being on the cusp of 3 figures, as Shadab continues. Full toss to Rohit, who doesn't actually play that well. He plays it to the wide mid-on, and only a single there. Probably could have picked where he hit it, and caught up with Shikhar Dhawan, who's on 89 of 87 balls. Rohit, conversely, is on 83 of 89 balls. Shadab wiping the ball now. Must be a bit of dew, possibly, in this night sky in Dubai.
Maybe that's his excuse.
So he continues. The next ball is pitched on a good length, actually, and it's well played by Shikhar Dhawan, who rocks back, picks up that length early, plays that sort of square drive, and he beats the infield, and it goes for one of these. Yeah, it was a very good shot, actually, from Shikhar Dhawan.
But again, there's no sweeper on that side. He's bowled it short outside off stump, and you can see again the look Sarfraz has given him for that.
I mean, surely I know you're trying to be attacking, but you got to give him a sweeper at this point. You got 2 set batsmen.
You would have thought.
Or maybe he just wants it over and done with now as well. As Shadab continues to Shikhar Dhawan. This one's a bit straighter, actually, and Dhawan can only play it out to the offside. No run there. 93 now off 89 balls. India 177 without loss. They need 61 now, 122 balls left, so we'll expect this one to finish quite early today, as Shadab continues, and it's worked on the leg side by Shikhar Dhawan. They'll think about coming back for 2, but no, they'll settle for that single, and that brings Rohit on a strike for the last ball of the over. 178 without loss. This is my last ball as well, because I've got to make a move. So it's been wonderful with you, and Grubby will take you through. I don't know if anyone else, with Artif and Paul and Andy rather. And the last ball of this over is knocked down to the leg side by Rohit Sharma. They'll get that single. That's the end of the 30th. India 179 without loss. Over to you.
The best things in life are free. Just like guerrilla commentary, we need money. That's what I want. We need money. I don't like the BBC. I prefer guerrilla commentary. I want money. $20 for the archive. That's what I want. You just buy a t-shirt.
Yes, don't forget our archive has all our jingles, lots of back commentary and all kinds of fun things for £20 a year. Or you can join us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket, where for just the price of a small thing a month, you can help us out. No, seriously, that does help us out a lot. Patreon's a great model for broadcasters and podcasts and things, and just for a couple of bucks a month you can help us along, and hopefully we are worth that for what we bring to the table.
Bringing you laughs, bringing you joy.
Bringing the bants.
And loads and loads and loads of people watching on Facebook right now. I don't know what the numbers are, but there was I'm just curious on the Crick Tracker.
And are they all swearing at each other?
Yeah, almost all of them. Almost every single. They
About
either
400
love
right now.
Pakistan, they either love Pakistan, love India, or want to swear at each other.
Or both. Or
Sometimes all at once.
Sometimes all at the same time. Which is all good. It's fine. It's sports. Have some fun. Don't be mean-spirited. Enjoy yourselves.
Shaheen's going to come back. He's maybe not much of a competition, but he might be the pick of the bowlers so far. He's bowled 4 overs for 16. He's certainly the most economical, because all the others have gone for at least 5.
And it is indeed this man.
It's always time for Shaheen Afridi.
It is. Someone's watching him. It's us. It's full onto leg stump, and it's just played back for a dot ball.
We've got been recommended. One Tip One Hand has just recommended us to a bunch of people. Mute the TV and listen to Guerrilla Cricket. Awesome commentary, entertaining and insightful compared to the dribble on TV. Hashtag Asia Cup. Thank you for that recommendation.
Yep.
One tip, one hand.
TY.
Yeah, which was set to a Shaheen Afridi bed.
So Rohit now 10 behind Dhawan, who is only 6 away from that 100. Can he go there in the grand style? Rohit, in the meantime, has a bit of catching up to do. He's on 84. If it's any consolation in Pakistan, they've only conceded 1 extra in 30 overs, and that's quite good, to be fair. So, little pat on the back for them. Mickey Arthur will be pleased.
We'll take that. It's the one. I can't think of anything else that would be a consolation aside from that.
Horrid ball, that might be some extras, because I think that's flicked off Rohit's pad. It has gone down to fine leg. The fielder's cut it off. They'll pick up 2. Have I balked the extras count there? I think I might have done. Just a bit of a nothing ball down leg side. No, he's got something on it. He's got 2 runs. Pakistan punch the air as their extras count remains low.
Silver lining remains. Oh,
and India are 181 for naught.
By silver lining, I was referring to a streak that's going through the middle of Sarfraz's hair at the moment.
That silver lining further burnished after that little action there.
Yes, it's getting wider by the minute. Shahid's coming round the wicket this time. That's another horrid ball down the leg side, and that one gets the treatment. Pulled down to long leg by Rohit. He's on to 90, perhaps he'll get the 100 first after all.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is going to be like the last day of Alistair Cook, because there are going to be at least 2 standing ovations in the next 5 minutes.
He got about 7 in that last innings, all told, didn't he?
Oh, it was like being in Soviet Russia, and you know, the first one to sit down sent to the salt mines.
And boy, 5.5 million people watching on Hotstar right now.
Not all watching us, unfortunately, but we'll get there bit by bit.
A decent fraction of it.
Here comes Shahid, and that one is just late cut down to 3rd man by Rohit for a single, and that puts Dhawan back on strike. 6 needed for his 100.
God, this race to 100 is really on, isn't it? Rohit's just gone to 91,
it's
Dhawan's
back
got
on,
94.
Yep, back on, but Rohit rather carelessly gave the strike away there.
Yeah, but it's towards the end of the over, though, isn't it? He's only got 2 balls. The strategy, mate. The strategy. You can't make it look obvious. You can't take the single of the last ball. You want the glory, but you want to secretly have the glory. You don't want to show everybody in the world.
You want to look magnanimous while doing it.
That's it. Sneaky glory is what we want. Sneaky glory. Who's going to get there first? Let's have some guesses on Twitter quickly before it happens. Who's getting there first? Rohit or Dhawan? Quick time. Tweet.
Or Pakistan can take a wicket, in theory.
Yeah, of course they can.
Here comes, he's back over the wicket, and a bit of a swish from Dhawan goes up to mid-off, and there is no run, so he's only got 1 ball to get back on strike.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Rohit's played a blinder here. He's just put him on strike.
He's playing the long game.
Shaheen's going to sort his line out, obviously, because he's already gone for a few. He knows what he's doing, Rohit Sharma.
All the pressure back on Shikhar.
Nice problem to have. Which of your openers is going to get to 100 first?
Do you think he might go for the big one off the last ball of the over?
Go for the 6. Go on. We'll see. It's a short ball. He's certainly played it uppishly. Is there a man out there? Nope. He's played it over backward point, wide of the fielder. It isn't 6, but it is 4.
You gotta have fun, booty. You gotta have fun to be more.
Cricketing View with a very good point on Twitter. He says there's nothing Sarfraz can do here. If they keep bowling a long hop every over, you can't set a field for it. Strategy is impossible.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more, mate.
Well, I was saying he's really got the look of a man who's going to go home and kick the cat quite hard.
Oh God, that's gross. That's a terrible expression. That's gross. That's horrible.
Pakistan in a bit of a dilemma here. They'd like to get off the pitch quickly, but then again they have to face Mickey Arthur as soon as they do, so pulling in 2 different directions there.
There's a big bowling change coming up for Pakistan, by the way. Big bowling change. Just before that, I'll tell you about Short Third Man's tweet, which says, by the law of averages, Pakistan should win the final, but they won't, because the final will be India-Bangladesh.
Maybe.
Okay, and it is this man coming on to bowl.
Oh, nice. Okay, we've got a poll, by the way. There's a poll on Gorilla Cricket's Twitter, so make sure you get on there very, very quickly. Who's going to get the century first, Dhawan or Rohit?
It's going to be a very short-lived poll.
Poll closes in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very quick, so get in there quickly. Let's see if everybody predicts it.
Dhawan's ahead, because he's only 2 behind, and Rohit is 9 behind, but Rohit is crucially on strike.
And he's got a spinner to work with. We've got Shoaib Malik, who hasn't quite, he's not bowled yet today. Senior statesman of the team. Has he got? What would you need to make this game competitive? A double hat trick? Would that even do it? Would a double hat trick do it at this
some
point?
kind
It
of
would certainly-
machine guns for the Pakistan fielders?
I mean, there's an obvious joke there, but I won't make it.
He has got 156 wickets in this form of the game show.
He has, and
So
you
he's
said
more than
that
useful.
just before it came up on TV with your excellent notes.
My notes, yes.
Yep. Here he is. It's on leg stump, and Sharma taps it into the leg side. You'll get one. The fielders amble after it, but the batsmen are ambling through, so it is just one. And he underarms it in, as you would.
If you voted for Rohit Sharma to get his century first, what you need right now is a leg bye.
That would help. Dhawan on 98, back on strike.
That'll be a nice moment for the Indians. They've had a lot of strife recently, and they took a pounding here in England. But, you know, it'd be nice for them to have a moment in the Middle East in a reasonably big, high-profile tournament against their arch-nemesis in the game of cricket. I think it's nice for them to have a moment,
Well,
right?
the 4-1 made it look like they're taking a pounding. I don't think they had, really. Bit flattering for England.
Job comes in, and actually found the edge of Dhawan's bat there, so that was a little moral victory. It went down to short third man, and there's no run. Just turned away from Dhawan a little bit, and he played inside it.
Chocolate Burfi says, if players were dropped for bad fielding, dropping catches, would the entire Pakistan team find itself on the bench? Well, I don't think everybody has dropped catches in this Pakistan team. I don't even think close.
Only the people who the ball's gone to. Dhawan plays it up to long off, and he's back on 99. He's lost the strike, so this could be Rohit's last chance.
If I'm Rohit, I want 4-1 dot in this over, or 4.1.
He might just hit two consecutive fours.
2-1.
I think so, yeah, 4-2-1, 4-2 or 4 dot. There's going to be a dot in there, I reckon. So, but there will also be a 4. But I think, yeah, I'm still thinking Rohit's going to get there first. Ballsy call, but I think Rohit's going to get there first.
At least it's not that torturous situation where someone's trying to get 100, but he has to score all the runs because you've only got 10 left to win or something. Rohit doesn't get anything off that one. He's just dabbed it down into the leg side. Malik is bowling a very defensive line for a team who need to take 10 wickets for 46 runs.
What do you mean? You could bowl 110 dot balls. It's not impossible. It's been done, in my mind.
Yes, I was going to ask when. Here he comes again, round the wicket to Rohit. That one is a bit more an off stump, and Rohit covers it up. So yeah, Malik is only gone for 2 runs in these 5 balls.
He's opened the bowling with him in the next match. Nitin Bajaj says the Facebook live feed comment section is provoking Godwin's law, Indo-Pak corollary. Sooner or later, all internet forums where Indians and Pakistanis congregate will degenerate into abuse around the cricket in Kashmir.
That one's clipped into the leg side by Rohit. He's got the single off the last ball, unless he wants to. He doesn't. Did you read how Godwin himself said it was okay to call Trump a Nazi? He says my law no longer applies to that situation.
Outstanding. Joe Root and co should play a couple of games on these Dubai pitches. It will be good therapy for them after spending the whole summer against sea movement. Dhawan's particularly enjoyed the therapy in this tournament. That's not a terrible shout. A lot of English county teams do their pre-seasons in Dubai and Abu Dhabi these days, but obviously,
Which is no preparation for the English seamers that they return to.
no,
no, but it is nicer for them than in a marquee in Durham in April.
Yeah, they can chill out by the Burj Al Arab rather than in Portsmouth Harbour. Right, I'm telling you, Rohit's on strike. He's got 93. 2 boundaries will do it. It's Shaheen bowling as well. He's bringing some pace onto the ball. It could happen.
What's he going to do? Come around the wicket, left arm round. It's a full ball. Rohit dabs it down to third man. It's only going to be a single, Atif.
It's over.
The dream is over.
The dream is over. But what I like is there's a bit of symmetry going on. Rohit's got 94 from 99 and Dhawan's got 99 from 94.
And Rohit has 7,000 ODI runs.
Ah.
Perhaps he was just trying to get to that milestone before his 100.
Yeah, I like it. He's a linear man. He only does milestones in succession, one at a time. Oh boy, 5.5 million Indian people are probably happy right now.
I would say that they are, possibly more than that.
Yeah,
don't we normally have to say over 1 billion?
A bit of a swing there from Dhawan, but he's got it through the gap. That's going to be 4 runs, and he has got to 103 not out.
10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Congratulations, sir. You are a centurion.
You can keep that on standby if you like.
Oh, he's got 200. He couldn't buy a run in England, and now he's got himself 203 games.
And he scored an extraordinary amount of runs in 4 games. It must be around 300.
Yeah, so it's 120 odd, this 103, and then 4 lots of 40, so it's, yeah, 340 or thereabouts.
In the meantime, he's not stopped batting to give everybody else a game. He's going to keep going, which is rather selfish.
Mind you, it's not the it's not the worst outcome in the world for Pakistan to not see that middle order today. Do you know what I mean? To leave them relatively underexposed.
But yeah,
is that a more feeble positive than my only 1 extras?
I don't know. It's close. they're both in and around one another. But yeah, I've got nowhere else to go, man. I'm trying to find the spin. I can't find any more spin.
Concentrate on the positives, as the coaches say. Shaheen comes in again. There's a big swing from Dhawan. He's got his 100, and now he's striking out because that's a 6.
2, 4, 6.
That was dismissive. India need 34 more, and do you know what? I think we might be switching over to that Bangladesh-Afghanistan game quite soon.
Right. What I need to know before we do that is when we speak to the doctor before or after the other game, depending on his availability.
It should be after, really, because you know that could be a tight finish in that Bangladesh game.
Yeah, I think we'll
work that one
ideally
out.
it's after all play is done.
I would think so. Shaheen's over the wicket, cut away by Dhawan, but it's gone to backward point for no run. 1 more ball in this over. Is Dhawan going to take the single and keep Rohit hanging on?
Will we make it to my ball-by-ball stint? I'm curious.
Well, you could end up ball-by-balling, as I say, an exciting finish.
In Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, yeah.
That does look an exciting game, actually. What's the score at the moment? Do we know? It's on the little light.
Yes, the score is 126 for 3 after 33 overs. So
yeah,
required rate is over
finish.
7.
Could be a good finish. Shaheen comes in to complete the over. That's battered back past him by Dhawan. He's hit that off the back foot through straight mid-off, if that makes any sense. But if you saw it, it will. And it's 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it up. 2, 3, 4. Up. 2, 3, 4. Keep it up. 2, 3, 4.
Didn't he give that a right old smack?
He did, and I knew there'd be runs off the Shaheen over. I just thought Rohit would be the one getting them. Little tweet here from Nitin Bajaj says 5.5 million. 5.5 million? What's in that vape machine, Atif? There's 5.5 million people in my neighborhood alone. I was referring to the number of people watching on Hotstar, my friend, on the feed that we're watching.
We're not suggesting that the entire population of India is equivalent to that of Wales.
No, of course not. 5.5 million people are watching on Hotstar right now. That's what I meant to say. It gives you the little number in the top right hand corner, not unlike our Crick Tracker page, which you can check out on Facebook.
As many of you are.
It says 432 live swearing. Here comes Shoaib Malik again. He's going to bowl to Rohit on 94. Can he get to 100 in the grand style? Not that ball. Taps into the leg side for an easy single.
It peaked at about 620, didn't it? 620 got to the top.
What, the Crick Tracker?
Yeah, I'm just curious how high it's gone.
Oh, it's 500 odd at the moment.
Oh, okay. Can we get past 620? Can we break 7? Breaking 7 would be something special.
Get that to 1,000 before this tournament is out. Perhaps in an India v Pakistan final. But Bangladesh and Afghanistan still with something to say about that. Malik comes back into Dhawan, who goes back and dinks it into the offside. And again, such an easy single. But you could have seen Pakistan not taking that when they were batting.
Yeah, or just starting and then going back, or getting run out. Many things could have happened.
Run out, yes.
Many things could happen. Jane with a Y, Jane Francis says, bowing to the inevitable. When I fired up Hotstar, it went straight to Afghanistan versus Bangladesh.
Well, this
Jane,
game still does exist on Hotstar because we're watching it. And that's it. Whoa! It could get a run out here. Dhawan's come all the way down, and they still haven't run him out, I don't think. He came all the way down, shook hands with Rohit, turned around and came back. And I think he made it.
Well, Shoaib Malik's giving it out.
Yeah, Shoaib Malik gave him the little gave him the
That
finger.
was very strange because Dhawan Dhawan's walking off, I think. Is he?
Yeah, I think he's a gentleman. He'll accept the other.
Is that his way of retiring?
He must be knackered, mate. Let's have a look.
Out.
He is out done it by a couple of inches. He ambled all the way down the wicket, and there was a remarkable communication breakdown between two batsmen who've batted together so often. Maybe Dhawan just couldn't be asked at that point.
Here comes the collapse.
It's very much all his own doing, wasn't it, that, by the looks of things?
They're doomed.
Well, I guess Rohit said, you're not running me out on 95.
Yeah.
And maybe he wanted to give a little birthday present to Ambati Raudu. Although,
Well,
here you go, son. There's really nothing to be gained here. Happy birthday.
Exactly. It's not really the kind of situation you want to go in. I mean, I haven't batted 3 or 4 very much, but I wouldn't imagine this being a great time to go in.
Thanks, mate. Anyway, here he is, birthday boy.
The guy that's coming to bat got plenty to say, yeah. Though he's just a little lad, he'll blow you away, yeah. Oh, he's Ambati Raudu. He's Ambati Raudu. He's Ambati Raudu, and he don't care.
Yeah, I played a Sunday game once, and it was one of those games where somehow the wrong team has batted first, when everybody knows the other team should. And they've got about 150 on a road, and I've gone out to open with another guy who is a good bat, better bat than me, and he got to 85 not out. I edged and plinked my way to 50, and
well played.
The scores were level, and I got bowled, and I was walking out, and number 3 walks out and he goes, "I can't fucking believe you just did that." And he just hit the first ball for 6.
Still got to get over the line, you know. Weird things can happen in this game. I mean, that would be the weirdest thing probably to ever happen in the history of the game. But
and then there's something that thus far has only taken place in your mind.
My mind, I'm telling you, man.
Fever dreams.
My mind is a meadow.
It's a crazy place.
It is. It really is. Nitin Bajaj says that run out was reminiscent of Botham running out boycott deliberately, except Dhawan Bothamed himself.
Yeah. I don't think Rohit had any idea what was going on. He played the ball just behind the square, so I suppose technically it was Shikhar Dhawan's call.
Yeah.
But Rohit had no intention of going anywhere.
Nah, mate. Sorry. Jane with a Y, Jane Francis says there's something so serene about Murray Erasmus. Do we think there's something serene about Murray Erasmus?
Can you rock and roll that for me?
Murray, can you rock and roll that for me, Erasmus? He always gives the impression of an Easter Island statue to me. You know what I mean?
The first time I heard him say that rock and roll thing, it was one of the early days of them playing the umpire's voice over the thing. So I didn't know what that meant. I thought he was just trying to be cool about the lingo, like, you rock and roll that for me,
Down
guys.
with the kids.
I genuinely thought that's what he meant.
Can you just funk it up a bit for me?
Yeah, you rock and roll.
Pump up the bass for me, please.
That's what it sounded like. I honestly thought, like, wow, this guy's. Does he know he's on TV? Like, what's going on? But apparently, that's just the terminology used for going backwards and forwards in slow motion. Rock and roll.
Well, it is now.
Yeah. Do you think Shikhar Dhawan deliberately did the Hassan Ali celebration when he got to a century?
Is that what it was?
It looked a bit like it, didn't
did
it? The final pose certainly looked a bit like it. Do you think he'll have his own line of necklaces?
Well, he does his little thigh slap, doesn't he? We saw he took about 3 catches in the game the other day against Bangladesh.
Very busy.
Malik comes in around the wicket to Rohit. He pushes it up to long off for 1. And I've just remembered, perhaps you can confirm this for me, Atif, that when we were saying in the green room how are Pakistan going to get a wicket, I said bowl for a run out.
You did say that. I can confirm. Bowl for a run out, and they did. And it wasn't a very good throw either from the fielder. It was a very he threw it way too hard.
Apologetic bit of cricket.
Yeah, it was lucky Shoaib Malik kind of
is able to gather it. Yeah.
Spared his blushes, that was the phrase I was looking for.
Rayadu on strike with, as you said, Paul, nothing really to gain in this situation. India need 28 runs to win, and 27 rather, and if anything this is just going to slow it down a little bit, even more so as Rayadu is doing a Stuart Broad and pulling away before he's facing his first ball. Hopefully for him not with the same result.
Shikhar Dhawan's eyebrows were just moving a bit behind the bowler's arm.
Very distracting. Shorter ball and Rayadu goes back and plays it to cover, and there's no run.
No, I think this delay in the game is a conspiracy to defraud us from watching more of the other game.
The other game, absolutely.
So he's relatively late to the party, right? He's 33 today.
He goes forward. Bears offering us beers. No, thank you. Thank you for offering. Well, you can have them all.
Go on then.
1664s there, but Grubby has been peer pressured into taking that one. Beer pressured, I should say.
Hey. Beer pressured, I like that.
In the meantime, we had a dot ball to end the over, and India are 211 for 1.
The only pressure comes from within, where I'm concerned.
Well, exactly.
Rohit, surely this over is going to go to his 100. 96 not out now. Hassan Ali's going to be bowling to him.
I reckon he gets out for 98. And
Maybe.
then,
Is
and
that
then
the
India lose,
collapse? The collapse begins.
Well, India will go down 4 needless wickets and then win by 6 wickets.
No,
And the game.
Dhoni will score 3 off 58 balls, and
Yeah.
they'll come finish 5 runs short.
No, I just think there's going to be some tediousness happening here. Like everybody wants 9 wickets now. Let's finish the thing. It's just let it die in peace.
Onto the leg stump of Rohit. He clips it out towards deep square. It'll be at least 1. Should just be the single, as it is.
But I think there's going to be some token stuff happening here, and Pakistan will just accidentally take a couple of wickets and slow down the course of the match. And yeah, it'll be frustrating to watch because there's only one way this game's going, really.
Rather than allowing everyone just to move on with their lives.
Yeah, just it's in pain. Just let it go.
It's like that World Cup semi-final where Germany were 5-0 up on Brazil at half-time and they still had to play the second half.
That was almost cruel, wasn't it? It was David Luiz's face I remember particularly, just the look of utter shock.
I've never seen 5 minutes of football like it when they scored 2, 3 and 4. Anyway, Rayudu plays that into the offside and there's no run to point.
Yeah.
Pakistan will have to pick themselves up to play Bangladesh on Wednesday. A game that they will still... Well, we'll wait and see what happens in the other match, but
Bangladesh maybe slight favourites. I don't know. They need 100 and hang on a sec.
they need 7 and over.
7.5 and over for 15 overs. So
pretty tough. So I'd make Bangladesh favourites.
Just
I think
slight favourites. I think I would.
Here comes Hassan Ali over the wicket. It's a full ball. Rayudu.
Okay.
Breaking news. So as soon as this game finishes in Dubai, which should be quite shortly, we're going to go to our interview with Dr. Ansari, and thereafter, anything that remains in the Bangladesh-Afghanistan game, we shall bring you.
Nice. I like it.
Hassan coming in again. He was getting things to happen round the wicket to the left-hander, but not so much to the right-handers. Rayudu chops that down to third man. He's finally underway. He's got 1. India 212 for 1 need 26 off a massive 93 deliveries.
Yeah, it's fun to see 2 dot balls in that situation, isn't it?
I can scarcely contain myself, said the man trying to get into his own suitcase. Why doesn't Hassan Ali come round the wicket to the right-handers as well then, just for shits and giggles? Maybe get a little short leg in.
Rohit on 97. Clips it into the leg side. Another easy single down to deep square.
Oh, by the way, guys, we've not had any tweets for 6 minutes, so
yeah, I think everyone's giving up on this game.
I'm getting kind of insecure, guys. Tweet in, please. Just kind of tell us something. Now, tell me something nice that happened to you recently. Tell me a story in 280 characters or less. Tell me a story, something with a happy ending, please. Thank you.
Or a twist. Story with a twist.
A twist would be good.
In 100 characters.
Well, I'll take a happy ending. 280. You got 280 characters to mess with.
As the actress said to the bishop.
Hey.
Anyway, actually, as the bishop said to the actress, I should think. Dabbed down towards fine leg. Third man, sorry, by Rayudu. No fielder in sight, and that's a nice 4 for him.
2 + 2 is on man. 2 + 2 is on man.
At least it's not by 10 wickets.
Yep.
There's the silver lining.
Straws to grasp in the Pakistan camp.
At least they've got another shot at them, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Nitin Bajaj tweeted in saying, "This is a tweet." Thank you, Nitin. This is good.
You should have done a... What's his name? Said, this is not a tweet. Ceci n'est pas un peep. Who was that?
Roland Barthes.
Sherlock Holmes when he was in Paris.
Was it Roland? No, I don't think it was.
No, I'm just guessing. French philosophers, right?
Yes.
Not Roland Barthes, and maybe it's not Jacques Lacan.
No, I want someone. There you go. Tweet me in who said Ceci n'est pas un peep next to a picture of a
Jean-Paul Sartre.
Sartre would have said that in about a zillion words.
Yeah. Nauseous.
Anyway.
As is one of his books.
Here comes Malik. So Rohit, who's on 98. And covers up and comes off the inside edge. Out towards mid-wicket. There's no run. Rohit gone into his shell a bit trying to get to his 100.
I could never read nausea on a train. Badshaw of Dublin says René Magritte.
René Magritte, yes, thank you very much.
Magritte.
Magnifique.
Here comes Malik again, slightly shorter, tucked into the leg side by right. He's pushing hard as if he wants to. Are they going to get it? He's going for it. He's got it. It's 100 for Rohit Sharma.
10, 20, 40, 60, 80,
100. Congratulations, sir. You are a centurion.
His 19th one-day international century.
You know, I've got a bugbear about that. He's got 2 double centuries as well.
3.
3, I beg your pardon. So I think all double centuries should count as 200s.
Well,
should hundreds count as 250s then?
Given that 50s and 100s are counted separately, aren't they? You don't get
No,
this
okay, fine, I
many
take that back.
Yeah.
There should be a separate column for double hundreds.
It wouldn't apply to many players in ODIs.
In 10 years, there should be a separate column for 200s. I think more people will start getting them.
Going to be one in T20s before you know it as well. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Oh boy.
Played up to long off by Ryadu. No, by Rohit, sorry. Picks up another single.
There'll be 200s in the 100 as well, for sure. But that's only because you can score like 34 runs off one ball if you hit it into a very specific part of the ground while standing on one leg.
It should be like pinball, yeah, double, like a space for double runs.
Yeah, totally, yeah, get it in the hole.
I mean, they did have some suggestions either for spicing up 50 over cricket or the early days of T20 that there might be areas if you
10 into the upper tier,
yeah,
something
or,
like that.
Or
Yeah.
a bit of netting that's square of the wicket where it's 8 rather than 6. Little things like that. What do you think?
New Zealand had something called Cricket Max, I think, where you got, if you're hitting in the V, you got 12.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that one. Ryadu plays that one to mid-wicket and there's no run.
Encouraging people to play straight.
Yeah, encouraging people to play, so it rewarded you for proper cricket. I remember there was another game that was played at the Millennium Stadium years ago where Shahid Afridi famously hit a 12. He hit the ceiling.
That might be the one I'm thinking of.
He
Yeah.
hit the ceiling.
Driven by Ryadu, out to extra cover, there is no run. Get on with it, you mug.
Doug C tweets us saying, listening in obscenely rural Missouri, everyone else watching NFL, even if it's dire, listening to cricket is keeping me from killing them all. We're glad we're stopping you from manslaughter.
Saving lives at guerrilla cricket. Back to the bowler for no run.
Ooh.
He fakes to throw at the batsman for no reason at all, but then doesn't do it.
In the
And that's the
daintiest
end of
way
the over.
possible as
Yes,
well. I don't
it wasn't
know,
very
like
intimidating.
Like a ballet, what do you call them? Ballerina. No, what do you call a male ballerina?
Ballet dancer? I don't know. I mean,
a baller. No, that's a basketball player.
No, I don't. What is a male ballet dancer? Is it just a ballet dancer?
A ballerin.
A ballerin?
A ballerino. It's like the coffee. Baristo and barista.
Is it 100%? Is that what it is?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, Cricketing View says Michael Foucault. Well, they're all coming out, mate. The French philosophers wrote this essay. The painting is by René Magritte, who was a Belgian surrealist painter. The painting was originally titled The Treachery of Images. Fascinating. No, it is. I didn't mean to sound so disingenuous.
Unfortunately, you did. Though.
I know you definitely meant that.
I honestly did. That was quite interesting. Cricketing View. Honestly, don't listen to these guys. Oh, you. Nitin Bajaj says, speaking of India-Pakistan games, says anyone at all got tickets in the ballot for the India versus Pakistan game in Old Trafford in the World Cup next year? I know about 30 people who've applied twice and got zip. Damn the ICC scalpers. Well, I didn't get any tickets, but I'm definitely going to be there.
Rohit covers that one up on the back foot from Hassan Ali. Remember when they played each other at Old Trafford in the '99 World Cup, and we had tickets for that game because what happened was we bought them in advance, not knowing who would be where. And as the draw shook out, it was India v Pakistan. So we were very excited about it, but if you remember, it was a bit of a damp squib of a game.
Yeah, India won quite comfortably in the
end.
end.
They did, yes, yeah.
In the '99 World Cup, Pakistan only lost 2 games. Well, 3, I guess, including the final. Yeah, they lost to South Africa, India, and Australia in the final.
Hassan Ali, it's a full ball, and it's a lovely net shot from Rohit, but mid-off is up, so there's no run.
Yep, you're right. One tip, one hand says, a male ballerina is a ballerino. No, I'm not making that up. Okay, you're making that up. Short third man says, century against a team with 2 left-arm fast bowlers, something that's been his problem in the past, learning from his mistakes. Amazing how so many people are so dismissive of Rohit's substantial statistics.
Oh, you can't knock his white ball stats, absolutely not.
I rate his statistics. I want them to add another column to his statistics.
Just because of him.
Yeah.
Here comes Hassan Ali. Length ball, and it's a bit of a slog from Rohit that time. Mid-wicket gets one hand on it, probably just enough to take the pace of it and ensure they get 2. No, they've just ambled through for 1, because why not?
Why not?
2-2-2 for 1.
2-2-2 for 1. Oh, wait, let me just make it symmetrical. Get a 2 in there. Come on. Just one more. I won't ask for much. Just give me 1.
16 to win for India. 16, no, actually about 14 overs to get them in. So it's over a run per over. Here comes Hassan. What can he do about it? Not much, as pulled down to long leg by Rayudu, and it'll be a comfortable single.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. I mean, it's sad, really. I imagine maybe even as a neutral, it's quite sad to see such a flaccid performance from a Pakistan bowling lineup. I mean, this is the country that produced some of the fastest, best, most exciting bowlers in the world, and right now we can't wait to see the back of them, right?
It's just wouldn't it be great to see a really tight game go down to the last over and 8 or 9 wickets down between these two teams? It would be fantastic, but not today. Big hit by Rohit, picked up a slightly short ball way over square leg, 10 rows back, and that's 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Quite so. India need 9 runs to win. They're on 229 for 1.
This is great from the Timber Judge. So a male Bhangra dancer is a ballerina. Ballerina.
Again, I'll have to take your word that that's funny.
It's clever. It's very clever.
It sounds like it might be funny.
It's bilingually clever. I'm very impressed. That's good work, mate. Well
Unfortunately, I'm only unilingual, so I don't. It's my fault that I don't get it.
I do like to go into like a Cafe Nero and ask them for one single panino there.
In fact, barely unilingual, some would say. Hassan comes in again to complete his over. It's played into the offside for no run, and that is the end of the 37th. Will India win it in the next over? 9 required.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no. They'll take a further 3 overs to do this.
Just to annoy everyone.
Because I'm a masochist. 229 for 1. Jeez. I mean, this has just been... shambolic from Pakistan might be a bit much, but... India have just kind of steamrolled them today. Just been all over them like a cheap suit.
It has just careered downhill and kind of got worse and worse and worse. And all, as the doctor was saying, all the little things have added up and added up and added up. And it's just, honestly, apart from that little cameo from Asif, it's just all gone in one direction, really.
Yeah, that's Pakistan just needed more, really. Just needed more of that. That setback early made them have to kind of go into old school cricket in charge.
But they were
mode.
Almost in that mode from ball 1, though.
They
weren't
they almost were, but they had to find a recovery from 3 down.
Rayudu plays that back towards the bowler. I'm not sure if that was half a chance or maybe a bump ball, but it's a single anyway.
Cricketing View says Chris Gale made 175 in a 20-over game.
That's
Rohit
right.
Sharma made 264 in 173 balls, in which his first 5 took him 72 balls. I'd put money on a 50-over triple within the next 5 years.
Do you think that will come before a 20-over double?
Ooh,
No.
There's a question.
Now, I remember watching that Chris Gale innings, and I thought he could have made a double that day. He tired a little bit towards the end. And I think Ravi Bopara bowled 4 overs for 25 or something.
Wow. It is a long time, 20 overs for Chris Gale.
Shoaib Malik is into Rohit. Round arm clipped into the leg side. I think they could have had a run there if they wanted, but Rohit sent him back.
Short third man says, can't believe India doing this without Virat Kohli. Virat who?
You better believe it, brother.
Virat who?
Well, as people so wrongly say, and it really annoys me, Kohli who? Just, getting the structure wrong.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's also played out to mid-wicket for no run.
Oh, right, sorry. I'm with you now. It took me a second.
It's the humour disconnect between the cultures. Either that or I'm just not funny.
No, it's just took me a minute, man. It's been a long day.
It has. If you're a Pakistan fan, I can certainly see that. Rohit just rolls that one up towards long off for a single. India need 7 to win.
And speaking of padding averages, West Indies revisiting India for 2 quick tests on the 4th of October and the 12th of October, just so Pujara can get his average back over 50, says Nitin Bajaj. Oh dear. Don't moan about it, man. Your team just destroyed Pakistan.
Well, people have to find something, don't they?
Bask in the moment. You're beating the mighty ICC Champions Trophy champions. And 5.5 million people are watching on Hotstar. And I think 500 people are watching on the Gorilla thingy.
It doesn't get much better than this for an India fan. You wouldn't think. Rayudu plays that into mid-wicket and there is no run.
We just saw a close-up of Chahal wearing his specs up on the balcony, didn't we?
And there's one of Dinesh Karthik with a bit of pad rash. If he bothered to put his pads on for that opening partnership, which you might not at 4, some people don't. Down the track goes Rayudu and then plays a rather changed his shot, plays a kind of sweep out to deep square leg, and that is a single.
Okay, that's 1 over down. I said 2 more overs, right?
You
I
did,
said 3
yeah.
more overs, so that's 1 down. I did maybe another 2.
They're doing it at the rate that you've sort of predicted.
Yeah,
Just 3 off the over.
I'm getting all my predictions right today, huh?
Dragging this out. And this is going to be a blow to Pakistan's run rate because a situation could come up where 3 teams all win 1 game and it will go to run rate. That would be if Bangladesh that would be if Afghanistan beat Bangladesh today and then Bangladesh beat Pakistan on Wednesday. They would all end up on 1 win. It would be down to run rate.
Yes, it would. That's exactly the
And you would think that
situation.
this game would give Pakistan's run rate a bit of a bashing.
Yeah.
Here comes Hassan Ali. What can he do about this? Charging in over the wicket. Short ball pulled away by Raidu out into the deep. It's going to get at least 1. Should be 2. Square leg comes round. It's Imam. It's a comfortable 2. Raidu goes on to 10. That's about all we can do. Get a little 12 not out here and...
little average bumper.
Yeah, that's not really going to make much difference to anyone.
We just saw a replay of Fakhar Zaman's hilarious dismissal earlier today, which is kind of symbolic of Pakistan's day, really, I think. It kind of sums it
Particularly
up
as
nicely.
it wasn't out and they didn't review it. Pushed into the offside by Raidu. He's going to get an easy single. 3 to win now. Come on, Rohit. Put it into the stands. Put Pakistan out of their misery, at least for today.
What did you get for your birthday, Ambati? 11 not out.
Yeah, very nice. I've had worse.
Keeps his average above 50 if that's finishes like that.
I got McDonald's vouchers.
Better than a pair of socks. Nailed to a wall for no reason.
I mean, is there anything really better than that?
Probably not. You know what the saying goes, you can't have your socks and nail them to the wall. A full ball outside off stump from Hassan, and he's dabbed that out to cover for no run.
Nice. Oh boy. Yeah. Just it's just not been good from Pakistan today. But India, professional, business-like, pragmatic.
All of those things.
Yeah.
Remind me to tell you the joke another time, probably, about the rabbit in Gdansk and the light bulbs.
Sounds like a long one, and
Yeah.
Rohit may end this on this ball. No, he doesn't. He
tried.
really clothed that one up to mid-on, and there is no run.
It is a bit of a shaggy rabbit story, that one.
Yeah, 2 more dot balls, just for the tedium of it. There's a whole bunch of cricket journalists sitting at the stadium right now, just like cursing the batsmen for taking their time about this.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They've all got dinner appointments.
Filing
dinner
their copies.
God, they're
early.
just ready to. And if somebody gets out now, oh my God, the anger and the pens are going to go flying.
Rohit dabs that one down behind point. He's going to get 1. Should be just 1, and it is.
Calm down, guys. I said pens. Yeah, I mean, I just having been in those press boxes and seen like how irritating, tedious endings are just for journalists. Mind you, like I think cricket journalists generally overdo it a bit. I mean, you've got a dream job.
You would think so. Are they Alan Greening it all the time?
Just so often, just look miserable. And I'm like, dude, do you know how many people would kill for your job?
Exactly.
Like,
until after 6 months in it, they realise where they shouldn't have probably killed all those people to get that job.
It wasn't necessary. Just train, send an application form, make a demo.
Back to Hassan Ali by Raidu. It comes off his right hand out towards cover, and there is no run.
Moral victory for me.
That is the end of the over. In theory,
we're
we
going
would
into
have
active time.
In theory, you can come in and do ball by ball after this over. So just for that, I hope they drag it out for another over and we can have a big swap.
There we go. Cricketing View says, I think a 50 over triple is more likely simply because batsmen hit rather than building innings in T20 increasingly. In the 50 over game, the batsman could get onto a flat pitch and then murder the bowling against the 2 new balls.
Yeah, possibly.
Good logic. I like the logic. It's not the only way to go, but it is a way to go. It's one way of thinking about it, one point of view.
Rohit on 110 not out, and Raidu on 11, playing some binary cricket between each other. But will Rohit spoil that off this ball? He will if he gets more than 1. He will also coincidentally win the game, which he might consider to be more important. But no, that's straight
cruel.
to the man, about 10 yards from the bat, and they've just thought, yeah, fuck it, run one anyway.
And another opportunity for Raidu to get out and spoil his birthday.
Now, will Pakistan bring the field up?
Yeah, they should. They bloody well should. If I don't
Because
see
they
3
could
slips,
bowl 65 dot balls, so I can't see anyone else in the
there's
picture.
No one.
Rayadu gets an outside edge. It goes down to short third man. He wanted the run, but Rohit said, no thanks, there's nothing in it for me now. So I'm not going to be run out on 111 when the scores are level.
That's outstanding. I love this.
Yeah, we said briefly, but he's gone past 7,000 runs in ODI cricket in this innings, hasn't he? Rohit.
Here comes Malik. Back goes Rayadu. They want to run, they're not sure, they're going to get it. It's the end of the game, everyone's put out of their misery. There would have been overthrows if that had been possible, which kind of sums up this whole performance, doesn't it, Atif?
It does. India win by 9 wickets in the end. Convincing and very, very strong performance from them as well. Overwhelmingly the better team in this game in all aspects. Pakistan they kind of turned up. But not really. I mean, this is close to not turning up and being there as you possibly could. They've got everything just sort of went wrong for Pakistan. They've struggled. They had a few unfortunate things happen on the field as well. With the game went against them a little bit, but generally they were just outplayed with the ball, with the bat, and in the field. They were just completely second best today.
Well, after the Pakistan innings, we thought that we might have something of a game after the mismatch the other day. Turned out to be just as emphatic as it turns out. That's just as much to do with how brilliant India have been, and just effortlessly brilliant in pretty much everything they've done, certainly compared to Pakistan. Anyway, Atif is girding his loins to speak to our man there on the spot, Dr. Ansari.
Yes,
I'll vacate this chair and allow Atif to come in.
Yeah, we won't give you too much wibble because the game's been over for the last hour anyway. We'd like to hear from the good doctor, and then hopefully bring you the end of Afghanistan and Bangladesh, in which I'll give you an update. Afghanistan need 94 to win off 70 balls. I can give you some comms just until you get that set up. Give me the signal when you want to go to your interview. But Hashmatullah is on 59 not out, and Ashgar on 31. They've obviously put a bit of a partnership together. There are 70 deliveries left, and Afghanistan need 93. You'll have to excuse my lack of knowledge of the Bangladesh bowlers, but Islam is bowling left arm over. That one is clipped up towards long on by Hashmatullah. He goes on to 60. And if Bangladesh now we have a little bit more of an idea of how it's all going to pan out. And Bangladesh, if they win this game, will be playing Pakistan in an effective semi-final on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're just waiting on our call. When the call comes through, we'll kick off. We'll break away from this game. But for the time being, wow.
Yep, a bit of a slog sweep there from Ashgar. He stepped away. The bowler followed him a little bit, so he hit it over mid-wicket into the leg side. Should have picked up 2, I would have thought. It's a very leisurely throw back. Indeed it is.
Before we get into the proper analysis of this, as we will when the doctor is available, what did you make of my rota making skills today, guys?
Oh, textbook.
Solid.
Oh, here we go. We've got the doctor here. Thanks, just as I was getting complimented.
Just before you go to that, just let me say farewell for today. I will be back on Wednesday for what could be a crucial game between Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for your company today.
It's a pleasure, Andy. Thank you for helping out today. You were fantastic. We look forward to seeing you again soon. We are joined right now by Dr. Kashif Ansari, who's there on the spot. Dr. Kashif, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Good to hear from you, sir. Well, Pakistan have very much been embarrassed today by India. 9 wickets, the deficit by which India win with 10 overs to spare. What's your initial reaction to the result?
Well, the thing is that Pakistan was playing under enormous pressure, and the enormous pressure was created by their own captain. And when the captain is under so much pressure of performing, and then his teammates are not delivering, it gets to a point where
Sorry, Dr. Kashif, we've lost you. If you can still hear us. Dr. Kashif, still with us? Hello?
And that is where I think the problem was. And it should be an eye-opener for Pakistan. There are multiple factors, I think. First of all, they took the wrong side to Asia Cup. Number 2, they picked the wrong 11. The third, that Mickey Arthur, the coach of Pakistan, has become the biggest dictator. I'm very sorry to say that, but the fact of the matter is that he has become the biggest dictator of Pakistan cricket, who is deciding the fortunes and the fate of every cricketer who is trying to play cricket in Pakistan or trying to do something for this country. This guy is, of course, after the Champions Trophy win, is all over the moon, and he hasn't touched his ground yet. And if you look at the team selection and his likings and his dislikings, it has really hurt Pakistan cricket. And by virtue of having a weak captain and a dictator coach, things aren't looking good for Pakistan. This is not looking good at all. And I'm afraid that Pakistan is going to lose against Bangladesh as well if they continue to have such an attitude in the dressing room.
Well, I mean, let's break down the performance a little bit. We talked about Pakistan's failings with the bat a little bit earlier. With the ball, they just look very, very flaccid. Now, I remember you talking about Mohammad Amir earlier as well. Now, Mohammad Amir has not been quite himself this year. He's averaging 93 with the ball in one-day international cricket this year, which certainly doesn't befit a bowler of that class. Everybody else with the ball looked quite flaccid as well, to be honest with you. Nobody looked particularly potent, particularly penetrative, or creating any real chances. What is it about the situation that made Pakistani bowlers so mute today?
The problem is that the entire atmosphere of the dressing room is very somber. They're due to the lack of leadership from the captain, because remember, any captain you pick under these modern day crickets are the real performers, starting from Rohit Sharma all the way up to Virat Kohli. And you can look at any captain who is leading the side, they lead from the front. And when your captain is not performing, his tone and his body language in the dressing room is not going to be as strong as it should be, which is certainly reflected and deflected in the team performance. Amir, yes, you're right. He hasn't performed over the last 12 months, 18 months in one-day cricket, but you keep playing with him. And again, I will go back to the same point I raised before, that due to the likings and dislikings on a personal level from the coach, if Mohammad Irfan is sitting on the sideline, Sohail Tanveer is sitting on the sideline. So there is enormous amount of talent in Pakistan cricket, but due to the personal favoritism and personal likings of this coach, we are hurting. And that is why if Ahmed needs a break from international cricket, maybe for 6 months or so, and go back to domestic cricket and learn the basics one more time, there's nothing wrong with it. We saw Steve Waugh did it. We saw Mark Waugh did it. We saw Sachin Tendulkar did it. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But consistently making mistakes and expecting the same good results, different results every time, that's not going to make a team of Pakistan win any of these games.
Dr. Ansari, this is Knuckle. Can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Ansari, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can hear you.
So you talked about Sohail Tanveer and Mohammad Irfan, and another one who Mickey Arthur's taken very publicly against is Wahab Riaz, all of whom have had fitness issues, and read a lot about how much of a fitness disciplinarian Mickey Arthur is, and the fitness culture that he's put in place, the absolute and zero tolerance for poor fitness. So is it a case that in this drive to make the Pakistan team fitter and improve the fielding, some of these guys have been discarded?
Exactly. Due to, like I said, Mickey Arthur himself has a lot of influence on the selection of cricket team, the playing 11. And then the rest, icing on the cake, comes from someone like Inzamam ul Haq. And I'm very sorry to share the information with you that selection committee has dared to any domestic cricket game to pick up these guys and look at their performances themselves. They go with the paper and they go with the words in the media. But that is why the cricket in Pakistan, we are not able to produce or capitalize on the existing talent. And Mickey Arthur, look at Mickey Arthur's schedule. The guy lives in outside of Pakistan, right? He comes in for a week or maybe 4 days for training camp, and then he goes out to Dubai or any other international tour, and as soon as the tour is over, the guy's back home. So he doesn't know the conditions, he doesn't know the domestic cricket, he doesn't know the emerging stars, he doesn't know the talent in Pakistan. All he comes back is rely on the selection committee, and then out of that people, those group of folks the selection committee picks up, he handpicks few of them and tell them, no, I like this one, I don't like this one. Throw him away. I mean, Wahab Riaz, this week doesn't do a whole lot.
Well, Mickey Arthur said before the start of the tour of the UK that Wahab Riaz hasn't won us a game in 2 years, and he's not fit enough.
Well, the call.
Apologies, we seem to have lost Dr. Ansari there just for a second.
That's all right. We'll try and get him back. Some interesting points there from Dr. Ansari. Not to take anything away from the Indian performance, of course, because the Indians performed very, very admirably. Sorry, Dr. Ansari. I think we lost you there for a second. You're absolutely right to point those flaws out in Pakistan's performance, and some of the institutional issues that may exist. A word though on India's performance. I mean, they've been magnificent today.
Oh my goodness! The true champions. I'm telling you, the way these guys are playing cricket over the last few days has made me salute them left and right. Especially look at their captain leading from the front. He takes the pressure upon himself and gets to the point, take his team to a point where there's nothing left for the middle order or the later batsmen to do a whole lot. So, and the bowling changes.
Oh, we've lost Dr. Ansari there as well. But making, again, some excellent points about India and the performance of India. I mean, it's distracted, really. I mean, how long ago does it feel that India were in England, on the receiving end of a 4-1 loss? And that was a week ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yes, there was, I think, 4 days between the end of the India tour and the first game of the Asia Cup, which India weren't playing in, but about a week from the
end of that. Yeah, we've got Dr. Ansari back again. Sorry, Dr. Ansari, you were talking about the Indian team. We've got having some reception issues.
I love the interaction. I love it. You will see 2 or maximum 2.5 match winners in a team. If you look at the Indian team right now, they are 5 to 6 match winners. They can change players at any time.
Oh, apologies, Dr. Ansari. We're not getting you at all clearly at the moment. Perhaps you could just try and find slightly better mobile reception in nearby so we can hear you clearly. Oh, we've lost him again. We'll try and get him back. But yes, Nakul, I mean, how much is this? How good is the win been just to change the narrative around the Indian team?
Well, I think the first win against Pakistan completely reset the narrative from Hong Kong, and these last 2 games against Bangladesh and now Pakistan have just reinforced it. But I was saying to Avi actually on air that we haven't learnt a great deal about India in this tournament yet. What we've learnt is that Ravindra Jadeja, is still a force in limited overs cricket, and we found as cricket fans have discovered Khalil Ahmed, who's come into the team as the left armour, but may play against Afghanistan, may not. Certainly isn't in the first choice 11, but may well be in the 15. But you can't really tell anything about the middle order, which is still the open question.
I mean, that's the one sort of roundabout silver lining for Pakistan. Should they meet again in the final, which is a distinct possibility, that middle order really hasn't had a proper run. And if they manage to break through that really stellar opening partnership of Dhawan and Rohit Sharma, I mean, they'll be working with some a middle order that hasn't really greased its wheels as much.
Yeah. Do you think Pakistan may look to bowl first?
I think they might well have to. I mean, I can only imagine they're going to be scrutinized really heavily for this defeat. I mean, losing to India twice in a row in such emphatic fashion is something that just can't go not unpunished, but certainly unreported and without feedback. And Pakistani cricket fans in particular are very passionate, not unlike Indian fans, and they don't like a team without spirit. Even if your team plays hard, they'll try and recognize that. But it just looked like it was completely lacking in spirit. You'd like to say at least it was a spirited effort by Pakistan in difficult conditions against a stronger team, but it wasn't. It was just a broken team.
Certainly in the field. I mean, with the bat, I think they fought back relatively well. That partnership between Sarfaraz and Shoaib Malik. And then at the end with Asif Ali, I think it's really the one silver lining that Pakistan can take. Should we try the doctor one more time and then
yeah, absolutely.
See if
it's on the doctor to call us. Hopefully he can do that. We'll wait for him for a little while.
Yeah. In the meantime, this game we're watching in Abu Dhabi is actually bubbling up quite nicely. Afghanistan are 170 for 4 halfway through the 41st over. Need 80 more to win. Hashmatullah Shahidi is on strike on 62. Mohammad Nabi's at the other end. Left arm spinner Nazmul Islam, who was brought into the team, is in. Left arm over the wicket. That's short and pulled by Hashmatullah. Pulled for 4 by Hashmatullah. Lovely shot. A terrible delivery from Nazmul Islam in truth. And Afghanistan now move to 174 for 4. We might get a third banana in here. Try and get Grubby in here. Because well, certainly there's enough of this game left. I think we should definitely cover the last 9 of the bit overs.
Yeah, absolutely, we should. I'm just trying to communicate with Dr. Kashif and see if we can get more of his thoughts on the other game. But this is oh, there we go. Before I could even finish typing my message, Dr. Kashif is back with us. Hello, Dr. Kashif. Can you hear us? Oh, hold on. Hello, Dr. Kashif. Can you hear us? Oh, hold on. Hello, Dr. Kashif. Can you hear us? Oh, something bizarre is happening to my phone. Oh boy. Okay. I can only but try again.
Apologies, listeners, for the issues we're having connecting to our correspondent out there in Dubai. In the meantime, Mohammad Nabi is on strike. Afghanistan 175 for 4. Islam in last ball of the over is full and clipped into the leg side. Easy single for Mohammad Nabi. He's on 3. Hashmatullah 67. Afghanistan 176 for 4. Needs 74 of the last 9 overs with 6 wickets in hand. They've still got Gulbuddin Naib and Rashid Khan to come, who've been in good form lower down the order, and still got the well-set Hashmatullah. But Bangladesh probably favourites from this point as Grubby moves into the tweet chair.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, this game in Abu Dhabi is right in the balance, isn't it? I still have Bangladesh as slight favourites, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Needing, what is it?
Afghanistan needs 74 or 54.
Over 8 and over.
Yep. I should say today that our coverage of the Asia Cup is brought to you with kind assistance of Dow Diagnostics, the full-service laboratory in Dubai Healthcare City. Speaking of Dubai, we're gonna see if the doctor does come back online.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a call back from him in a moment. Reception permitting, I imagine is quite a reception-heavy area.
But it's good to see that he was willing to give credit to India for what has been another dominant performance.
Absolutely. Oh, he just called you. Have you got him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if he calls me back, we'll be okay. Yeah, that should be fine.
We're going to give it one more final try, I think, with Kashif Ansari, Dr. Kashif Ansari out there in Dubai to try and get his reaction. Oh, and also thinking ahead to Pakistan's crucial game against Bangladesh.
Absolutely. And oh, here we go, Dr. Kashif Ansari. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. So I'm sorry we got disconnected.
Not a problem, sir. Let's pick up where we were speaking. We were talking about in India's performance and how they differed in contrast to Pakistan, especially coming off the back of a difficult series against England.
I know, and hats off. That's what I was saying. That hats off to the team management, dressing room, and the spirits of these boys. I mean, I am so super impressed. These guys came out, and yes, they did win a one-day series against England, but after a very tough loss against England in the Test series, they came out blazing, and because of the talent, the amount of talent they have in the dressing room, and the bench strength, and the mindset, because they know they can win, they know they can perform, and then the most important thing is, coach has a limited role along with the captain. Captain is performing. When your captain is performing, then he has the face to show to the rest of the team in the dressing room to go ahead, give your 110%, otherwise you're not part of the team. In our case, the coach is the one who's leading the team, who's selecting the team, who is guiding the team, and our captain is just playing as a puppet in his hands. He doesn't have any say whatsoever, and the icing on the cake is that our captain is not performing himself. And that is why he doesn't have too much of words to say or too much of encouragement for his team players.
It is very difficult. I mean, we saw several times today Sarfaraz yelling at his teammates, and Mohammad Nawaz was on the receiving end of a particularly harsh tongue bashing. But it's difficult. I mean, somebody, one of the people tweeting into our show made the point that it's very difficult for Sarfaraz to set a field when his bowlers are often bowling a long hop and over, or bowling several bad deliveries, 4 balls, not bowling to their fields. I mean, what's a captain to do?
I know that the multiple things again. First of all, if you're not bowling to your field, this shows the lack of confidence in your own self. That's number one. Number two is that the scripted game plan, which you go in with, doesn't work all the time. We need somebody who can script the game within the ground rather than scripting it in the dressing room. When you're not able to get wickets, or like I was watching until 20, 30, 40, 30 overs, there was no bowler who was being, kind of dangerous or was threatening to take a wicket. Sarfaraz should have scripted the game one more time. Bring a couple of more extra fielders in the circle. Give somebody else the ball and ask him to bowl on a certain plan. But he wasn't doing that, and as a result of that, all the bowlers and the fielders, they had their shoulders down. Unfortunately, when you have a scripted captain, when you have a non-performing captain, he doesn't send a positive message to the team players. And that message gets even worsely translated into a poor performance by the rest of the 10 players.
Dr. Ansari, we've just heard latest news that Angelo Matthews has resigned as Sri Lanka's captain in the one-day format. Could we see Sarfaraz following him at the end of the tournament and losing his place?
Unfortunately, Sarfaraz is surrounded, and again, I don't know how much you know about Pakistan journalism and cricket journalism. He's surrounded by a group of journalists who keeps telling him that you are the best, and don't worry, everything will be fine. And this is the culture which we have developed over the last 30 years in Pakistan cricket. Very seldom we see the people taking steps like Angelo Matthews did, because they always think they are right, and they are supported by these so-called journalists who takes them to the graveyard and cemetery and then forget about them. Look at Shahid Afridi, the real star of Pakistan, and how he got out of the cricket. He was begging for the last game, and the selection committee and the PCB never gave him the game. Look at the other captains who have led like Mohammad Yusuf, who led Pakistan, Saeed Anwar, the way he left the scene of the cricket. Sir, the problem in the culture of Pakistan is personal favoritism and nepotism. As a result of that, we have hurted big time. We have taken big losses. If Sarfraz would resign, I promise you this is the high time to do so. But the problem is that these journalists will not suggest him. They will protest him. They will hold his hand and say, you know what? It's not your fault. You shouldn't resign. This has nothing to do with you. Selection committee, the PCB should take responsibility of it. They're going to make you a scapegoat. This is exactly what happens behind the closed doors and on the media channels. If Sarfraz resigns, I promise you in 3 months he will be back with a bigger shy. I'm telling you that. Because there's nobody else to wear that hat right now. Malik has already refused it, and the rest of the team is still trying to find ground.
I mean, let's try and be a little bit objective. I mean, we're not that far removed from Pakistan winning a sequence of ODI series and also being successful here in England against England as well. I mean, they drew the Test series, but they won every other game they played while they were here on tour. They won all of their matches against Zimbabwe, setting records in the process. Okay, fine, it was a weak Zimbabwe team, but they still had to get the job done.
You are comparing apples with oranges here. Pakistan won the one-day series against the C team of Zimbabwe. So this is the problem, that before Asia Cup, the schedule was set in a way that these kids go in front of nursery kids, of like kindergarten kids, and score double century and boost their egos. Once you boost your ego, you are like, I'm the best, and you start playing with your hand-eye coordination. You forget about the fact that who is bowling to you. You stop showing respect to the good balls and play hard on the loose balls. You try to script your innings the way you were doing in Zimbabwe, and you have paid the price against Hong Kong, against India, against Afghanistan, and against India again. So you need to switch gears.
Let's just break it down a little bit. So Pakistan in their previous series, I mean, they lost a series against New Zealand in Friday, I beg your pardon, January earlier this year. Before that, they won a series against Sri Lanka 5-0, which is a pretty intense win for them. After that, they won a tri-series with Australia and Zimbabwe involved, and they won that series against Zimbabwe. So, I mean, Australia, certainly I wouldn't call them a nursery team. Okay, like they did play some weaker teams in between, but they picked up wins against the West Indies, against Sri Lanka, against Australia, some decent opposition and in multiple formats, and of course England as well, and Scotland and Ireland. So they did pick up a lot of wins. I mean, India is undoubtedly a strong team, and these have been two very, very disappointing performances from Pakistan against India. Going into the next game against Bangladesh, what changes do you expect to see?
Boss, I very respectfully disagree with you. Apart from few games against Australia, the teams you mentioned, West Indies and Sri Lanka, they were C teams. You know the politics and the structure and the problems they have in the board. So those series I don't count. However, the few games they have won against Australia, they should be written well in the Pakistan cricket history. As far as the game against Bangladesh is concerned, depending on what Bangladesh does today, it seems like they're going to be able to pull it, or maybe not. Maybe Afghanistan. Pakistan will have to do something out of their skin. They will have to have a different game plan for every over. And for that, Sarfraz has to take charge. If he's given a scripted plan to go into the field and do what he's supposed to do and don't change it according to the needs of the time, I'm afraid the results are going to be the same. He needs to take charge. And Mickey Arthur needs to be told that, sir, your time is not there to pick up those 11 players. This is the captain who will take the heat from people like me and you. This is the captain who faces the 220 million people of Pakistan. It's not Mickey Arthur. You will roll up your bed, pack up your suitcase, and leave the next day and write a book 6 months later and become a bestseller. So, sir, somebody needs to take charge of this, and Sarfraz, who will end up living in the same country, the same house, and the same city, will have to take charge now. Otherwise, like you said, step down and say, you know what, I can't be puppet. I cannot be puppet. You're not giving me control. You're not giving me any authorities. I don't take this job. I'm not going to do it, because then you're going to throw all the crap on me, and then you walk away with clean hands. So as far as Bangladesh is concerned, if the game in Bangladesh wins today, I'm afraid the results aren't going to be any different than what we saw today between Pakistan and India.
So, Dr. Saab, if Pakistan are able to beat Bangladesh, let's assume that's the crucial game, and then beat India in the final, is all forgiven? All is forgotten?
Yes, it is a possibility. It is a very good possibility. The changes I'm seeing is that, you know, if Mohammad, like Haris Sohail, why did you drop Haris Sohail today? You just had him one day. Shaheen Afridi played 1 or 2 games in the past, and you put him against India in all-important game. The guy is pitching short on a track which is so non-conducive. And what else? What other delivery does he have? Does he have 160 kilometers an hour delivery? No, he doesn't. The one who has 150, 148, 147 kilometers of speed, Wahab Riaz, you have dropped him long time ago. The guy who can extract extra bounce from the track like Mohammad Irfan, who bowled 3.5 maiden overs in CPL, you dropped him. You just left him. You totally slaughtered his career. Sohail Tanveer, who is the most valuable player in T20 cricket all across the world, is not a part of your even 20-25 squad. So somebody needs to rethink this process. As far as the changes for the next game is concerned, I do see Haris Sohail coming back. I want to see 3 spin bowlers in 2 places. I want to see that. And then because that additional batsman is going to give you the depth in the batting order, which you are always missing. And you have to have a plan which you can change according to the needs. Sarfraz needs to take the lead right now.
Well, we'll see what shall happen on Wednesday when the next 2 teams meet. Dr. Saab, you still with us? Can you hear us? Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So we're just saying we look forward to the next match which will happen on Wednesday here, and we're going to be covering it on Gorilla Cricket. Just a reminder that every hour of coverage is brought to you with the kind association of Dow Diagnostics, the full-service laboratory in Dubai Healthcare City. That's Dow Diagnostics, the full-service laboratory in Dubai Healthcare City. We'll be back then. In fact, we're going to continue today with some more commentary of Afghanistan versus Bangladesh. Finishing. It's going to be quite a tight finish, so we'll continue commenting that. Thank you very much, Dr. Kashif Ansari, for your time, and we look forward to speaking to you again at the next match.
I thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Doctor.
Kashif. Thank you. There we have the views of Dr. Kashif Ansari.
Some strong views there.
Some exceptionally strong views, and I wish I could say they were atypical. Okay.
Doesn't want Mickey Arthur walking away with green hands, certainly.
No, he doesn't want him to walk away with green hands. He's not a big fan of
gardening.
That's the one, yeah.
So by the way, you just missed by Hashmatullah Shahidi has been bowled. So Afghanistan are 192 for 5, halfway through the 44th over. In 58 for 39, it's Mohammad Nabi and Samiullah Shinwari at the crease now, with Gulbuddin and Rashid Khan still to come. So the game is certainly not over, but Bangladesh have taken another step potentially towards victory.
Absolutely. Afghanistan, I mean, some of these players you'll still remember. Gulbuddin famously made his debut, which was covered in that documentary, Out of the Ashes, which is about Afghanistani cricket. If you've not seen it, heavily recommended. 192 for 5 Afghanistan, 58 to get off 39. It's going to be a nail-biting climax. Where's your money at, Grubby?
It was just with Bangladesh before they took that wicket, and it's definitely with Bangladesh now. But it's the second close game in a row that Afghanistan will have been involved in after that heartbreak for them against Pakistan on Friday.
Both of these, certainly Bangladesh, have a habit of losing close games.
As Mashrafi Murtaza comes in, he's been pushed into the covers aggressively by Shinwari, who can't find the gap. No run scored.
We have a jingle for Mashrafi Murtaza.
Let's have
it's one of the Guerrilla Cricket classics.
Oh, your knees are fucked, Mashrafi Murtaza. Oh, your knees are fucked, Mashrafi Murtaza. Oh, your knees are fucked.
The Bangladesh captain held together by sticky tape and hope.
Oh boy. There he is. He looks reasonably able as he runs in. Shinwari facing him down. Short outside the off stump. And Shinwari tried to make some room and cut that away through the covers. He missed it altogether. The ball went through to the keeper. And yeah, he just kind of held the pose of a dejected man. The Shinwari knows these are valuable deliveries. 58 required of 37. 9.4741 and over. Well, we know in 2018 that's far from undoable.
Yeah, indeed.
The awaiting delivery that someone like Rashid Khan and Gulbuddin can be hitting.
Yeah, every one of those that he flashes at and misses, and there's a dot ball, they'll be sitting up there, those boys. They know they're in good form, thinking, perhaps I could be doing a better job for my country.
Perhaps indeed. At this stage, well, it's almost even there. Bangladesh were 196 for 5 at this point in the innings. Afghanistan only 192 for 5, only 4 runs the difference. Is that what it's going to come down to? In comes Mushrif Murtaz on a length outside the off stump, and Shinwari tries to hammer that away to mid wicket. He can't really beat the fielder in the circle, but it gets to him quite slowly and sluggishly, so they run through for a single. 193 for 5 after 44 overs. That required run rate exactly 9.5 and over.
Nakul alluded to this during our interview with Dr. Ansari there, but the cricket world rarely stands still, and while we were speaking not too long ago, it was announced that the Sri Lankan captain Anjali Matthews has stepped down after being requested to do so by the selectors and head coach. He's also considering retirement after that had happened. And meanwhile,
Wait, the captain is, or the coach, or
Matthews is.
Wow.
Captain, yeah.
And Dinesh Chandimal is appointed as captain, and we got that sent to us by Short Third Man, so thank you very much for that if you're still listening, Short Third Man. Meanwhile, Ajit Skandar said to us, kudos for covering India versus Pakistan today and staying back to finish Afghanistan-Bangladesh. You're very welcome.
Yeah,
We're
of
more
course,
than
mate.
delighted to do it.
Yeah, only 2-hour drive home.
Jane with a Y said, Pakistan are certainly going to be scrutinized. Was what you said, Atif, and she thought you were going to say something else. And Sahil says, Shikhar Dhawan's wicket earlier on was like a tennis player losing a game out of pity for her opponent to save them the embarrassment of a bagel.
It was hilarious. He jogged too.
Yeah, it was really bizarre, that whole sequence.
We do have a change of bowling for Bangladesh. We've got a better jingle for him. I'll find it in a second.
Yep, the unnamed bowler is just rubbing the ground, trying to get some of that moisture out of his hands. Doesn't want any ball slipping out of his hands. He's going to be bowling to Shinwari. He's got 1 off 3, under pressure. It's a slower bowler, little spoiler there. Floats the delivery outside the off-stump, angles in towards the batsman, has driven it hard. It's beaten the man in the circle, but there is a man in the deep at the wide long off region. They run through for 2 crucial runs. The bowlers jingle.
Shaki, 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 pala sampai for Worcester. Shaki, 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 pala sampai for Worcester.
He did. He played for Worcestershire in the county championship. A couple of... the next ball comes in, it's floated outside the off-stump on a decent line. It's been worked away off a thickish inside edge. They run for a second run. Are they going to make it? They do. They make it for 2. There's 2 2s in a row. This is an exciting match, boys and girls. 53 off 34
Excitement.
required.
We've got jingles for the batsmen as well.
Oh my days, let's hear it.
Let's hear some Yunus Shinwari. That's a shambolic run. They slipped and nearly ran into each other.
Indeed. In comes Shakib Al-Hasan. There's a reverse sweep attempted. The ball's been, the batsman struck right in front, and he's been given LBW. It looked pretty straight to me. It was a bizarre, premeditated stroke there from Shinwari. He's reviewed it. Unbelievably, he's reviewed it. He was bang in front of the stumps. That ball couldn't have been more plumb.
It might be clipping the outside of leg stump, but this has got to be...
It's a bad review.
Yeah, I think it is a bad review. It's a desperate review, one thinks.
I was definitely in. Were you definitely in?
No.
Well, it definitely wasn't a no ball. That much we can confirm. He attempted the reverse sweep. Oh, it was definitely a premeditated one. It was way before the bowler had even got through his action. He didn't adjust his delivery, Shakib Al-Hasan. Credit to him. He kind of held his line. The ball pitches just in line.
That's out.
Yeah, it
That's
strikes
out.
him bang in front of middle stump. I mean, that's clipping leg stump, as you said, which is enough for the umpire's decision to be upheld. We're going to get a look at the old the Scopy thing. What do you call it? Hawkeye.
Yeah, he completely misread the line. It was far too straight to be playing that shot too. I think he was expecting it outside, possibly outside leg stump, and then it just drifted.
And this is stock delivery as well. It wasn't anything different. They're just having a little look to see exactly where the impact was so they can work it out. I mean, it's not impossible it's going down leg. Nah, I think it's clipping. I'm pretty sure it's clipping. There's certainly no edge on it, so we can stop rocking and rolling, as one would say. There we go. We got the Hawkeye in. We're having a look. It pitches in line. The impact is in line, and it's missing. It's missing the leg stump. Unbelievable. Unbelievable scenes here in Abu Dhabi. The ball is missing the leg stump. Wow. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
Outstanding review from Shinwari there. Wow.
When we were doing the games on Friday, Manny was in for a little while, and we were having a discussion about the technology, and most of the time it seems pretty good. But just sometimes you get the impression that it's not 100% accurate.
Oh, boy.
And we were taken to task by Ravi Nair and others.
I have no problem with that. I just didn't see it first time around. I thought it was going to be clipping the outside of the leg.
I agreed with you. Even upon looking at it in slow motion, I agreed with you. I mean, I'm very surprised that the ball's going down leg side there. Well, I'm not here to imply anything at all. Aside from the score remains 197 to 5.
Possibly Shinwari would have reviewed it anyway. Both teams, both teams have a review remaining. 197 for 5, 53 needed off 33.
Yeah, you're definitely using it. It's crucial, isn't it? But you know you've got bench strength in the back, so you're possibly holding a team back. You're not really in any kind of form. He's faced 6 balls, to be fair, but still, it's crucial, isn't it? In comes Shakib Al Hassan, pitches that one just outside leg stump. Very canny delivery there, because Shinwari could do nothing but just dab it away into the leg side. He couldn't even beat the keeper. No runs scored. I bet right now he's wondering, maybe I was better off not reviewing and just taking one for the team. 197 for 5, Afghanistan.
I bet he's not thinking that.
In comes Shakib Al Hassan this time. Big wind up there from Shinwari. He just can't dig the ball out. It was a perfect length there from Shakib Al Hassan. The ball just dips and dips and dips until it's right in the block hole, and Shinwari can't get it anywhere. No run scored again. Another dot ball.
Shakib is so clever. He gives you nothing to work with.
Yeah, he can't get under
and
the ball.
And he comes again, this time slightly shorter length, and try to get underneath it at Shinwari, and just got a thick inside edge. It's run into the square leg region where there's been a bit of poor fielding, a bit of poor communication there, which has allowed the Afghanistani batsman to come back for 2. 199 for 5 after 45, but that required rate, because of those dot balls, has gone up to 10.2. Oh boy. I think, is your money still safe with Bangladesh?
I still favour Bangladesh, but of course Afghanistan is still in the game, and whilst they've got wickets in hand as well, it makes their case even stronger.
They're not going to die wondering, are they?
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, they're trying. It's just not. It's almost as. It's a bit like watching the Pakistani openers bat earlier today. These Afghanistan. He's just not really finding it. You know, we got a lovely shot of the umpire there, just overturning his decision, going, "Oh, really? I was wrong. Unbelievable."
Yeah, I think everyone was surprised.
Yeah,
I think even the batsman was surprised.
We've also got a jingle from Mohammad Nabi.
The gods made Muhammad Nabi, and they saw that he was good. He came to play with bat and ball with a style like silk and wood. When losers say he shares house, well, you know that it's a lie. The gods made Muhammad Nabi, and he's never gonna die.
Must say a huge thank you to Mog and to Richard Peel, and who've turned around some jingles for the Afghan and Bangladesh players at record notice.
And some high quality ones at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Also, a big thank you to everybody who's on our Quick Tracker feed right now. 305 people still watching.
Hello, everyone.
I'm very, very impressed with the dedication, guys. Who do you think is going to win this game? Guys, comment on that Facebook page. Tell us who you think is going to win this game. Is Afghanistan going to win? Is Bangladesh going to win?
And also, thanks for everyone still with us on Twitter. Evil Scooters is listening and saying ridiculously they missed out on the leg buys they'd have earned if it hadn't been given out. They went through for a leg bye, I guess, and because there was an appeal, it was considered dead ball.
That shouldn't be right.
No, that shouldn't be right at all. Because you could just appeal anything, couldn't you?
That's true, actually, yeah.
One run off the
maybe
last
they just
ball.
decided not to run because there was an appeal.
I think that's more likely.
They would have done.
That's more likely.
Yeah. Sahil also wanted us to ask Dr. Kash, if we can't because he's gone, but whether who he fancies in there as a finisher for Pakistan. Perhaps Fawad Alam or Mohammad Hafiz.
The Fawad Alam debate. Every single time Pakistan lose.
Oh boy.
For 5 years.
I mean, this is it. This is what's frustrating, is right. And with all due respect, Dr. Kashif, and sorry, it's 2 losses.
Yeah.
You know, it's 2 losses. You've won 9 games this year. Like, you got to give them some breathing room. Okay, the 2 losses were against India, and they were really, really disappointing losses, and you can certainly analyze. But to go to this extreme solution of removing your captain, removing your coach, making wholesale changes.
Mickey Arthur's done some pretty good things for Pakistani.
Without question.
I mean, the fielding the catching's been atrocious in this tournament, but it had been brilliant for the last year and a half under fielding coach Steve Rickson. He's now left. They're bringing in a new fielding coach. Let's see.
We've got a new bowler, and we'll get a jingle for him after his first delivery. Is just outside the off stump, and it's been driven to the fielder at point. They can run through for a quick single. The bowler in question is this man. Indeed, 200 for 5. That previous single brought up the 200 for Afghanistan, and somewhat frustratingly for a lot of the spectators, Mustafzir has gone down after that first ball. He's picked up some kind of cramp. It's not unusual in that part of the world, in that kind of searing heat, with the kind of workload and pressure these players are under.
Fluids and salt required.
Fluids and salt. Oh boy, not going to touch that one. 200 for 5, Afghanistan after 45.1 overs. 50 required to win from 29 balls. Can they do it?
I wasn't trying to bowl you a googly, sir, I promise. Our friend Sahil, also known as Chocolate Burfi, says shares our surprise about that latest decision that was overturned. Says, can you describe ball tracking on that ball? Did Hawkeye turn and twist like a worm to miss the stumps?
No, it wasn't.
Because what I just deduced was it was pretty plumb.
No, it wasn't turning. It was Shakib's ball that he slides in. He doesn't turn the ball that much, and it hit him on sort of middle and leg and was just sliding down. I thought it hit him more in middle and off.
But I think I think we were all to some extent surprised.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That the ball was at least going to be clipping, and I had it. Even on that final view where you saw it sort of brushing his pad on the way through, I thought it was going to hit middle and leg about 3/4 of the way up. But there we are. The machine said otherwise, so we have to accept the decision. Murray Erasmus was equally surprised as he allowed his Easter Island face to lapse into a different expression for once.
There were definitely varying degrees of surprise.
Najib Khan says Afghanistan are going to win.
There we go,
Someone
mate.
with an Urdu name that I can't read says blue heart emoji, pigeon emoji, red heart emoji, Edvard Monk the scream emoji, sunglasses emoji, music emoji, music emoji, blue heart emoji, pigeon emoji.
Something about Glenn McGrath?
Catch the pigeon. Falik Bhatti says Bangladesh win.
Oh boy, there we go. We got support for both teams.
Mohammed Arshad says laughing crying emoji, laughing crying emoji, laughing crying emoji.
And it's getting up towards 2 a ball required here for Afghanistan. They need 50 off 29 deliveries.
They need a biggie, and Mustafizur is not easy to hit either.
Yeah.
With his cutters and his changes of pace.
1 over of 20, and all of a sudden they're favourites.
Yeah, I know. Let's see what happens. Mustafizur is back on his feet now. Let's see what he does with his next delivery. I've just spotted somebody stealing one of my memes online, so I'm going to give them a nice hard time at the end of this over, I think.
Is it possible to steal a meme?
Yeah, you just kind of post it and watermark it and pretend it's your own, because you're a thief and you're a scumbag. As the next ball is on a leg stump line, has been worked away into the leg side region. They take a single. Score moves on to 201 for 5. Yeah, don't do that. Don't steal memes, people. It's not a good thing.
Don't steal material.
Just retweet.
As a comedian yourself, Atif, obviously stealing of other people's material is probably the lowest crime that you can commit in that trade.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Have you seen Stuart Lee's bit about Joe Pasquale?
Yes.
Yes. If you haven't seen that, everyone out there, and
you've got to check that out.
About stealing material, I urge you to watch it.
There's a lot of controversies about stolen material in the comedy world at the moment.
Mehdi Hassan Ashik said Bangladesh win the match.
There we go. Let's see, Mehdi. Let's see if you're right. In comes Mustafizur. He looks a little bit ginger as he walks in, and the next ball has been spanked hard and high, but it's not going to beat the guy at long off. They'll take a single. Singles aren't enough right now for Afghanistan. They need more drastic measures. 48 required of 27. 3 singles off this over so far, so a decent one from Mustafizur. He's injured. He's a wounded tiger. He's a wounded Bangladeshi tiger right now. And he needs to, he's still doing the job. He reminds me a bit of Arjuna Ranatunga in 1998 in a crucial series against Pakistan. Was it 97, 98?
Unfortunately, you can't have a runner as a bowler.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
Run in and bowl that
one. Run in and bowl that one for you.
Well, Arjuna basically killed the runner.
He did, didn't he? He just, it was like a mule in the desert. 202 for 5. Shinwari on strike now. Mustafizur comes in. It's on the leg stump this time. Shinwari's worked it away handsomely. Very unlucky because he nailed the timing of that. It was perfect, but he just found the fielder in the deep, and they could only get a single. Again, Bangladesh continue to constrict like a boa constrictor or a feather boa that's too tight around the neck of Afghanistan.
Beautifully lobbed the square leg umpire there.
Yeah, no, it was a nice little throw, wasn't it? Yeah.
He really did time that.
He timed the shit out of it, if I may say.
So much so that 5 yards either side of that fielder, and it would have been 4 runs.
Yeah,
he might have been better off not timing it as well and getting 2.
More chance of getting 2 if he'd not timed it.
Indeed, Mustafizur coming in, decent over for him so far, just a 4 off it this time. Nabi on strike this time. He spanks it over the covers. It's racing away to the point boundary. It's 4.
Oh, that was like an MS Dhoni square cut.
Yeah.
All 4 arms.
All 4 arms.
There from the fizz.
He's a big, strong man, Mohammed Nabi.
Just arms everywhere, arms all over it. It was a bit like, if you ever played Street Fighter 2, it was a bit like the character E Honda.
Was he Eddie Honda?
I think it was Edmund Honda. Edmund Honda.
I don't know him that well, so
I just call him Edmund. Well, you can call him Eddie if you're mates. I don't know if he's on your Facebook. But Edmund Honda, he had the 100-hand slap, and and it was just all arms everywhere. And that's kind of what that shot was like. Nabi's got 20 of 17. He's on strike. Mustafzir, he's gone for 8 so far. 1 ball to come in this over. It was tidy until the last ball, as the next one's taken a thickish outside edge. It goes to the third man fielder. They take another single, but crucially, Nabi retains the strike. 208 for 5. That required run rate, 10.5.
People out there, tell your friends we're still here on Guerrilla Cricket covering the last 4 overs of this game between Afghanistan and Bangladesh.
So the required rate at the start of the over was 10.5, and the required rate at the end of the over is 10.5, which means they must have scored 10.5 in that over. Work that one out.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to do that, do so and get in touch as we watch a man getting a facial.
10.2 before the start of the over. Now it's 10.5.
Nabi's getting a nice little facial from the 12th man at the moment. Yeah.
Wet towel shave.
Wet towel shave.
I'm not taking that one either.
You misunderstand how facials work.
Guerrilla After Dark, mate. Guerrilla After Dark. Double entendre city right now. That's what's happening.
Barely a single entendre.
There we go. 208 for 5.
So who Bangladesh got left? They've got
Pakistan.
No, they've got. What have they got in terms of bowling? They've got,
sorry.
I think Mushraf has got 1 left. The Fizz has got 3 left. But obviously they can't. And Mehdi's got some. They've managed to use They've used 6 bowlers. They've got plenty of options to go to. Mehdi, Hassan, and Mushraf have got 1 left each. Mustafizur's got 3 left, and Shakib's got 2 left.
Well, if nothing else, Afghanistan deserves some props just for being involved in the 2 closest games in the tournament and keeping the interest of the world of cricket alive.
Yeah, with an Asia Cup, with an honourable mention to Hong Kong.
Yeah. And it's not India's fault that no one's giving them a game.
No, it is going to be Mushraf again, other than Hong Kong.
Apart from Hong Kong.
It is going to be Mushraf continuing the Bangladeshi captain.
It is. He's got 1 over to go. He's just switched ends is what's happened, because he was bowling from this end, and then Shakib's been taking off the other side. So I don't know why they did that. He probably just wanted to bowl from that end.
Shakib's got 3 overs left, and they've got 3 overs left to bowl. So they're trying to
get the best of their bowler, because Mustafzir is going to keep coming.
Shakib can now bowl 2 after this.
That's what it was. A bit of mathematics there from the Bangladeshi captain.
You got to be on the ball captaining a team in a limited overs game.
Absolutely. Well, some captains today have not been so much.
What have we got? Deep cover, long on. Deep cover, long off. 3 men up on the offside. I can't see the leg side field.
Let's have a little look what happens. Mushrafi's running in 208 for 5. Nabi on strike. Mushrafi bowls short outside the off stump. Nabi has a wild swipe at that. Doesn't time it at all. Only gets it to the square leg fielder. They run through for a single. Again, just a little bit frustrating for Afghanistan. Bangladesh perfectly happy to give away the singles at this point. 209 for 5.
Got a run of boundaries early in the over changes everything.
Does. Got a tweet here that must be delayed. It was only sent in a couple of minutes ago, but from Save Withybush Hospital, saying, I see the run rate is down to 0.46 and over. That must have been towards the India-Pakistan game. And Jane with a Y says, was in a lift with Nabi heaps of times in Lauderhill. Did not strike me as a big, strong guy, unlike some of the West Indies guys, Brathwaite, etc., and even Marty Guptill.
Well, Shinwari's a strong man, and he's on strike right now. Short delivery this time. It's been spanked. It's gone up in the air. Is it going to clear the boundary? Yes, it is. It's a big one. It's a maximum for Shinwari, for Afghanistan.
By the power of the Tubi grip.
Now then.
He got a hold of it. He got a hold of that one. 35 of 22 all of a sudden looks like a very different equation. It was too short that time for Mushrafi. A man of his experience should know better. Naughty boy. Deserves that spanking.
You can't bowl length at the death. And Samuel Shinwari, which by the way is a very wonderful name to say, has absolutely spanked that 91 metres over the boundary. Shakib is praying to his captain, don't do that again.
He's praying forgiveness on his behalf for that naughty, it's filthy, it's disgusting.
Shakib Hassan look a little bit like Romelu Lukaku with that chin beard.
I see it. Shinwari now moves on to 15 from 12.
3 men back on the leg side, deep backward square, cow corner, long off.
Perhaps that's why he came in ahead of Rashid Khan and company. Around the wicket this time comes Mushrafi, and that ball is on a tighter line on the leg stump. The batsman has played as swooping. He tried to play it into the leg side, but he just kind of looped it towards the long off fielder. They take a single. Mustafzir is still limping there in the background as Afghanistan move on to 216 for 5. Mustafzir's probably got 1 more over to bowl, right?
I don't think he can bowl it in that condition.
He looked like he looked struggling. He looked like me after. Let's just leave it there. 216 for 5.
They'd want to have Shakib bowling the next over, then Mustafa Zur bowling the 49th, then Shakib bowling the 50th.
Mashrafi in again. He bowls a full toss from around the wicket. It was very, very high, possibly a no ball even. As there's been worked away into the leg side, they run through for a quick 2. They
Wrong
make
end.
it comfortably. Yeah, the throw went to the wrong end as well. Come on, guys, basics, get them right. Bangladesh looking a little bit exasperated there all of a sudden. 32 required of 20. Nobody's looking at the height of that delivery. It seemed quite high for a full. Have another look at it. It was just about on the waistline, just about. It's pretty
Murad
high.
Khan says, Shinwari, you beauty.
Yeah, Shinwari, you beauty
And
indeed.
Sohail Rana says, I believe.
I can fly. It's a good song back in the day.
R. Kelly.
Let's not go with that there with R. Kelly.
Mancunian.
Scouse girl next door.
R. Kelly.
Yeah.
R. Kelly. 218 for 5. Mashrafi Murtaza. He's gone for 61 from his 9.4 overs so far. Can he go for more? Can he go for less? Can he add a wicket
He
to
can't
make
go
his
for
figures more? In comes Mashrafi Murtaza. And a big wild swipe that time from Nabi. He was looking to the heavens. He wanted to send that ball from Abu Dhabi to Dubai, but he's missed it altogether. It's gone through to the keeper for no run. Crucial dot ball there. If your numbers could go backwards, they would for a ball like that. But they can't, so they
sucked some runs out. So good was that ball.
Again, it wasn't a great ball.
It's a length ball, isn't it? I mean, you probably shouldn't be bowling length at this time, to be fair. You want to go block hole, right?
The block hole or... block hole either very straight or full Yorker. If you're going to bowl short, make it a slow ball bouncer.
He's trying to play it too square as well. We want to be playing that
But that's
much
where
straighter.
that's where the gap is, though.
Oh, the shot mind.
In comes Mashrafi Murtaza. There we go, aiming for that block hole that time. Just overpitched ever so slightly, so worked away into the leg side in wristy fashion by Nabi, who will retain the strike. 219 for 5 after 47. 31 required of 18. As I reflect on the time I put my ball in the block hole.
Well, and with that, I'm going to go back to Jane with a Y. I want you to tell us how come you were in a lift with Nabi so frequently? Back in your Lord Hill days.
That was at the CPL, wasn't it? I think the Caribbean Premier League went and played some games out in Lauderhill.
Okay. But it's not just some weird lift buddy scheme that you're part of.
Mohamed Nabi doesn't have the absurd proportions of someone like Carlos Brathwaite or Karen Pollard, but his forearms.
Peter Willie forearms.
As he got some serious forms. There's a man in the crowd who's literally every inch of his body is painted in the colours of Afghanistan. That's fan commitment right there.
And you get a few in the Bangladeshi supporters as well. The old tiger stripes on looks
that's a sweatshirt.
The bloke in a tiger onesie.
Yes, that's what he's wearing, a tiger onesie. That lesser-known golfer. 219 for 5 after 47 overs. There we go. You've
got to have a certain physique to pull it off, though. It doesn't look great if you're sort of 18 stone and you're trying to do it.
Tiger onesie. I don't know. I think you've either got to be 18 stone or have a certain figure. Nothing in between. Anyway, Shakib Al Hassan is doing a lot of praying in loads of different cultures at the moment on the ground.
He's at the moment, I think he's practicing high swirling catches.
There's some Afghani dancing happening in the stands as well. Oh, it's a bit of flair into that dancing. Look at that.
Afghan Bhangra.
Yeah, it's a kind of a crossover. He's on one leg as well. I hope he doesn't fall down. This dancing, and he's going to he's toppling.
Particularly as he's wearing bright white.
He's doing that Space Invader move. Just
that's how Surfraz appeals.
That's absolutely how Surfraz appeals, the Space Invader move.
Actually, that's what Chahal was doing the other day. He's like a appeal or he's a close on, and he just sort of it's like those the tiny little birds that do that sideways dance up a branch. It's like that.
There's been a bit of retro gaming about today, hasn't there?
Mianzur Rahman says, "Wow, so nice."
Nice, it is nice. Mustafzir is back in, wounded and all, and this time he bowls the ball on a length on the middle stump, and Nabi moves across his stumps and plays that to mid-wicket just for the single. He wanted more from it, but he ended up sort of checking his stroke there. Realised he wasn't going to get a hold of it in the same way as he thought he was. 220 for 5, 30 off 17. Gentlemen.
I mean, you rightly point out, Knuckle, that they've got bowling options here, but they must think that the Fizz is their best one, even because how can you bowl him when he's got cramp? It's like trying to bowl when you've got a dagger in the back of your thigh.
It might be the thing that he can keep bowling, but if he stops, he won't be able to come back. You know, the game's almost done. You can try and patch him up again.
Seeing him move around the field, I can't believe
we
that
saw
he can bowl at full tilt.
in Malahide. Mohamed Ahmed was bowling full tilt, and then between overs was barely moving. In the island second innings.
Yeah, I remember that. Mustafzir, the adrenaline keeping him going. His short outside the offside has been played uppishly into the leg side. Is there a man waiting? But it lobs him! It lobs him, and it actually went for 4. Why weren't you back on the boundary? The ball bounced before it hit the boundary. It's gone for 4 over Shafiq's head. Oh my days.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
I can only assume he didn't realise where he was meant to be fielding, unless it was a tactic to have him 10 yards in off the rope. But
oh boy,
you cannot be on the boundary and let it bounce over your head for 4.
It was an agriculture. It was a really ugly frying pan style shot from Shinbari, but it doesn't matter. It's effective, so don't knock it. But yeah, did it go over the ropes? No, it was inside the ropes. Right, it was 4.
Yeah. Are we witnessing another Bangla choke?
A Bangla choke. That sounds like something you'd find yourself in if you take too big a bite in an East London eatery. It's signalled 4, which is really embarrassing for the fielder. Really got to be back on there. Any children or young cricketers or even old cricketers watching,
he's back
stay on the boundary. Yeah, he's back on his boundary now. No walking in from there, mate. He's walking in now. Crazy person. In comes Mustafzir 2. Shinwari strikes him right in front of the stumps. Big appeal for LBW. They run through for the leg bye, crucially this time, but there will be a review. There's got to be a review. That looks so straight. It looks so straight.
Possibly pitching outside.
Time is running out. Quickly decide if you want to appeal. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah.
They've gone for the review. They've gone for the review. Bangladesh.
That was definitely out.
I gave it, but on second thoughts, it might not have been quite as full as I thought it was. I thought it was almost in the block column, hitting him on middle and leg.
Crucially, this time they ran through for that leg bye as well. So at least this time they will at least get a run to the scoreboard. Wow, I mean, what a game, guys! What a game! Did it pitch outside leg?
Oh, that's close.
Just close, but I think it's just outside. We'll see.
Might be umpire's call on pitching outside leg. This is the thing.
Sahil, who is with us, as you know, says Mushraf can always use your jingle as an excuse for his poor bowling. There's only so much that an injured bowler can do. Jamie the Y confirms that she was indeed at the CPL when she was in the lift a lot with Nabi.
Oh, inside edge.
And there's an inside edge on that, so this can't be.
It's off the glove. Yeah, I don't think any of us picked that up in real time.
No,
indeed.
No, we did not. But there's a little deflection. You can see it quite clearly now on the ultra edge, and the decision has been upheld. And the batsman is not out. And Bangladesh have lost a review. Will that be crucial? 16 balls to go. Time will tell. 225 for 5. 3 balls left, and Mustafzir's over. This over so far has gone for 6. In fact, because of the leg bye.
Yeah.
So it's gone for 6 so far from 3 balls. 3 more balls to come. Afghanistan need 25 from 15. Where's your money, boys and girls? Keep those comments coming in on Quick Tracker. Keep those comments coming in on Twitter. Who's gonna win?
Jamie the Y also says that she was in a lift a lot with Mohammed Sami, that same tournament, with her 10-year-old son.
Mohammed Sami, the Pakistani, or Mohammed Shami, the Indian?
I don't think Shami was playing in the CPL.
Mohammed Sami.
Yeah, that would be weird, wouldn't it? Yeah. It'd be a weird place for him to end up. I'm still a bit sore about the CPL, so let's not talk about the CPL.
Okay.
The umpire apparently was awful in this tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
And Evil Scooter says, can you imagine that there were people who chose to watch the other game played today? True, we have rather wandered into a bit of a mini belter.
Listen, Scooters, okay?
Again.
You made that joke earlier. Yeah, you might think I've forgotten because it was 6-7 hours ago, but you made that joke earlier. Okay, so you're still funny and it's still right, but I'm just saying you made it earlier. 25 required from 15 balls. In comes Mustafzir to pull the 4th ball of this over. This time he strikes the batsman again in front of the wicket. It's a big appeal, but it's clearly pitched outside leg that time. It was a terrible appeal, but it might have just frightened the batsman into not running. So it might have been effective in one way. The required rate before that ball was 10 and over exactly. It's just shot up because of that dot ball to 10.71. Afghanistan need to make something happen here.
Murad Khan says Afghanistan is the winner. Which way to the beach? Guns emoji, sunglasses emoji. And Mohammed Hassan says Uf Kele, which means play.
Uf Kele. Or unless he just really wants a banana.
Is that what? Is that what umpires say?
That's so funny, mate. So funny, honestly. I wish you could understand me, Greg. So outside the off stump this time from the Mustafzir is full. It's been driven. It's going towards the mid-wicket region. Will they take 2? They will, and they'll get there comfortably in the end as well. Crucial 2 there. They could do it in 2s. They could definitely do it in 2s. They require 23 of 13. 1 ball left in the pre-penultimate over.
Is Ufkele, does that sound similar to the word for banana then?
Kela is banana, Akela is alone, and Kele is play. So there's a lot going on in that kill region.
A triple on the Indian subcontinental languages are phonetic, and so you get a lot of it's in the pronunciation rather than in the.
And kale, and also it's very close to kale as well, which is a very nice superfood. You should chop it up, put it in a smoothie. Very good for you.
Gorilla Health Tips number 43.
In comes Mustafzir for the final ball of his next delivery. It's been played of a thickish. It's just fine down, fine leg, and there's no one there. It's raced away for 4 crucial runs for Afghanistan. 2, 3, 4. Four runs.
Zaidullah Akbari wishing us long life. Thank you, Zaidullah.
Thank you, Zaidullah. Thank you, man. Thank you, Zaidullah. Thank you.
He also says Afghanistan, Afghan flag emoji, will win, inshallah. Tanmoy Suter says Afghanistan win this match. Sohail Mahmood, Afghan will win. 19
required off 12 for that to happen. I dare say a lot of the cricket romantics around the world will be backing Afghanistan, but of course there's plenty of Bangladeshi fan support out there as well. They'll want the Bengal Tigers to come through this to show a little bit of bite.
These are two of the very few teams in this tournament who don't hate each other. India and Bangladesh have had this rivalry going for ages. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka have started, it's got real sort of needly.
Presumably Pakistan and Bangladesh.
A little bit, and then India,
always been a bit nice.
And then India and Pakistan, obviously, the players and fans really respect each other. But then there's all the nonsense around the politics. We do have the change of bowling. It is going to be this man. Where is he? Bowling the 19th, 49th. Hasn't got to work it, but did run out Mohammad Shahzad on 51.
He's got reasonably economical figures as well. He's gone for 44 off 8 overs, 9.5 required. He comes in, he bowls a length delivery just on the leg stump line. It's been worked away into the leg side just with soft hands, and they run through for a single. 18 required now off 11 balls. It's not, I mean, it could go either way this game still. I make Afghanistan slight favourites, actually.
What do they do? Do they try and play out this for 6 or 7 and then go off the last over from Mustafi
Zood? I think you just got to go for it.
It's got to go on merit. You find the ball. If you get the 6 ball, you go for the 6. If you get the 4 ball, you go for the 4. And yeah, if it's there for a single or a block, you got to do it. Afghanistan fans are very optimistic. They're smiling. They're happy. They're full of excitement. Can they record another victory in this competition? It would be their 3rd. And down the track comes Nabi. He smashed that up in the air. It's going to clear the ropes. It's gone for a huge 6.
That is an enormous hit.
Incredible composure shown there by Nabi as well. He came down the track. It's a pressure situation, met the ball at the pitch and just dispatched it over the top, clearing that long off boundary by at least 10 meters. It's gone a long way. 96 meters was that 6. He got a hold of it properly, and to execute that kind of shot with that kind of precision, with that kind of coolness at this kind of stage, shows you the temperament of the man. Outstanding here.
Yeah, he's played a lot of big leagues around the world. He's played in the IPL, the CPL and all that. And off Shakib as well.
And he comes down the track. He comes one more time. This time he's played the ball once again up in the air. Is he going to find the fielder in the deep? He does! Another twist in the tail. Oh my days, after that incredible 6 that reduced the equation to 12 from 10. Nabi has hit the ball out. It's been caught spectacularly in the deep by the Bangladeshi fielder. I'll tell you who it is in a second. But Shakib, after getting hit for 6, has taken the wicket. Nabi's out.
Oh, it was a full toss.
Oh my word. I mean, there's more twists and turns in this game than the novel I'm writing about driving in London during the congestion charge. It's an incredible game right now. I can't even tell you. 6 wickets down now. 12 off 9 required. The batsman, the big hitter, who just changed the equation with that 1-6, has again changed the equation by getting out. 12 of 9 required. So much at stake. Not just pride, but like it's been kind of a coming out party, this tournament for Afghanistan.
I mean, people knew they were good before, but they've been on the world stage. They've been excellent, and they and Hong Kong have basically again exploded the stupidity of the 10-team World Cup. It was Nazmul Hussain Shanto who took the catch down there at long off, and a good catch it was. And there's been a change to the batting lineup, and I'm not entirely surprised.
Oh, it's a short ball first up. Well, actually, it was Nabi who was on strike, and he got a top edge to that, to the 45 region. They took a single. Apologies for being slightly sluggish on that delivery. I just worked out that was Team America World Police. That's what the song was from. Another single added, so 11 required off 8 now. I still make Afghanistan slight favourites here, but Bangladesh's experience gives them a chance for sure.
Yeah, but a lot of their experience is losing close games. Rashid Khan can hit 6s from ball 1.
And he's going to be on strike now. to face. He's got up to 2 balls to face of this over. He's on strike with Shakib coming in. Down the track comes Rashid Khan, and he guides that ball away very nicely. A deft little stroke there. He waited and hit the ball into the gap, into the covers. They take 2 runs where there might have been 0. Well played there, Rashid Khan, showing some of that experience. And now he's picked up playing around the world. 9 of 7. Can you feel your heart beating, lads? Do you understand? Do you feel the same?
I do. This is incredibly
Am I only dreaming?
And everyone out there is feeling it as well. Evil Scooter says, holy shirt. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean that. Afghanistan Zindabad.
In comes Shakib now. He's bowling to Rashid. Rashid comes down the track. It's a rank full toss. It's been smacked over the top. Is he going to find the gap? No, there's a fielder sweeping squarer region in the covers. They take just the single. Unbelievable. Rashid Khan is very, very upset about the height of that delivery. He did come down the track. He's kept the strike as well. 8 required off 6 now, as the batsmen have a little conference. Shinwari and Rashid having a little chat to each other. Shakib, under the circumstances, to bowl an over where he went for 10 but took a wicket. I don't know if you call that a good or a bad over.
He took the wicket of Mohammad Nabi, but he's bowled 2 hideous full tosses, and one got a wicket, one was 1.
Well, he's the most experienced man coming from the other end to bowl the final over for Bangladesh. It's going to be a wounded Mustafzir. Can he keep the Afghanistani batsman from scoring less than 8 runs?
The shots that we're seeing in the crowd might back up what Jane with the Y says, which she says, I've not seen one woman in the stands. We saw plenty in the other game, but you might be right about this one. Silver Humber says, unbelievably tight finish for the second white-knuckled time in the Asia Cup, thanks to Afghanistan. How can we not love them? And Jane with the Y's back in with also Nabi. Shit.
Yeah, you would absolutely love. Everybody would love Afghanistan, unless of course you're on the scheduling committee for the ICC World Cup.
Or you're Bangladeshi.
2019. Well, you're Bangladesh. There's a lot of frowning faces in the Bangladeshi contingent in the crowd. There, they know they're under pressure. They know Afghanistan have the edge here. They're 2 blows away from winning this game and beating the second full member nation in this tournament. What a surprise package they've been in this tournament. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just.
Well, I don't even know if you can say that. I mean, they absolutely humbled Sri Lanka and Bangladesh in the group stage.
They did, and they're about to, they're potentially about to do it again, and give themselves a little crack at qualification as well, isn't it? Their game against India takes on a whole new perspective if they're able to, turn over Bangladesh. Could you imagine if India didn't make it into the final?
Can that actually happen now?
It's yeah. I mean, mathematically, it's possible.
What if India field a weakened side against Afghanistan?
Well, if they lose to Afghanistan by a crazy margin and Pakistan beat Bangladesh, it's possible. Full delivery on a decent length outside the off stump. It's been driven. It's beaten the fielder in the deep. It's racing away towards the boundary. The man sweeping comes around to it. They get 2 runs. Oh my word! The equation is so tight now. 6 required of 5. What a wonderful stroke! And has to say that kind of hobbling run in from Mustafzir, it didn't promise a lot. Just found the left-hand side of the diving fielder in the circle, which allowed those 2 runs to happen. Excellent batting this from Afghanistan, just keeping their cool, not necessarily going for that killer blow, just keeping their cool, waiting for it. Rashid on strike. The equation, 6 required. 5 balls remaining. Afghanistan 244 for 6. Can they pull this off? In comes Mustafzir. He bowls a length delivery. The ball goes up in the air and it's been caught. Rashid has been caught and bowled. It was a short delivery. Rashid tried to pull it. He just mistimed his pull shot. The ball lobbed in the air and it was caught in his follow through by Mustafzir. He takes the wicket. 6 off 4. Oh my days! Another twist.
Now, crucially, we think that the batsman crossed there. The ball was not in the air for a very long time, and the Fizz took a very simple return catch there. But did Shinwari get
cross over?
I don't think they could have had time to cross.
No, they're going to debate that now. By the way, we've got 420 people watching us right now on Crick Buzz.
Asad Hussain says, proud of young Afghan. Waqar Khan says, come on Afghanistan, love from Pakistan. Shri Birdar, thumbs up emoji. Nurem Tanda says, win. Win for who?
Yeah,
Nurem Tanda says, I love Afghanistan earlier. So that's Khan. Inshallah, Afghanistan win.
Wow, there's so much support there for Afghanistan. If you're one of the 420 people watching, you remind me of spending some more time with Nigel Walker.
Yeah.
420.
Munna Bhai says 1 chakka.
1 chakka means 1-6.
Yeah.
1-6 would do it. Gulbuddin Naib comes in, one of the stars of that documentary from all those years ago. Gulbuddin, he was a 16 or 17-year-old lad in that documentary. Now he's become a stalwart of Afghanistani cricket. We've got a jingle for him. Let's hear it.
Gulbat's first love was only lifting weights.
Shinwari's on strike.
Oh wow, they did cross. That's impressive.
I guess at bodybuilding he just wasn't great, so someone put a cricket bat in his hand. Gulbadine, ask his dad, he'll go on. Whoa, la la, Mr. Knight goes on.
That's interesting, actually, because nobody in the Bangladeshi contingent seemed to query that decision,
No.
but in the replay, it didn't really look like
Well,
that.
it must have been close.
That's
So he was backing up a long way.
That's smart work from Shinwari to make sure that he got there.
Good match awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. He's on strike now. Mustafzir to come in. 4 balls remaining. 6 runs to win. Afghanistan. Everybody's praying in the crowd. Oh my word. Down to the leg side this time. Played up in the air. He's gone again. Unbelievable. Has he gone? Was it off the pad? We don't know. There's a big appeal. The ball looped up into the air. It was caught at the 45 position. The batsman took the catch, and there's no signal from the umpire. So what is it? A leg by? We're not sure. We're not absolutely sure what's going on. The umpires, the scoreboard hasn't been updated. Oh, the umpire's finally tapped his leg to signal a leg by.
Yeah, so it's 5 off 4, 5 off 3.
5 off 3 required now for Afghanistan to win. Well, Mustafzir with excellent use of the slower ball there as well. I think he got pad and then bat on it.
Well,
the replay made
it not what the umpire's
It
given,
might be
so
why
unless
it
they-
looped up so much that it makes sense that it's come off the leg.
Definitely crashed into his thigh pad.
Yeah, I feel like he got
It was
something
a missed
more on it.
opportunity though, because it was very leg-sidey, and he could have just swung that round, helped it on its way, and there'd have been 4
He was trying to
runs.
hit it too hard, if anything.
The tension is impalpable. Mustafzir in once again, and he bowls a dot ball! A dot ball for Mustafzir. He bowled to Gulbadin, the new batsman. He's only got 2 deliveries to face Gulbadin with immense pressure on his young, but not as young as 10 years ago, shoulders. he's got 2 balls to score 5 runs now. Mustafzir, the experienced professional, even though he's limping, the wounded Bengali tiger, he is running in, and he's doing a job there for his team. As we look at a replay of that other ball, I think the ball bounced off his thigh. Yeah, it came off his thigh, and it had nothing to do with his bat or glove, so we're all good. 2 balls to go, 5 runs required. Can Afghanistan do it?
Gulbadin and Shinwari are just trying to hit the ball too hard, and Mustafzir is being really clever to take the pace off. Just get bat on ball.
In comes Mustafzir this time. He's bowling to Gulbadin. Gulbadin moves across his stumps, and he's paid the paddle. He gets the single, and oh my word, it's got to be a boundary off the last ball. It's a leg by signalled there by the umpire. 4 required of 1 ball to win this game for Afghanistan. My word, the drama, the theatricality, the script. You couldn't write a better finish to this game.
Didn't Eddie Hemmings hit the last ball of a one-day final for Nottinghamshire? Squirted it out through point for 4.
Yeah, but did he do it in front of 25,000 Bangladeshi and Afghanistani fans in the searing heat of Abu Dhabi?
No, certainly not. He did it in front of a Lord's final crowd in probably the dying light, if those finals of old were anything to go by.
No, if he could speak to Shinwari right now, he'd probably say, keep your cool, young man. You've got a boundary to hit to record a memorable victory, which will be recorded in the archives of GorillaCricket.com forever.
I want to see the field.
Oh, my word. Is there a super over? What happens if there's a tie?
I don't know, actually.
Oh, please don't be a super over.
1 point each, presumably.
Just take a tie. I'd take a tie.
So
it's a group stage,
We've
isn't
got short, fine leg. We have a mid-off, an extra cover, and a point. Everyone on the leg side in front of the square is back on the boundary.
So you've got to effectively clear them.
And we've got, a third man and then a cover point. You can go over cover. You could nurdle it round the corner.
I think you could clear your front leg, swing through the line and hope for the best.
Well, here we go now. Mustafzir is at the top of his run-up. He's running in forward to score off this last delivery. With Shinwari on strike. Mustafzir bowls. Shinwari throws his bat away! He threw his bat away! How did he do that? How did he do that? He threw his bat into the leg side. He was so tense that he grabbed the bat handle too tightly or too loosely. In fact, it took some of the bat before he threw the bat away. It went through to the keeper. He was caught. He was out. And Bangladesh have won the game by 3 runs. Unbelievable. How do you throw your bat away? Oh, my word.
Bangladesh.
Well done, Bangladesh. I can't believe it.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
He threw his bat away. Listen, guys and girls out there that are watching.
What a game.
If you're in the incredible game, and well done to Bangladesh for closing it out. Afghanistan seemed to have it in the bag, and there's 2 dismissals. Well, that 1 dismissal in particular just changed the complexion of the game. Shakib Al Hassan's got to take some credit for that, as does Mustafzir, who kind of held his nerve there, bowling that last over. Defending 8 from the final over is never easy.
Brilliant.
But he did it like a pro. He mixed up the balls, some slower balls in there. Afghanistan with nothing to be ashamed of. Very memorable match. It's a shame for them that they couldn't close it out, but the Bangladeshi fans are ecstatic.
And now Bangladesh versus Pakistan
is a shootout.
In a couple of days, there's your basic semi-final.
And Afghanistan have got to beat India to give themselves a chance.
I can't see that happening. Well, even even if they do, they're not guaranteed to go through.
No.
Anyway, I don't know, lads, if you want to wrap up. I've got to shoot now. But it's been an absolute pleasure to be with all of you here in Gorilla Towers, and all of you out there watching us on Cricket Tracker Facebook Live, all of you on Twitter. Everyone joined us through whatever platform. It's been an absolute joy. India absolutely smashed Pakistan, sorry to mention that again.
Oh boy.
And Bangladesh have just clung on here, showing some real character, with Afghanistan having looked like they were going to chase down that total. They just fell 3 runs short, and Bangladesh have a very important game against Pakistan in a couple of days' time.
What an
Signing out.
What an incredible last... But that's going to be one of those what happened next clips.
It is. It was just extraordinary way to finish the game. But it was nice to see a tight, refreshing to see a tight game there. With thanks to Grubby, with thanks to Abby, and thanks to Andy Ward, who was with us as well, and of course the Bear for technical assistance and other assistance, which he may well offer once we're off the air, which I think we should get off pretty soon. Nakul, thank you so much to everybody who's been following us today. Nakul Pandey has done a fantastic job. My name is Atif Nawaz. This is Gorilla Cricket. Please do support us, and thank you once again to Dow Diagnostics.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, if you want to support us, patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket. We'll be back on Tuesday
or Wednesday, one or the other.
We're back at, let's check the schedule and make sure we actually know what the hell we are talking about. Yeah, we are back on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right, Tuesday. I'm here as well, so look forward to that. That'll be good fun.
India, Afghanistan.
Are they both on the same day?
Because
the final is on Friday.
No, they're not. The next 2 games are simultaneous. Oh, sorry, are consecutive.
On different days.
Consecutive, rather. Yeah, so we're back on... Let's have a look. We are back on, we're back on Tuesday for Afghanistan, India, then back on Wednesday for Bangladesh, Pakistan, then back on Friday for the final. Join us at about, we'll be hoping to speak to Dr. Ansari again. Thank you everybody who's been with us. We'll get off air now. Please enjoy what is left of your Sunday. Bye.
Guerrilla Cricket.